Just click the hello.
If I'm not mistaken, just from behind, taking him out with the third party.
A big flex out into the
Click
blue
the
zone there
okay,
from Yangon
okay.
Galacticos. He read that he couldn't get a sight line from where he was. He moved out into the blue. It's stage 4. You can survive for long enough. And he took down Regnum Kaya. They end their match with only 2 points from that northern side.
But the good thing is, for intense game coming from the Americas region, they got all 4 alive, and they're getting their health back. And now they can challenge Yangon Galacticos. This game could be a stellar one and a great start for intense game to make a miracle run for top 8. The Brazilian team's underperforming. That's what the desk said, and I fully agree. Even from the Americas region, right? I'm super passionate about them. But for intense game, once again trying to be that aggressor. This time, he gets fully punished.
Taken down and flushed very, very quickly there. Nades now pouring in. Intense game wants some retribution. But Paradise Resort. They sliced through Kiratrope. I know their walkout looked like they had the samurai swords, but they've been turned on their owners there, drawn and thrust back to the gut from Yangon Galacticos, and they are playing well from this northern edge.
Intense game knew they needed to continue to push forward. They're so close to the edge of zone. You can see it here, right? So one thing that I really appreciated for Yangon Galacticos' perspective is they backed away and forced IG to push into him.
Oh, a big nade coming through on the southeast side.
On the
southeast edge. Finally an answer over towards Yangon over towards Gamax, sorry. But that's Alpha 7 out. 7 said it on the desk. They need to kick off with a win. They've just been denied that. Neptura said it on the desk. So the other Brazilian teams, and that's the same story.
Alpha 7, I'm ringing the alarm bells. Starting now, game 1. They are already out. They get away with 1 point. They were already outside of top 8. Alpha 7 struggles continue, and the fact that Gamax, who's been on the struggle bus, takes them out. A full team wipe. Everybody stays alive. I'm really worried for our A7 boys. I don't think they're bad whatsoever, but something is just not clicking.
Found it. They are going to mount up for an approach towards AXTMG's players who are starting to flag. I think it's just Devotee left. There's nade pouring in on his rock, and it looks like they know exactly where he is. A slow approach from Power onto this circle. I said that they could be the wild card here on the southwestern side, but they have played it sensibly. They've lost 1 player in this fight, but they have managed to rack up a point. They're looking to clear out slowly and methodically. E-Arena, I'm worried about what they could do to this one, though. You can see them start to poke their noses in.
Influence
Rage is going to be B. I think that's
match, bro. Match
perspective, but you do mention E-Arena, and Joker is relatively close, so he can push up. So worst case scenario for Power, they get pintered between E-Arena as well as Influence Rage. Not a good spot to be in. And Influence Rage and both E-Arena do get active, firing in on Power Esports.
Well, through the midst of all of that action that's just unfolded before us, the north side fights, the south side wiping of Alpha 7 to ostensibly the worst team in the tournament, there is going to also be that Falcons rotation, right? We were looking at that Falcons position on that south side. They have gone for a little bit of a miracle dash, something we've seen them do before, right into the middle of the circle. They're now holding 2 really important buildings. Shacks, fair enough, but important buildings in this next zone. They have cover, they can play to the south side to hold it, and everybody else can crash onto their locations right now. They're being held out by one another. Once those as soon as Gamax are free to go, the south 2 for Falcons are in danger. Aura, once they disengage from R8's last players, they could be in danger as well from that direction on the northeast.
Yangon Galacticos sit at a current 6 eliminations.
They
focus their attention on division. Bolt hits a nasty shot from the distance in conjunction with Marcelo. Bolt will continue to reposition, maybe challenging that of Romeo route, by the way, for Falcons, looking to get revenge onto Gamax for taking on Alpha 7. Romeo continuing to hit some nasty shots. Vision putting up a wonderful fight. This could go any which way.
பரவாயில்ல ப்ரோ
Galacticus,
ஏஎக்ஸ் 90
only one more player
இப்போ
remains. Orta is
ஏதோ
starting
5
to
kills
also get
டுடே
in onto
கொஞ்சம்
the
குட்டா
vision
ஸ்டார்ட்
fight.
பண்ணி
Now a very weak
ப்ரோ
Marcelo
பண்ணி
should
என்ன ப்ரோ
die
பாயிண்ட்
very
வேணுமே
weak himself, but manages to stay alive, believe it or not.
Yango Galacticos chiming in. Romeo's still alive and still
5
giving
matches
it
க்கு 60
large.
பாயிண்ட்
One
கிட்ட
player
வேணும்
down
ப்ரோ
on the back lines for Vision now. Just one player
60
remaining.
70 வேணும் போலயே
Standing for them. Now desperately trying to get the res, but he has to face the fight first. And Sky, Jiggle, both pouring damage down over this hillside. Sleepy's there with a backup in the ghillie suit, and it will go undetected by them. Over on the north side, Vision are wiped away, and Aura will continue
start with Jana. Hi bro,
on
வணக்கம்.
the northern edge, but the Falcons continue to take shots across every which way.
Yeah, that's right. And even when Hora ends up winning this, they need to move forward. And you got Falcons who's ready to gun you down. Gamex as well. And I'm loving where Fireflux is currently at, pretty much having the only hardcover POIs outside of Narvalo and Ralph and Redox, who's going to be from Falcons, relatively split. Gamex has been on a terror. 4 eliminations. I know that doesn't seem like much, but for a Gamex roster who has yet to show themselves, not only do they take down Alpha 7, but they're also challenging the top dogs of Falcons, who are currently up top. But this
Falcon, the
fight,
match
this push up the
it's,
hill, it's almost impossible.
மூணு
It is
பேர்
very,
இருக்காங்க
very difficult when you're dealing with players that are sat up in that watchtower. You need to plant those nades in. You need to be accurate and deadly with them. But Ralph seems to know where he's fighting against. So do they. They bobble a nade over, but don't find the knock. They need some backup here. It is just Ralph on this position.
5 match least
The battle is
minimum
off in the
60 points
distance.
வேணும்
They're
இவங்க
playing split
விளையாடுறத
right
பார்த்தா
now.
ஐடி
And
இம்பாசிபிள்
Arthur puts another stone
கண்டிப்பா எடுக்க
up.
முடியாது
The
bro.
top doesn't fully connect. In the
வாய்ப்பே
meantime,
இல்ல
Narvalo's soloing Aura on that northeast side. And actually, Aura could
ஒரு
change
2
the tune
match
of this one. They
dinner
could go straight to
போட்டு
Gamex instead
கொஞ்சம்
of uphill towards Ralph.
They
ஒரு
absolutely
kills
could. If
எடுத்தா
detective
கூட
Gamex,
சான்ஸ்
surely
இருக்கு
they're
எல்லாம்
going to take
ஹோப்டா
down the 2 from Team Falcons.
கஷ்டம் ப்ரோ
Ralph
இதுக்கு மேல கஷ்டம்
repositions. Arena
போரா
can
டீம்
also
தான்
fire some
சீரியா
shots on
ஏ
his back
செவன்
end.
சான்ஸ்
He needs
இருக்கா
to be very
ஏ
aware
செவனே இப்போ
of
வந்து
the surroundings
தடுமாறிட்டு
and who
இருக்கானுங்க
is currently at play. Ora, nade onto Arthur, going to be a bit short. They've got to continue to push up. For Falcons, though, continually getting picked apart. Joker takes down another from the Falcons roster, leaving them as a duo. Hora starting to tighten the vice grip, getting closer and closer to Gamex. Gamex needs to be ready for the attack.
Arthur first to face with the shotgun, but from a distance it's
இந்த ஜிஎம்எக்ஸ் அது போன ரவுண்ட்லயும் இது இந்த ரவுண்ட்லயும் இது கடைசியா
and that could be terminal for them. A last player to stand, a damaged lick sent back towards him, but there is just no way that he's going to be able to pick this one up. Unfortunately, the first aid actually coming through. Aura, okay, they're slowing down. That cut across from the arena doing a lot of work as the Falcons get taken down in the meantime.
I don't mind the slowdown. Only one more player to remember from Gamex, and I do hope they do remember. We have seen solos wreak havoc on rosters who are even 4 stacks. We witnessed it yesterday with Catch. We could witness it once again here. Arena starting to take down Influence Rage. The solo from Gamex getting active onto Hora. Jiggle's going to be down. Luckily, they recover. They take him out. The question is, will Hora
heal
have
battle
to
number
fight it with 3? Yes, they will. A full
story
elimination law. He'll go ahead and die to the blue zone. We're down to our top 3 at the moment.
எஸ் லைக் பண்ணா லைக் பண்ணிக்கோங்க சப்ஸ்கிரைப் பண்ணிட்டு பாருங்க
Started the day in first place, looking to take
எஃப்எஃப் அடிக்கிறாங்களே 10 கில்ல ஓவரா
He wants to go a little bit further on this one.
Oh,
Just
super
about to
ஆடுறாங்க.
sell the blue in time to prevent himself from getting knocked. Fireflux back up now. They will be getting to 3, so it is 3 players alive on all of
நல்லா
our
விளையாடுறாங்கல்ல அவனுங்க ஓவரா
circle
எஸ்போர்ட்ஸ்
shifting away from Fireflux though makes this really tough. Arena sit dominantly on the high ground as well. You can see what a lovely angle Mormon has. So does No Fear over towards Fireflux, and it is really trading off that aggro. Aura, they do lose one to a knock, and Arena should have this on lockdown as 2 players now sit right on the back to the blue for Aura.
Arena could jump all the way up into top 5. Massive game for them, but Arena has also been on fire. They've been playing very well. With them having 3 players and the high ground, Hora has no choice but to use the natural terrain, aka the rocks, and just kind of bunny hop between them. Mormon, who's been the linchpin for this roster, he's been so very impressive, not only in group stages, but also the survival side of things. Sakura taking some damage. Mormon starting to push up, but no drama here. Arena takes game number 1 and scintillated since
முன்னாடி மேட்சஸ்லாம் ஸ்டார்டிங்ல இருந்து பாப்போம்
And engage those after. They wanted to try and poke their noses
Oh,
in. Maybe
நல்லா
set themselves up
starting
for a third party.
Yangon Galacticus with their
and that is going to confirm the R8 are full of hot air.
That's it. Well, you know what? Hot air, yes, in the prediction of time constraints, but maybe not in their prediction to wipe out Yangon Galacticos. Now, we'll say they come in with so much confidence, so much reverence, but if they don't win this fight, that's going to be a big blow to their ego. And also, the stakes are pretty high for this hot drop, and the reason why, well, Yangon Galacticos is a team outside of the top 8, but barely, just barely. 34-35, 1 point puts them back into the top 8. That means they're going into finals, and already Kinatrop is actually getting active, surprisingly. And Yangon Galacticos, with their head on a swivel, are starting to rotate out of Paradise and now focus, at least right now, on the solo of Kinatrop.
It feels like the play there for Kinatrop was that they knew there was a hot drop over in Paradise as well.
Hydra Nepal team, Nepal dana.
Unfortunately,
Ajal எனக்கு ஒரு டவுட் நீங்க பிரைவேட் ஸ்லீப்பர் பஸ்ல டிராவல்
coming through from them, an early drop, grab a couple of weapons if you can, move on south. So Kinatrop,
இப்போ பஸ்ல வெறும் 2 seats book
instead, they are the focus
That's
of
last
the
moment.
pickup, and that point goes to Yangon Galacticos. In the meantime, this AXTMG Nongshan Red
Bro, அதெல்லாம் எனக்கு ஆயிருக்குது ப்ரோ. நானா ரொம்ப கம்மியா தான் ப்ரோ போயிருக்கேன்.
Seems to be going fairly poorly for
guys. யாருக்காவது தெரிஞ்சா நவீன் ப்ரோ சொல்லுங்க.
AXTMG got that first knock and full finish. And Nongshan Red Force, they lose one.
நான் ட்ரெயின்ல தான் ப்ரோ மோஸ்ட்லி டிராவல் பண்ணேன் பஸ்ஸோட.
Managed to take down one from AXTMG. They nearly get a second, and AXTMG
NS தான் clear பண்ணாயடா.
but they actually have to park the bus a little bit. We do have a straggler. Devotee, I believe, is going to be on the hilltop just up to the left, and there he is. And Benny might be the next potential victim if he doesn't have any awareness that Devotee is just above him. And you do got some noxious Red Force around, so it would be a big challenge. But for Benny, he's holding his ground.
Yeah, they know he's there. They know exactly what wall he's playing on. Benny low as well. Another Molotov forced on through, but still Devotee not going to take the shot. Instead, he's going to leave it all up dry, and it's going to work out. Another knock over towards TZ up on the hillside as well. Leaves them playing as one, and Nongshan Red Force slowly AXTMG gathering some pace.
Yeah, they had a great day one, right? 48 points. They finish up in the top 5, but there's no guarantee come game 6 that they're still going to be there with everybody gunning for a qualifying position into the finals. For Nongshan Red Force, not the start they needed, and also for Kinatrop. They lost a solo early on to Yangon Galacticos, and well, it seems as if Yangon Galacticos was able to pull off the hat trick, picking up all 4 Kinatrop out the first team.
Trying to rotate down south, trying to get a little bit fresh and try and third party that Paradise Resort play. Yangon Galacticos are ready for it. So it's not just R8 who were looking at adaptations there. It was Yangon Galacticos as well. A really prescient decision. And that actually allows them to pick up all the supplies that Kinatrop were able to loot through as well. So even though they had a little bit of a low time, they were able to pick up a lot because they've been able to leapfrog that one through. As we take a look at the replay, this is how Nongshan Red Force lost a lot of their players. Influence Rage as well, trying to break out of boot camp. Looks like they've moved into the hillside successfully.
Yeah, and AXTMG is most likely going to want to get the final player, Ziz, who's going to be just on the opposite side of Ruins. Big win for AXTMG. Only losing 1 player in that fight is pretty successful. Team way towards the bottom, getting started early. It's only going to better their chances to making top 8. Team Vision, a roster that performed very well and had stellar moments throughout group play, had a disappointing run throughout day 1 of the survival stage. With all 4 units still looking to work their way up if they can. I do wonder, intense game with Adrian starts to go out there along with another one of his teammates, getting closer to AXTMG, who starts to fire off some shots. Teams need to respect AXTMG and where they currently are in Ruins. They push too aggressively and to be losing their lives, just like Nongshan Red Force did.
Even with good positions and good performances, for AXTMG, it may be too little too late, right? They're chasing a marathon down where other teams are going for a stroll around that bubble. They are on 12 points at the start of this match, obviously picking up 5. But when you're looking at trying to get up towards 70 points over the course of the day, getting up towards, was that 58 points?
That's right.
To be able to get to 70 points, and even then it's not certain. So getting 58 points is almost a 10-point average. That is a top team performance level, and it will be really difficult for them to try and earn that sort of points. We'll have to see if they're able to be up to the task, because we get a replay of how Kinatrop walked into a building.
Very early on, Yangon Galactica said, well, let's take advantage of this. Let's push into Kinotrope. We know basically where their whereabouts are going to be. And like I said, they pull off the full team wipe. Good on them. So from R8 versus Yangon Galacticus to now the fight for paradise turns around. Yangon Galacticus are gone, and now it's Regnum Karya taking their place. R8 opposite of them. This is another intense fight to talk about what's at stake here for Regnum Karya. Still relatively healthy within that top 3 position.
I just go more direct
games before they start to get put on high alert. But for R8, this is a must-win fight. The shots are starting.
Immediately getting that flush as well, earning that point.
Bangalore to
but it's just a little bit out of range to fully connect, and Regnum Karya just keep this unlocked. 2 players almost immediately. They survived the hot drop here, Reflections, but it feels like they weren't ready for the second phase of the game, which is called not staying in your top location.
No, it's going to be up to 2 players from R8, and they pretty much have to fight. I mean, yeah, you can leave this, but I don't think they want to. R8 want to establish paradise if they possibly can. Losing this could very well knock them out. I'm almost guaranteed, really, to knock them out of the top 8 contention, making them forced to fight on Erigel and Miramar. Regnum Karya rolled in. They've been on fire throughout day 1 of the survival stage. They clearly are already off to a great start with 2 players down. Prestige, Marth, they are gone, forced to disengage, and now fight the entire lobby as a duo.
Now let's take a look at the rest of the lobby as well. The circle has centered up towards the north side of Quarry here, which means that there are teams on either side of the Quarry that are going to be able to be a massive barrier to rotations around this circle. Alpha 7 are actually in a very solid spot on the northeast side of this Quarry to stop teams from moving around that east side.
Char members keep
bro.
Well,
they'll maybe get 4 from Gamax unless the Falcons try and roll in behind them from Cave on the east side. It's that west side that's going to get a little bit more fraught, and that is going to be up to Fireflux. It's going to be up to E-Arena to be holding down the west side of that Quarry position.
But again, with Alpha 7 being in the position they currently are in the survival stage, a chance to potentially not make it into finals to defend their title, they've got a target on their back. And for Gamax, if they see him, maybe they want to go for the challenge. Hora, you got Fireflux, right? E-Arena, they see Alpha 7, maybe they get a bit more aggressive and put a little bit of extra attention on where they currently are. But I agree with you, John, where Alpha 7 is currently at, I'm feeling quite confident. We look at Falcons, Narvalo with Redox. And Narvalo, that beautiful 1v3 against the roster of Alpha 7 yesterday, put them into the great
guys, qualify
the most yesterday was R8.
This time around,
India team doesn't look like they're most likely going to run into
India team
number
X.
Falcons is going to have the numbers, so they might be able to beat their
today
for Falcons' sake, looking good. They've got all the members up. They've got a lot of real estate, not only in front of them, but also behind them, basically a limited line of sight. So for Falcons, I'm expecting a pretty decent game 1, which is historically what they normally start off with.
Qualify
They'll have to try and keep this one going. They're right on the edge on the south side. They're worried about crossings to their west. They needn't be, but they don't know that, of course. They're worried about teams moving down the west side, rotating in late.
Yes, IGL, they will qualify.
Area, but they are just being
match or
careful
point,
and
no
crossing
chance
their I's and dotting their T's at the moment as it goes. You know, you
yes, on
can't
the country. Yes, on the Brazil.
R8 dangerously close to Vision. Volt being the scout. Maybe he calls out R8's weak. Maybe Vision chooses to challenge. But for now, that hasn't occurred. Intense game still out in the blue zone. Forced to go down south across Paradise. Maybe Regnum Karya, being the aggressive roster they are, spot them out and potentially go for a challenge. But I expect IG is going to be just fine. We'll have a zone shift relatively soon. And it is going to be center up a little bit. Alpha 7 still feeling pretty good. Fireflux dead center. Vision okay. Yangon Galacticus and Regnum Karya.
Actually, AXTMG on the gun on the fight zone make
right. AXTMG and especially Falcons way down.
The fight avoid zone fight zone
they're going to have to make a decision as to where to move. So that southwest side, the dynamics of it are really going to change depending If they
Ace on
go
Brazil
north, if they
வாங்கணும்.
go in towards the
வாங்க
center,
Natasha,
if they try
welcome.
and head east and fight E Arena,
How
we've
many
also
teams
got
qualify?
that
இதுல
position
வந்து
on the
top
southeast
8
of
bro.
Gamex
Top 8 teams
behind
வந்து
Alpha
qualify
7
ஆகும்.
could change things up. There's also that wild
ரெண்டு
card
நல்ல
with the
மேட்ச் வேணும் bro.
Falcons.
Ace அவனுக்கு
Everybody
அந்த
else
மேட்ச் தானே
has
bro வர
fairly
மாட்டேங்குது.
linear approaches. It can get a little bit predictable, but those are the places where I think things could really change depending on how they want to approach this one.
Gamex, Alpha 7 starting to inch closer and closer to each other.
Ace
Abrigo is
அவனுக்கு
off in the
from
distance. I don't know why
NS
he's currently
40
there. He
NS
needs to
காலி.
get up there and join his roster if they want any
நம்மால
attempt
தான்
at
அம்ச்சானே.
attacking
AX தான்
Alpha 7.
அம்ச்சானே.
For the
NS.
meantime, they're just going to continue to be very
அஜில் இந்த
aware
மேட்ச்
of
EA
where
தான்
they
டின்னர்.
currently are at, but they don't want to challenge necessarily. I do notice
bro
Influence
ஆமா
Rage,
நான்
though,
மறுபடியும் பார்த்துட்டு
as
இருக்கேன்.
well as
பாதியில இருந்தே
AXTG
பார்த்தேன்.
is
மறுபடியும்
getting
ஃபர்ஸ்ட்ல
very
இருந்து
close. And
பார்க்கறேன்.
here comes that Ragnum Karya IG rotation. IG
NS
going
and
straight past
EXTMG
Ragnum
தான்
Karya. The question is,
அடிச்சது.
where do they
That's
stop? Well, Toshpik says enough is
mostly
enough.
cancel
I'm ready to fight.
Vision not quite having sightlines over towards Ragnum Karya, keeps them safe for the moment. An intense game, actually sending out further towards the north, trying to get an angle onto Ragnum Karya's rotate in, but they're not going to quite find it there. They're keeping it on lock and key, but there's the first knock, and Rafa lands the spray down onto Wild. Are they going to commit to go for this res? It looks like they want to, but the nades are going to follow it up. That's going to do a lot of damage. Not quite finding the flush just yet.
Knowing intense game, they want to push this. You notice Silence starting to push forward. He's going to take an advanced spot. Silence, though, caught off guard to the left, takes a bit of damage, and now you've got to back up and join your roster. Well, no, maybe push forward. Silence wants to continue. They know they have an early knock. They have the man advantage. Question is, can they continue to take apart Ragnum Karya? And the answer is yes. Silas, a power player in his own right, also down. Ragnum Karya down to 2.
And there is a res coming on through. Toshpik next to fall down to the floor there, and Ragnum Karya all of a sudden relying on Loxy, but he has got the beans. Let's see if he can jump into the fight. Silence now, going low behind the car, will have to hide, go for the heel. Loxy on 5-3, but he threads the needle, and the shot is good. A 1v2, Yangon Galacticos
நேத்து யார் ஆயிடுச்சு
potentially
எனக்கு
move into the
membership
third
book
party, but
பண்ணது.
they backed off.
ப்ரோ நேத்து வந்து யாரு பண்ணா? நேத்து ரோஷன் ப்ரோ வந்து 10 மெம்பர்ஷிப் பண்ணாங்க. அப்புறம் கவுன்சிலிங் 10 மெம்பர்ஷிப் பண்ணாங்க.
though, snake in the grass through the smoke. I think he's going to be the linchpin. Loxy takes damage, forced to retreat, and that's going to be, I believe, Sandcloud, if I'm not mistaken, just from behind, taking him out with the third party.
A big flex out into the blue zone there from Yangon Galacticos. He read that he couldn't get a sightline from where he was. He moved out into the blue. It's stage 4. You can survive for long enough, and he took down Ragnum Karya. They end their match with only 2 points from that northern
What
side.
is this behavior? இன்னைக்கு லேட் கொஞ்சம் ப்ரோ அந்த மேட்ச் வேற ஸ்கிரிம்ஸ் ஆடிட்டு இருந்தோம். ஸ்கிரிம்ஸ் ஆடிட்டு கரெக்ட்டா எல்லாத்தையும் செட் பண்ணிட்டு வரதுக்கு லேட் ஆயிடுச்சு.
Could be a stellar one and a great start for a intense game.
Match start ஆயிடுச்சா?
For top 8, the Brazilian teams. No.
At video game.
No.
மியூட்ல இருக்கட்டும். கீழ இறங்கட்டும். அப்புறம் பார்க்கலாம். செகண்ட் மேட்சோட இதோ இறங்கட்டும் bro. எல்லாம் லேண்ட் ஆகட்டும் அதுக்கப்புறமா. 70 FF குவாலிஃபை, ஹோரா 64, பவர் 60, EA 52 வந்துட்டானுங்களா? பரவாயில்லையே. XTMD 17 ரொம்ப கஷ்டம் bro. அவன் கூட எனக்கு தான் ஸ்டக் ஆகி இல்ல ப்ரோ எல்லாத்துக்கும் தான் போறேன். டாப் பிளேஸ் ஹையஸ்ட் டேமேஜ். தினேஷ் ராஜன் ஹாய் ப்ரோ வணக்கம். பூட் கேம்ப் லைவுக்கும் இந்த லைவுக்கும் நிறைய டிஃப்ரெண்ட் இருக்கு. ஆமா ப்ரோ, பூட் கேம்ப் நிறைய சேர்ல உட்காந்து போடலாம். ஏன்னா நான் வெட்டில தான் பண்றேன். அது இல்லாம அங்க 2 ஸ்கிரீன் இருக்கும். ஜோனு பாரு, ப்ரோ ஜோனு. அதனால ஒரு ஸ்கிரீன்ல சாட் இருக்கும்னு நான் இதுல வந்து ஒண்ணு தானே பார்க்க முடியும். அதனால தான் போன்ல சாட்டை பார்த்துட்டு இருக்கேன். இன்னும் செட் பண்ணல ப்ரோ. லைவுக்குன்னு ஒரு இடமே செட் பண்ணல நான். சும்மா போட்டுட்டு இருக்கேன். ஏன்னா மறுபடியும் நாங்க கிளம்பணும். இங்க செட் ப்ரோ இவன் என்ன ப்ரோ இவன் ப்ரோ ஐயோ எல்லா வாட்டியும் மேன் லாஸ் ப்ரோ. முக்காவாசி மேட்ச் மேன் லாஸ் ப்ரோ ஸ்டார்டிங்லயே. எனக்கு நேரமே சரியில்லை ப்ரோ ஆக்சுவலா.
historically here for our survival stage, elimination-wise, averaging, what, 7 or a little over 7. They start off with an elim early on. Good for them. Everybody's going to quickly try and rotate over. There's so much water
Amazon bro,
in the current stage one that you have to get some real estate.
Ajay, உங்க live
as much
70
as you
seconds
can
delay
on
வச்சு பார்த்துட்டு
mainland.
இருக்கேன்.
I love
அப்பதான்
that
பாப்பறேன். ஓ
Falcons
இது வேறயா?
Kinotrope taking early priority. Let's not forget Kinotrope, a team that is looking to wait.
இப்போ எதுக்கு ஓபன் ஆயிருக்கு ப்ரோ? இப்போ தெரியல ப்ரோ. வெஹிக்கிள் எடுக்கிறதுக்காண்டியா இல்ல என்னன்னு தெரியல. ஆனா லக்கியே இல்ல ப்ரோ. இந்த ரவுண்ட்ல. போன ரவுண்ட்ல ஆடுனது கூட இந்த ரவுண்ட்ல ஆடல ப்ரோ.
Solid game 2 and onwards, but for Falcons, if they can get center
Almost
zone,
the
maybe they can get on the
8th match
shoreline,
bro.
they could have a wonderful game here.
We'll have to wait and see. I mean, it is a pretty dramatic circle. As in terms of landmass, but what it doesn't do is necessarily put a massive hurry
Group
up.
stage
Because
ஆடுன
on the
மாதிரி
mainland, these
ஆடுனா
rotational
குவாலிஃபை
passes we
அதுதான்
know,
ஆட
and
மாட்டாங்க.
generally teams will be comfortable getting into this area of the map, right? It's not too different from if it was just a little bit further north.
நீ கவனிச்சீங்களா? நிறைய மேன்ல ஸ்டார்டிங்ல ஒருத்தன் செத்துறான். அப்புறம் 3 மேனா ஆனா எப்படி கான்ஃபிடன்ட் வரும்?
After these first rotational plays have been made and moving on through that way. With 2 players going down so far on a hard east plane path, not necessarily unexpected, but the
GMX
thing I'm looking at right now is
and
influence rage in Yasna and Polyana.
Yeah, they're very, very close to each other. That fight most likely going down. Again, an important.
See how many team will
least.
qualify in
Ora,
this
are
round?
towards
Top
the
8
top
bro.
end of
Top
the
8 தான்
standings. They
qualify
naturally want to continue to separate themselves, not only for the money, but also for a
Bottom இதுல bottom 8 வந்து வெளில போயிடுவாங்க bro.
on our
கிளம்பிடுவாங்க
next
அவங்க
stage.
கண்ட்ரிக்கு.
For Influence Rage's perspective, I mean, truly at the moment, the crown jewel for Brazil, the crown jewel for the Americas region to break at the top 8 and represent Americas in the finals. If it's not for Influence Rage, it's not going to be an intense game. They're a little bit too far down. Alpha 7, so many question marks on them. So winning a fight against Ora here could be massive and bumping them up the standings.
The question is, do either team want to engage?
It looks like
they dropped close and moved to
bro,
the
at
way
least
of one another. And in general, I would imagine that is what is on their minds right now. Meanwhile, over the rest of the map is Regnum Kaya crossing the Gaka fields. Falcons, they've sent a scout out ahead, but Regnum Kaya could potentially pinch that away and cut off that supply line behind them. It looks like Falcons are on a 2-2 right now, I think. It could be a 3-1, I'm not entirely sure.
Top 8 right.
But either way, Regnum Kaya seem to be
Top
descending
8
on that
வந்து qualify bro. Bottom 8 வந்து வெளிய tournament out.
Depending on how fast the Falcons can regroup.
Yes, on dinner it's நல்லா
Meters
இருக்கும்.
out for getting
Yes,
fully
on,
on the regroup, but Ralph goes down and Regnum Kaya wastes
Falcon
no
ல ஒருத்தன்
time.
செத்துட்டான்.
That's right, Regnum Kari is starting to get active. I believe it was a 2-2 split. It was
We
Co
got
and
not
Redux
playing.
who were
Bro,
on the
the
advanced
world
position.
league, bro.
And, well, now he's got Narvalo and Co starting to move through, and Wild is most likely going to be shot at relatively
okay,
soon.
ஒரு சாப்பிட செத்துட்டான் bro. 8 bit தான் ஸ்லாட் கிடைக்கும்னு நினைச்சேன் பட்
Hurts, though. They were not wanting
அவன
that.
போய்
But
நல்லா
that's
பண்ணிட்டு
kind of
இருப்பானே.
reminiscent of what they've been doing. Falcons love sending a scout player
அதா
ahead. Sometimes it
எங்கிட்ட
works,
போறேன்னு தெரியாம
sometimes
ரெண்டு
it
இதுக்கு
works
நடுவுல
well.
போயிட்டு இருக்காங்களே.
How the heck's TMG made their way along this coastline? They've rotated through now 3 teams, and it seems like people are just like, yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. You guys can just keep going. It's all chill. They
Overall
dropped
ratings
around
which is
Milton,
logged
sort of around that sort of area. They've gone
BGIS
through
plus
Longship,
BMPS
they've gone through
performance.
Kinotrope, now they've gone past Vision, and it seems like nobody wants a piece other than on that hot drop that we saw earlier where they lost Devotee.
That's right. Falcons start to move their way maybe towards the shoreline themselves, maybe
அவ்வளவுதான்.
closer and closer to Kinotrope. There's a lot
ஒட்டுமொத்தமா
of
கார்டன் மேல
activity in
வந்து
one area.
தெரிஞ்சிருவாங்க.
I mean, you got intense game is relatively close, but all eyes on Vision. Now
சாம்ராஜ்யத்து எஸ்பவர் போயிருந்தா மேபி ஏதாவது பண்ணிருக்கலாம்.
and it is getting quite active. Redox moves up, and there's going to be a team off to
Praveen
his
bro,
right
வணக்கம்.
that he's going to have to potentially deal with a little bit
Local,
later on.
okay,
Round 7,
தான் bro, but
I said it, they like to let Georgia pull. They go
extensions
towards the
bro,
Polka.
அதான்
Now they've got to make the long rotate down, and they're choosing to take the northern side, which is
கார்டன்
also
குவாலிஃபை ஆகலையா?
quite
இல்ல
congested
bro.
with
இந்த
the
யாரு
arena
BMPSல யார்
already
சாம்பியன்ஸ்
full of
வச்சாங்களோ அவங்க தான் இந்த இதுல
all
வந்து
moving
அதான்
in.
AXT.
Ora, luckily for them,
ஆக்விஸ்ல ஹை ப்ரோ. உங்க prediction யார் வின் பண்ணுவாங்க? ஃபைனல்ஸ் கேக்குறீங்களா? ஃபைனல்ஸ் வந்து இந்த டாப் 8 டீம் வந்தானே வேணா சொல்றேன்.
Potentially gatekeep if they so desire.
This is a really ridiculous number of teams actually going for this north side rotate, right? I mean, you know the plane path was deep on that eastern side, sure, but the fact that there's so few teams coming through from Mansion, past school, past Pachinki,
அவர்கிட்ட லாஸ்ட் ப்ரோ லாஸ்ட் வந்தா சொன்ன அப்பெல்லாம் கிடையாது ப்ரோ கரெக்டா ப்ரோ மேப் வச்சு தானே சொல்ல முடியும் குத்து மதிப்பா நீங்க எக்ஸ்பைன் நம்ம எப்படி சொல்றோம் ஏசம் போறாங்க ஒரு புல்லட் பண்ணல
gets away with it for now. Will they unleash more, or are they going to have to try
and பறக்க விட்டான் ப்ரோ வண்டியை
he slows down. This could be really dangerous.
கமெண்ட் பண்ணாங்க ஹெட்
The vehicle's smoking. He's low out in the open field here. This is really dangerous for the Rebel. It needs to be really
அவர் அடிக்கிறாங்க GMX
over his shoulder. You can see he's keeping it cool. He's keeping it calm. But you can imagine
ஒரு செகண்ட் அவனுக்கு அப்படியே பக்கு ஆயிருக்கும்.
You know, a lot of times we joke about flipping the cars, bad drivers, so
finals இந்த மேட்சா
devastating. And now into the buggy we go, full health on the vehicle, and they'll continue to separate themselves from R8 and Co. Look, R8, they're going to take down Alpha 7 as soon as they can, and let's not
Solar Garden இல்லனா 8-bit இந்த 3 teams வேணா கூட ஏதாச்சும் பண்ணிடுவாங்க.
not only in the arena, but also for their region, for them going
every இந்தியாவுக்கும் ஒரு ஸ்லாட் இருக்கும்ல அப்படி எல்லாம் கிடையாதுன்னு நினைக்கிறேன் ப்ரோ.
That crown embellished key is teetering on the edge of the crusher right now. For Alpha 7, they are desperate to get points.
Romal கழிச்சு மேட்ச் பார்க்கறேன் ப்ரோ.
8th place
is
a real distance for them right now. They sit on 27. 8th place with Yangon Galacticos. We're expecting it to be pushing up towards 70 at the end of the day. We'll see how they are able to try and clamber their way on through, but that hope is dwindling fast. A hard west shift here isn't super dramatic. Again, it does cut out those Pachinki fields, but I feel like a lot of teams are going to be more pleased about that. That west side coast now is going to start to get a little bit area around Worry. Can be very treacherous as well.
Yeah, Alpha 7 start to move straight into the center. Well, relatively close anyways, just opposite of Aura and IG as well. And speaking of Aura, just going to be right there. I thought they weren't going to pop out and fire some shots, but they want distance. They want Aura to keep on moving. And for Alpha 7, yeah, the shoreline would be great.
IG scrims எப்போ இருந்து ஆட bro scrims வந்து ஆல்ரெடி ஆட ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணியாச்சு. இப்போ கூட நான் ஆடிட்டு வந்தேன். அதனால லேட் ஆயிடுச்சு.
They will set up their fortress and try and gatekeep anybody else who starts to move in.
Guys, I'm பாக்குறவங்க லைக் பண்ணிட்டு பாருங்க, subscribe பண்ணாதவங்க subscribe பண்ணிட்டு பாருங்க.
Into the zone out of blue. You still got
like பண்ணிட்டு பாருங்க எல்லாரும்.
Galacticus, Power, Gamex who have been
finals match ல எனக்கு தெரிஞ்சு
starting to come in. Regular setting up in the wizard tower.
ஆமா bro, அவன் சும்மாவே அப்படிதானே bro ஆடுறான்.
Question is when the next future zones
எங்க
come,
போறானா A7
Alpha 7 no Mafioso down here in strategy.
They've just immediately taken down Mafioso, who got way
too down, bro. knock
no chance of having backup from the rest of his roster. On the far side of the hill, I mean, I'm slamming a massive question mark on that one.
Yeah, that's tough.
நம்ம டிடி போயிருந்தா கூட நல்லா
இருப்பாங்க. They had such a good spot.
Okay,
hardcover POI, like they looked great. Why not just stay there? Why scout? It's not necessary. And now you lose a player. You got to go at it with just 3. That hurts me. It really does. Benny laying low. Scarface up ahead. Benny, a talented player in his own right. A guy that wants to truly cement his name in I love his tenacity. I love his desire to
BMPS win பண்ண டீம் மாதிரி
Power and Gamex as they start to move in.
அப்ப இந்த GMX அவங்கள IG இவனெல்லாம் எப்படி இருப்பாங்க? அவங்க சாம்பியன்ஸ் தான இருப்பாங்க.
Expected threshold, right? They are now over the 70 points that we're expecting them to need to be able to get on towards those finals directly at the end of the day. So from here on out, it is just a question of solidification.
Defending champions jolly போறீங்க.
80 points.
பார்க்கலாம். I just weird inspired from IG
right? So if they can earn 7 points this match, beautiful stuff. Turkey will be very, very happy. They will still have their representatives in those finals.
Well, historically, Fireflux have averaged at least 4 eliminations when it comes to Erangel, so that'll put them even closer to that 80-point mark, which definitely would be safe. And with the other team struggling,
Power is ridiculous. Power and
I still feel 73 is most likely going to be safe, but you'd rather be safe than sorry. Take a look at the map once again. Another zone shift towards the south. That's going to force Alpha 7 out of their hard cover. E-Arena hot on their heels, most likely trying to hunt down the remaining A7 members. Alright also going in. Influence, Rage, Regnum, Karia. My goodness, the team's up there, John. Incredible.
I'm looking around that quarry area as well. Kinatrope control a lot of the ground on the southwest side. If they can keep that outpost alive,
சரி
it
ஆக்சுவலா
could be
செம்ம
great,
கிளஸ்டர்
but it's a
நினைக்கிறேன்
question of
எக்கச்சக்க
doing
டீம்
that,
இருக்கு
of
இந்த
getting
சைடு
that one done. Alpha 7 now with more danger on their doorstep. Arena continue to try and push on through. Want to find a shot if they can make it over towards Revo, who's taking some peeks.
My prediction OG, okay bro, okay.
Squash as well, potentially in with a scrap. R8 moving in on the north side.
Work பண்ணதுல இருந்து கேம் பார்க்கிறது விளையாடுறது இல்ல வீடியோ பார்க்கிறது இல்ல ஓகே
on the back of the buggy is so slow. They
Oi.
can't connect the spray. Law drops the
bro
ball
தூக்கிட்டா சி சேஞ்ச் பண்ணி
getting real happy with it there for R8 to stay alive. A slow, lazy drift.
செம்மையா தூக்குனான்ல.
Yeah, in my opinion, that's uncharacteristic. Law hits his shots. In that moment, he doesn't. And now Lorenzen forced to full send it in. Go for the attack. Take down
என்ன bro சுத்துது
Tamar, which might be possible. Tamar's weak. Rosin, please do not drop the ball here.
Okay.
Much like your teammate did just a second ago. The Tamar, he unfortunately pulls his gun back just in the nick of time to allow Lorazin to successfully get the E-limp without any drama. Doesn't take any damage. Even though Influence Rage loses one, still relatively
is there any
okay.
chance for
But
X to get off?
they've
No
got
bro.
power, and they still have
I don't think we can
surrounding
qualify
them.
anyone, but we
It
should
is
play for
difficult on that
Arma.
northern side. It is
Last
getting
match
really
dinner,
quite tense
Panna
here, and
undi.
Alpha 7 of course have to move on this circle. They have to
Last
push further
PMGC
south.
lane,
Teams
no,
have started to
no,
find
no,
their
no,
locations around the edge of quarry. Kinatrope have maintained that split, that 3-1 as it stands. That's that on the lip of quarry gives you a
She
little
changed
bit
பண்ணி
of
reflex
sideline to
வைக்கிறான்
control.
அதான்
Arena
டிஃபென்ஸ்
taking shots
சாம்பியன்ஸ்
across the way from
கஷ்டப்படுறாங்க
on the western
இதுல
side who are
AX
being a
meeting
little bit slow on that rotate down south. But I feel like that doesn't really fully characterize it. They are maintaining strength and
ஆகா NS பொட்டி
taking a slower
பொத்தம் தான் இருக்கான் என்ன ப்ரோ NS கொஞ்சம் சொல்லுங்க நேத்து சமயம் விளையாண்டாங்க இன்னைக்கு ரெண்டு மேட்சும் இப்படி ஆயிடுச்சு
on their side as they will be losing a lot of
நாலு
players
மேட்ச்
to
தான் ப்ரோ
Jago
இருக்கு
Galacticos who continue to make things work on the southeast.
Yeah, that's the team you don't want taking you out. With the hovercraft, they're going to have a powerful end game, at least potential anyway. Jago Galacticos
bro,
being right there neck and neck with
Samaya
Red Horse.
bro.
That's the last team you want getting points,
No chances.
especially
Ace can
taking
make
your
it
roster
to
down.
top 10
Puts them
na.
closer to knocking Auction Red Force to 8th place, being right
எனக்கு
there on the
தெரியாது.
bubble, putting the pressure even more so on
Dinner
them.
can at least give hope.
He's going to be on the outside. He
அடிச்சா நல்லா இருக்கும்
unfortunately takes a lot of damage. Eventually will fall. Lorazin back
Zone
on your
கீழ அப்படியே
screen.
போயிட்டுறோம் நினைக்கிறேன் ப்ரோ
Unfortunately, not for long.
Looking to try and keep the pressure up on the
சென்டர்லாம்
northern
போட்டாங்க
side.
சொன்னேன்
Influence
ப்ரோ
Rage
ஏக்ஸ் டீம்ஸ்
starting
நல்ல
to drag
சொன்னேன்
their feet a little bit. Alpha 7 as well, poking their noses in. The Revo has flexed out. Remember, they're playing as 3 on the northern edge. Yet to have an impact here. Karim
Yes,
has
not
spotted
knock it.
over on that north side as well. But Diego tries to push out of the blue zone. They've got Medan waiting
Yes,
in the way,
not
in the
knock.
wings. But the blue zone has too much pressure on them. Sure, they get the knock, but it's traded off. And Power still have a
Only
little
one,
bit more to do. Unfortunately, Little Boy pushes them back off the angle and makes their life a little bit harder.
And R8 is also firing some shots.
பாரு
out
கில்ல
the
செக்யூர்
zone.
பண்றதுக்கு நேடு
They've got to
போறான்
be careful. They've had such a hard time rotating in, even with the vehicles. They're only down
இப்போ ஒரு நேட பின் பண்ணி போட்டுருக்கலாமே
pushing up. Power going for the revive. And
நாக்கான
Since
இதாயிடுவான்னு
out to
நினைக்கிறேன்
Mimber,
ஐயோ
he
அங்க
doesn't
போட்டானா
lose these fights. This 1v2 could very well go his
இங்க
way
போட்டிருந்தானே
easy.
knock
Doesn't have time to
ஆயிடுவான்
pop the
Huge.
med kit. Ragnar takes him down, and like you said, huge. Power wins a
இது
successful
பேக்ரவுண்ட் ரொம்ப மொக்கையா
engagement.
இருக்கா ப்ரோ
Already top
நார்மலா
three,
இருக்கு
and now they got two
பேக்ரவுண்ட்லாம்
members to
ரெஜெக்ட்
work
ப்ரோ
with. But from
ஏசோ
one
அடி
circle to
வாங்குறாங்க
another,
ப்ரோ
Alpha 7 are pinned down.
This is the last player alive now. It's just Revo, and they're on the lip of that quarry position out to the west, and they go down again. A 1-point game, 2 games in a row. It is looking dire now with 4 matches left to play. They're going to need to earn at least 15
Ora
points
dinner
every
news
single
confirmed,
match
yeah.
from this point onwards to be in with a chance of qualifying in 8th
Central Mela
place. This is a team that people were talking about with a chance to win the whole thing.
And you have to look at how it started for them, right?
Zone
Landing
இருக்கு
at
பாப்போம்
their
என்ன
default
பண்றாங்க
location, okay,
EX has
great, but
scored
then they do not
62
get
points
blessed by
in
zone. They
24
take the
matches
long rotate up
but
north, which isn't uncharacteristic from what they were doing during the Americas.
புது
But you have
லாபி
that solo who just randomly goes off
அவங்கெல்லாம்
on his
நிறைய
own. He
எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ்
gets
இருக்கும்
picked
இவங்க
apart.
ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஓடி தான்
Now
போயிருக்காங்க.
Alpha 7 is down to 3. Then you have another
அதனால
player
இருக்கலாம்.
who starts to
அவர் என்ன
rotate
அடி
out,
வாங்குறாங்க?
scan the horizons, he gets taken down, and then all of a sudden now you're getting pinned up by 4 stacks, and you just get taken out. I mean, Alpha 7 continually, something is going wrong. I'm super worried for them. I'm ringing the alarm bells. I think they are sincerely in trouble. But there's plenty of rosters still remaining who are not only on the bubble, but also trying to maintain their position in top 8. Love.
Yes, sir. அவ்வளவுதான் இந்த மேட்ச் காலின்னு நினைக்கிறேன்.
Infinite line of sight,
முடிஞ்சு
a
bro இந்த
power
மேட்ச்
spot to
bro.
be in, and
இந்த
luckily for them,
இந்த
there's no
மேட்ச்
one around
காலி.
them, but everybody is in front of them, so they can continue to pepper anybody that they see.
Falcons, they managed to send through to the southwest side at the cost of
தங்க
one of
மகன்
their
தனுஷ்
players.
மாதிரி
Now they're under
இருக்கீங்களா?
pressure as now Valo gets found out in the open.
போராளே மேல
Team right
சைடுச்சா?
next doors to them and will just lose another. So
ஆமா.
2 players survive for the Falcons.
ப்ரோ ஃபோன்
Playing
ஸ்டாண்ட்
on
வாங்கி
Redox
ப்ரோ
and
எல்லாமே இருக்கு
Koa,
ப்ரோ.
they lost
நான்
they
நீ
lost
உட்கார்ந்திருக்க
Ralph
இடம்
early
அப்படி இல்ல
on.
ப்ரோ.
Now Valo
அதாவது
next to
எல்லாம் வைக்கிற
follow
மாதிரி
them.
இல்ல.
And for Hora on that southwestern side, they're going to have
நம்ம
to
மறுபடியும்
try
போயிடுவேன்ல
and
ப்ரோ
hold on. They
பூட்
have 5
கேம்புக்கு.
points already.
அதனால
They are the next team
அந்த
right on
கொஞ்ச
the doorstep
நாளைக்காண்டி
of
எதுக்கு
getting up to
எல்லாம்
that
இப்ப இது
70-point
பண்ணணும்னு
boundary.
அப்படிதான்
They just need one
இப்படியே
placement or
பார்க்க.
one more elim, as well as power up on
பாரே
8
நல்லா
elims, 2
ஆடுறான் ப்ரோ.
points behind that boundary on 70 points.
Power, only a solo though. It's going to be easy. Opposite of Kinotrope, who's just up to theirs, or up to his north, I should say. The moment Falcons, Hora, most likely going to run into each other again. As
ப்ரோ
Koa and
ஓராளே
Redox
உட்கார
keep
வச்சிட்டாங்க.
them in their line of sight.
69
IG
பாயிண்ட்
most likely will
எடுத்துட்டாங்க.
not have an effect, at least later on, for Falcons, depending on how Hora ends up deciding to push up. Smokes are out. Hora might be making a rotate already, but the
Yes,
important
sir.
thing, where do we shift the zone? Well, that's great for
Goodness,
E-Arena
yeah.
as well as Kinotrope, who are dead center. Kinotrope desperately needing points to elevate themselves up toward top 8. Final needs to join in and do it unscathed. If he can do so,
Falcon
Kinotrope
எங்க போறான்?
might very well have a deep
ஷாக்
run
எடுக்க
in top
போறானோ?
3.
They've got a lot of cover over towards Kinotrope's outpost. I was looking at that position, and if he didn't move immediately, I was going to call him out. He needed to regroup here. Binny, okay, on the inside for a 2-piece with a pump action.
No, bro,
Around the
முடிச்சா.
shack, but there's more to
டேய்.
do. He's
bro, என்ன bro
he's
பண்ண
protecting
போ?
the area around him, though, because he takes down... Wait, was that Binny as well on
That
the
was
bar?
Binny as well on
Oh
the
my
bar.
goodness me.
Yes.
This guy wants to be the best.
Well,
No,
I told you, man. I talked to
super
him. He says,
bro.
I want to be the best. I want to submit my name.
Like no one ever was.
Mobile history. Ragnar starting to move up on Hora. Big fight. Tosh big down. No fear. Firing shot, but can't
Ayyo.
connect enough. Another from Ragnar will fall, and it might be a clean sweep
Hora
from Hora's
Hungaria.
perspective. If they can get Sleepy and No Fear back up, but no worries. Sky continues to fight tooth and nail. Ragnar still having life. If Sky can't pull off the hat trick, Hora, they're out.
Intense game as well on the northern side. Could
Hora
potentially
gali.
move in at third
Hora
partiness.
gali.
A flush over towards Sleepy, leaves Sky as a
Skills
solo.
here.
He's disengaging, sending south. There's a solar outpost in Yangon Galacticos for Romeo. You can see he's up in the hovercraft on the top of the hill here. Staying
ரெண்டு
safe,
டீம் போட்டி
staying
போட்டா
calm
அதான்
for
ப்ரோ
now.
ஆனா அவன் அந்த
Just
பக்கீர் வச்சான் பாருங்க ஒரு
going on.
ஷாட்
It looks like a
சரியான
tense game.
ஷாட்
Pull back away and maybe the
மைதில் இப்ப
fight
லேப்ல
goes
லைவ்
down, but I
போடுறீங்க
think
ஆமா ப்ரோ
Sky
லேப்ல
might
தான்
just be
போடுறேன்
done for here. Romeo though starts to light it up on the hillside.
Ragnar
Zone.
astounding that they're even alive. 3 members
அவன்
up
பாட்டுக்கு
and in
போயிரு
the fight, but you
போயிட்டு
mentioned
இருந்தான் நல்ல
Romeo, who
பிள்ளையா
now has
வண்டியில ஒரே
perfect line of
ஷாட்ல
sights
ஆமா
on everyone from Ragnar
சூப்பரா
just
வச்சான்
in
ப்ரோ
front of
ஆனா
them. And you also got IG starting to come behind him. Loxy through the smoke, however, dodges him miraculously, and he has an attempt. He's going for it, but Petrino shuts him down.
Will not be able to sidestep and find the follow through there for Regnum Kaya. They'll play on as one. And I was waiting for Intense Game to get involved. I thought maybe they were going to send out towards the east, but no. The hillsides are just right to be swept on
Hacker
through.
shot
And
bro
now, with just one player left from Hora,
bro,
they might turn their attention towards Yangon Galacticos' position further south.
சூப்பரா
But it
வச்சான்
is all a question.
கைஸ் லைக் பண்ணிட்டு பாருங்க guys எல்லாரும்
Close to Kinotrope.
And also for Sky, what he can do as a solo. Behind that of IG, he hasn't been spotted. But luckily for IG, they've got... Oh no, they're parking the bus, which means Sky, he could have a devastating effect. Here's Binny with the 3, takes down 2.
இந்த ஷாட் தான்
Mark comes out of nowhere, and Binny says, hey, where you going, buddy? And
சரியான
blows him
ஷாட்
straight
bro
down.
I was 100%
அவன்
sure.
பாருங்க அவன் டீமுக்கு 3 பாயிண்ட்ஸ்
I
ஆல்ரெடி செக்யூர் பண்ணி
thought
கொடுத்துருக்கான்
there's no way, right?
I think shots were coming
ஒருத்தன்
in,
இருக்கான்
he finished them all.
பொசிஷன் பாயிண்ட் தான் வருதான்னு பார்ப்போம் ஏன்னா அவனுக்கு
He was
க்ரூஷியலான
like,
பாயிண்ட்
1,
அது
2, 3.
49
He only
பாயிண்ட்ல
needed those
இருக்கானுங்க
3 shells, and he racked up 3 points.
Qualifier
That was
க்கு
really
கண்டிப்பா
impressive from
help
Binny
பண்ணும்
to be able to connect those shots, especially on the moving buggy.
பவர்
Under pressure
60
from the high
பாயிண்ட்
ground as
எடுத்துட்டானுங்க
well, out
சோலோ
the shack.
ஓராவும்
And
ஒருத்தன் தான்
it's
இருக்கான் 70
rightly
பாயிண்ட்
so that they're up in now 5th place with those 4 points under their belt, and maybe more to come. However, for Vision, they've got a choice to make, and it may be that they send for the shack that Binny sits inside.
ரன்னர்ஸ் இருக்குது ஷாக்கா
See where the shift is. Honestly, if I'm Sky at the moment, I'm just full sending an IG. Like I'm trying to do as much damage as possible. And the only reason why is Hora is a bit different. Being
zone
in
against
second
team
place,
delay,
already at
yeah.
70 points. Sky can afford to do this, and I believe they rotate by him, and Sky does manage to fight it out, and he's firing shots. He's connecting a bit, but Trino fell. However, IG managed to recover, and they'll still be a 3-man unit to push deeper into the zone. For Romeo and the
Do you think God,
he's still
Godlike
scouting the
will try any
surroundings, seeing
player
what's out there.
money?
That
Developer
Hovercraft
idea.
maintaining it.
Adan கேட்டதுக்கு ஏதோ no changes in time
With the
man.
zone ship Kinetrup once again still in a
FF for VS
powerful
and என்னடா எப்படி bro aim வச்சிருப்பா அவன் எனக்கு ஒண்ணும் புரியல bro.
Big game here would elevate them up the standings. They're at 22 points. Breaking in the top 8 is very doable, and they can honestly get very close with the win in game 2.
Really good information gathering there from Vision. They saw Intense Game leaving from that location, which opens up the position now that Marcelo and Nawaf have moved into. Before Intense Game and all the teams on the western side move, you cannot play the western side of the quarry like this, but as soon as they see that maneuver happen, they are in there. And that is a really smart rotation coming through from Vision. I like to see it. We'll see if they can go further.
Which player will be good எதுக்கு bro எதுக்கு கேக்குறீங்க?
The hovercraft to get it relatively low in health. I thought it was on fire, but
அவ்வளவுதான் முடிஞ்சு zone போட அப்போ
from
பொட்டி.
that angle, Adrian with the off angle.
Zone இந்த zone மேக் பண்ணிடுவாங்க. ஏன்னா அந்த சைடு வந்தாலே ஒரு ரிட்ஜ் இருக்கும் அங்க எடுத்துடலாம். குவாரில. அடுத்த zone என்ன பண்ண போறாங்கன்னு தெரியல.
Takes over a little bit of the high ground that he possibly can, and the push is in. Adrian made out. Rafa has also joined.
Kane actually அந்த மேட்ச் நல்ல சான்ஸ் Kane டின்னர் அடிங்க.
Shanghai Galacticus fights, and that nade looks good.
சொன்னாக்கா bro இல்ல ஃபைட் ஆயிடுச்சு போல bro அங்க.
On the edge
அந்த VSN வந்து கீழ இருந்து மேல ஏறாங்க போல.
More nades getting sent back and forth. That is just a tickle, but across the way, Fireflux can really start to get involved now. They just need to step a little bit closer, and they have full sight lines on towards Yangon Galacticos. You can see Solus wants to get a little bit more done. Across the way, you've got Kinetrup to worry about. This open ground around Kinetrup is just so deadly, and no team has really been able to do too much about it. It may have just been handed to Kinetrup on these circle shifts.
The hovercraft has been blown up, and Romeo can still use this
like
putting in great work, peppering the members of the team just up ahead. No one's going to be able to penetrate it. No one's going to be able to shoot Romeo in his current spot. So IG, that's one less member they're unfortunately not going to be able to fire upon. Starting to run on fumes. They can't go anywhere. They need to get up. They need to get out of blue, but there's only open space. Yeah, the buggy is one thing, but you know you're going to get gunned down. I think this is for IG.
Rafa going down there, and they are going to commit for the flush, confirming that point for Yangon Galacticos, but into the zone. Adrian sending, may be able to find a little nook and cranny to hide behind. Actually has Easy now as a buffer between him and Yangon Galacticos, and can survive for just a bit longer.
Fireflux also in front of Yangon Galacticos. I feel like they have had to fight tooth and nail at every point on their rotation. Honestly, not a bad thing. They haven't been wiped yet. They're also on the bubble. This is great for them. If they can pull off team wipe after team wipe, those are valuable points to continue their way up in the top 8. But I am a little bit worried where Adrian is currently at. He's got a great line of sight on the Yangon Galacticos, who's going to be just ahead of him. Meanwhile, Benny also up ahead. I can't wait to see what he's going to be able to do as a solo. But for Vision, desperately trying to get off maybe a knock onto Kinetrup. They want that high ground. They want that location because they understand how important it's going to be.
Kinetrup again just been decimating these teams around them. Unfortunately, they haven't earned too many points for it. So this is the question. What sort of value can they extract from this location? Because they have been nigh on unassailable in this spot for so long. But with 25 minutes on the clock, those remaining player counts are going to start to drop.
20 and 40
depending on what Marcelo does from Team Vision. They've been slowly making their way up. That drop on Tamra is going to hurt, however. And you mentioned the value. I thought they were going to pick up plenty of elims, but now they're getting picked apart. And you also have eArena, who might choose to dip their toe in this fight as well for the third party. But you also got Yangon Galacticos desperately trying to move forward, and Team Vision focused fully on them. Where's the buggy going, though? That was a bit of a risky play. Yangon Galactica have been mowing players out of
Yes,
buggies,
yeah,
out
you
of
did check on
vehicles,
it.
but luckily repositioned.
30 points
It's a payback.
இருக்கானுங்க இப்போதைக்கு.
They are going to keep things together. I feel like Team Vision have been playing this
Power
one really well.
eliminated.
They held that push from behind against
Only 9
ASTMG.
points.
They open up with a pick towards Kinotrope, which
69 points. Aura
does
70.
take them out of the power play
FF
quite a little bit.
75
Finally,
இப்போதைக்கு.
Binny does go down.
NS காலியா?
Did do a lot of damage though during that match. Ladders up to
NS
7th
வந்து
place.
இப்போதைக்கு
Credit
எவ்வளோ
to
பாயிண்ட்?
him. Credit to
54
his
பாயிண்ட்ஸ்ல
team
இருக்கானுங்க
there as
NS.
well. This is the last player from Intense
4
Game
match
who's
இருக்கு.
managed to sneak their way in. It's on to
I
Team
think
Vision
இந்த
really to make
zone
a
meta
move
control
here.
இல்லனா
And
waste
onto
fight
Yangon
எடுக்க
Galacticos as well.
பயப்பட
But they're staring each other down across this valley.
Yangon Galacticos are pinned up.
பட்டி பிளேஸ் ஆயி ப்ரோ.
I don't foresee
இந்த
them
VSM
getting out of
பிளேஸ்
this spot.
தான் நம்ம ஆளுங்க இருக்கு.
Cover
அதுதான்
slash,
அங்க தான்
we
போயிட்டு
provide you
வந்திருக்கு.
with Adrian, maybe Fireflux off to the
OG
left.
அவ்வளவுதான் காலி.
You got Vision firing shots
ஏய்
on
நான் வச்சிருக்கோம் ப்ரோ VSM ல.
throwing their hat in
ஆனா
the
காலி
ring.
கஷ்டம் ப்ரோ.
It would be a miracle if Smile and Mernat
Secure
move up, but that's
பண்ணிட்டா.
gonna be a great knock, but it's only gonna do
எப்படி
at
secure
least
பண்ண
so
விட்டாங்க?
much. It's remaining members
Daddy,
to be finished.
yes.
Great for Plur, but Plur falls. And Vision, where do they go? Do they want to continue to pin Yangon Galacticos or move up? Well, they're moving up. They want to capitalize off the knock at the full finish.
They can do both as well if they can do that fast enough, which they do. They're able to find that. Adrian down the hill. They know that Yangon Galacticos are very unlikely to poke their heads in now. With just one player remaining, it's too much of a risk. The nade downhill, he hops in the buggy. There's actually the back lines there coming on through. No, hang on a minute. It was the spray down.
VSM particular style.
And they will find the last player. Fireflux flexing out. It feels like there should be another
Another
Fireflux
flex
win
on.
as they start to extend the
Hi,
control
Jenna.
from
Hi,
the
bro.
eastern side. E-Arena trying to push
Bro, all the
up
audience
Corey,
think that
but you
God
can
and the
see
solar
what Scarface can do to them. There is
but
very
they
few worlds
fail
in
to
which they
understand
successfully
what
make their way up to the
Don't
top of this.
call it
Oh, but that nade hurt a little
Yeah,
bit. I don't know,
yeah,
maybe
yeah.
a couple more of those. You take Scarface out. That opens up the door to continue your progression
Yeah.
up the hill. But I don't think so. Madcap also looking down. Fireflux in such a great spot, but I mean, let's not kid ourselves. This area is so highly contested. And Nawaf, he's pushing up along with Alone, and this is going to be a great angle onto the Fireflux team as they start to take damage. You still got Joker also from E-Arena pushing up. This is going to be a mad dash for control on the top of the hill, and you got 3 rosters all butting heads.
Kinotrope are starting to fade here now. Last player for them to stand. Vision's playing on us 2. E-Arena is 3 who have been trying to fight their way in here. Scarface gets rezzed for Fireflux. That is going to be really, really important. However, in order to get that res, they've had to move Solars all the way to the back of their hole. They've lost a bit of pressure, and teams from the western side can start to move. And that's what's given E-Arena this momentum, this ability to get as close as they have. More now with an opportunity, maybe to mantle here, but he pops that Molotov up on high, and they aren't quite going to find it just yet. In the meantime, Yangon Galacticos lose their last.
Oh, they see him. I think they're wanting to go for the challenge onto Mormon. They don't want to overexpose themselves. You got to find a fine balance here. Too aggressive, it turns into recklessness. But if you do it just right, you could dismantle a roster. Vision onto Kinotrope. You mentioned the solo, and Kinotrope ends up falling. Start to get serious.
It is all up to if Fireflux can hold the hill on the top here with Soulless.
இல்ல ப்ரோ அதுக்குள்ள பாட்டெல்லாம் போட்டாங்க என்ன சொல்றாங்க TMG அவ்வளவுதான் இது ஏஸ் அவன போட்டிதான் போல ஆமா ப்ரோ
Never Alone tries to go for the low road and catches him out on it. Looks for the shot, but Nawaf with a 1-2 punch up on high as Soulless gets flushed. It's a pincer maneuver onto Fireflux and down to 2. Catch now down, and E-Arena may have just been able to mount the impossible towards the top of the ridgeline on Quarry.
But we've seen solos.
First match
for Scarface. One player down low. He's been spotted, however, so the cat's going to be out of the back. At least from Vision's perspective. Now the question is, does Mormon Joker Sakura from E-Arena know where Scarface is currently at? It should very well be a dominating win from E-Arena where they currently are. But Scarface can dismantle this push, can dismantle the hopes and dreams of E-Arena from taking a victory, and the shots are fired, and Mormon is down.
Scarface catches the backline for E-Arena, and he's looking for more. He's looking healthy. He got a helmet refresh there, a fresh level 2 over onto Scarface. He knows Never Alone's down the hill, and he jumps straight into Vision. Now in a 2 versus 2 though, Vision could do a little bit more. They've got a little bit more firepower here. Now up on the face. Oh, he turns his attention away just at the wrong time. Keeps him alive.
That's it. Vision desperately trying to fight, and they do get enough. This could be a takeover attempt from Team Vision. Sakura firing shots, but it's not enough. Is Vision pulling it off? Can they do it? Or will Sakura lock it in for the back-to-back for Arena to start the day? And it will be Arena back-to-back victories. They look as if they are poised to go to the grand finals, and they won it.
Last time around, they went out a little bit quietly towards the end for the chicken dinner. This time.
Come back. Saman bro, hi bro. Gameplay இருக்கா? Gameplay வந்து இல்ல bro. இப்படியே லேட் ஆயிரும் bro, Saman bro. EMG last Cyrex-லாம் நோம்பு வேற ஆர்வம் ஆயிடுச்சு. அதுங்க என்ன பண்றது? இப்ப தள்ளுங்க. ஏன் bro ஒரு ஆள் Cyrex நல்லா ஆடுறான் அப்படின்றீங்க, இன்னொரு நல்லா ஆடுன்றீங்க. GG. செம்மையா இருந்தானுங்கல்ல 3 மேனா வந்துட்டு கில்லு ஏதோ அடிக்கல மோஸ்ட்லி நிறைய கில்லு. ஆனா டின்னர் வச்சிட்டானுங்க. என்ன பண்ண யூஸ்லெஸ்ஸா லாஸ்ட் மேட்ச் டின்னர் போட போறேன். அது வந்து நம்ம இந்தியாவோட இதா என்னன்னு தெரியல. போற வரேன் எல்லாருமே அப்படிதான் பண்றாங்க. லைக் பண்ணாத லைக் பண்ணிக்கோங்க கைஸ். சப்ஸ்கிரைப் பண்ணாத சப்ஸ்கிரைப் பண்ணிட்டு பாருங்க. எஃப்எஃப் டின்னர் சோக் மாட்டான். அவன் தான் ப்ரோ அவ்வளோதான் ப்ரோ அவன் குவாலிஃபை ப்ரோ எஃப்எஃப். இதுக்கு மேல அவனுக்கு என்ன இருக்கு சொன்ன? வருது. நம்ம வீடியோ பார்க்கலாமா நேற்று மாதிரி? வேற யாரும் வீடியோவே போடல. அதுக்கு நம்ம வீடியோவே பார்க்கலாம். Bro, now AX has played 30 games now in international lobby. So this will boost the performance in our கண்டிப்பா ப்ரோ. நம்ம இதுல வரும்போது அவங்களுக்கு ஒரு கான்ஃபிடன்ட் கண்டிப்பா இருக்கும். அவ்வளவு பெரிய லாக்லயே ஆடியாச்சு, இது என்ன லாக்ன்ற மாதிரி இருக்கும் அவங்களுக்கு. ஆனா அதை வந்து அவங்க கரெக்டா யூஸ் பண்ணணும். அதுதான் அந்த விஷயம். ஐடியல் ஃபிளாக்ஸோ ஆமா என்னோட ஃபிளாக் தான். சோலோ 8 kills ஹைலைட்ஸா?
எங்க
பொசிஷன் எனக்கு தெரியல.
ப்ரோ
இந்த அக்கௌண்ட்லயே மறுபடியும் ஆட ஆரம்பிச்சிடலாமா? என்ன சொல்றீங்க? இந்த அக்கௌண்ட் பார்க்க எனக்கு இந்த அக்கௌண்ட் ஆடணும் போல இருக்கு.
அங்கதான் ப்ரோ காம்பவுண்டர்ல இருந்து பாடிட்டான் ப்ரோ. ஆமா பின்னாடி ஒருத்தர் இருக்கான் அந்த
ஜைரெக்ஸோட வீடியோ பார்த்தாச்சு ப்ரோ எல்லாமே. ஜஸ்டி மேக்ஸ் ஆய் ப்ரோ.
ஐயோ எங்க வர கொஞ்சம் ஸ்மோக் பண்ணிட்டு இருங்க. நான் ஓட்டான் ஐயோ வந்துட்டேன்.
கேவலமா லாக்குவாங்க வேணும். ஏன் வீடியோ தானா? ஒரு டின்னர் போட்டிருக்காங்க. இன்னும் சில டீம்ஸ் டின்னரே போடல. கரெக்ட் தான். பட் டின்னர் போட்டு என்ன ப்ரோ பண்றது? குவாலிஃபை ஆகலையா?
இப்போ இந்த ரிஜிஸ்டர்ல இருக்கான் ப்ரோ. அங்க என் பக்கி இருக்கு ஏஜல அதை ரொட்டேட் பண்ணிருங்க. அவன் அடிச்சிட்டு அந்த பக்கி எடுத்து இந்த பக்கி எடுத்து நான் அடிய போறேன். நெக்ஸ்ட் போறேன். இவன் அழுதிடுங்க ஏஜல். இங்கதான் இருப்பான் லெஃப்ட்ல. இங்கதான்
ஏக்ஸ் டீம்னா இப்போ இருக்க சிச்சுவேஷனுக்கு நீங்க என்ன பண்றீங்க?
அழுதிட்டு போயிடுவான் ப்ரோ. மெரடா வச்சிட்டு ஸ்ட்ரைட்டா போறான்.
அந்த சிச்சுவேஷன் என்ன ப்ரோ பண்றது? ஸ்டார்டிங்கே கில் எடுத்து ஆடுதான் ட்ரை பண்ணுவாங்க. கடைசியில போய் தான் ஒர்க் ஆகல. இப்ப கடைசி ஸ்டார்டிங்கே தான் பண்ணணும். ஃபர்ஸ்ட் 2 மேட்ச் வந்து ஜோன் எடுத்துலாம் ட்ரை பண்ணிட்டு
வெப்சைட்ல
இருந்தோம்.
அமைதியா bro
ஜோன்
இருந்துச்சு.
ஒத்து வரலாம் அடுத்த மேட்ச்ல இருந்து
ஃப்ரண்ட்ல முன்னாடி
ஸ்டார்டிங்கே
இந்த மலையை ஒட்டி கூட
போயிடுச்சு.
அமைதியா தான் இருக்கு. இங்கே ஜோன் இருக்கா? மலையை விட்டு போயா?
எந்த மேட்ச் ப்ரோ? மேட்சே ஞாபகம் வர மாட்டேங்குது bro. ஓ இதெல்லாம் முன்னாடி இல்ல வெடிச்சாலே நாக் ஆயிடுவானுங்க. இப்பதான் இருக்கானுங்களே வண்டி நின்று அது ஒரு 3-4 சைடு ஆகி அதுக்கு தான் வெடிக்கும்.
ரெண்டு நாக்கு.
Watch out.
Do they get prize money? சொல்லி ஆமா ப்ரோ வரும் பிரைஸ் அமௌண்ட் வரும்.
பைய சேர்றதா வாக்ல இல்லமா ஏற முடிய மாட்டேங்குது.
இந்த அக்கௌண்ட் தான் ப்ரோ என்னோட மொத அக்கௌண்ட். இதுல எனக்கு கிளாசிக் ரேட்ல குத்தான் ப்ரோ இந்த கிளேசியர். அப்ப ஃபர்ஸ்ட் அதான் நான் அப்கிரேட் போடுறதுதான் ஒரு மெட்டீரியலும் இல்லை. இப்ப இருக்க மாதிரிலாம் அப்பெல்லாம் மெட்டீரியல்லாம் கிடைக்கவே கிடைக்காது சும்மாலாம். இப்பதான் நிறைய இது கொண்டாந்துட்டானே மினி மெட்டீரியல் கிடைக்க அது இதுன்னு. இதெல்லாம் அப்படி ஒண்ணுமே கிடையாது. ஆனா அவங்களுக்கு தெரியும்ல இப்படி ஆனா குவாலிஃபை ஆக மாட்டோம்னு. அப்புறம் ஏன் பிளான் சேஞ்ச் பண்ணுவாங்க தெரியல ப்ரோ. அவன் மைண்ட் செட் என்னவா இருக்குன்னு தெரியல.
இருக்கானுங்க அதான் 3 பேர் இருக்கானுங்க. இருக்கான் பின்னாடி இருக்கான். ஷக்கு மேலையா? ஓகே 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 ஓகே.
அக்ரெசிவா ஆடலாம் ப்ரோ. நத்திங் டு கரெக்ட் தான்.
லெஃப்ட்லயே போனா கூட போயிடலாம்.
அது வேற
நான் இந்த
ஞாபகப்படுத்துறீங்க மனசுலாம் சொன்னாரு.
கரேஜ் அது கரேஜ்ல வச்சுட்டான்.
சோனா 90 எஃப்பிஎஸ்ல ஆடிக்கலாம் ப்ரோ. 120 மாத்தவே கூடாது.
உங்களையாவா
இப்ப டக்குனு 120 நான் மாத்திட்டு 90 மாத்தும் போது ஏதோ லாக் ஆகிற மாதிரியே ஃபீலா இருக்கு. அதான் இப்ப 95 வச்சு ஆடிட்டு இருக்கேன். 120 வந்து ரொம்ப ஸ்மூத்தா இருக்கா. அதுவே ஒரு டிஸ்அட்வான்டேஜ் மாதிரி இருக்கு எனக்கு. ஷார்ட் கன்லாம் சொல்லும்போது லாக பார்த்தீங்களா? பதினொன்று பஸ் ஸ்டேட் வச்சிருக்கேன். 11 பஸ் ஸ்டேட்
ஹீல் பண்ணி ஜெல் எப்படி வண்டி ப்ரோ? ரீலோட் ப்ரோ. எல்லாம் மொட்டடி வண்டி வரும்.
95 FPS புரியல ப்ரோ. 95 தான் ப்ரோ இப்ப கம்மி பண்ணி ஆடிட்டு இருக்கேன். நான் 120 எனக்கு செட் ஆக மாட்டேங்குது ப்ரோ. எதுலயுமே செட் ஆக மாட்டேங்குது. க்ளோஸ் ரேஞ்சும் சரி ஸ்ப்ரே பண்றதும் சரி செட் ஆக மாட்டேங்குது. 90 தான் வச்சேன். அதுக்கப்புறம் 90 வச்சு விளாண்டேன். ஆனா 90 வந்து அந்த லாக்னஸ் அப்படியே தெரியுது. ஃப்ரேமா ஒரு மாதிரி வர மாதிரி. இதெல்லாம் 90 தான் வச்சிடலாம் வேணாம். மெசேஜ் கிளாசிக் ரேட் பப்ஜில கிளேசியர் எடுக்கிறதுக்கு நான் வட்ட கஷ்டம் இருக்கே. 200 கிளாசிக் ரேட் சேர்த்து வச்சு ஓபன் பண்ணி அதுக்கப்புறம் கிடைச்சது. நான் அப்பெல்லாம் சேர்த்து வச்சுலாம் ஓபன் பண்ணல ப்ரோ. எப்பப்ப இருக்கோ அப்பப்பதான் ஓபன் பண்ணிடுறேன். அந்த மாதிரி ஓபன் பண்ணும்போது ஒரு வாட்டி கொடுத்தானுங்க. நீ 40யா? சூப்பர். அது எப்படி இது கம்மி பண்றது? நீங்க வந்துட்டு 120 சப்போர்ட் பண்ணோம்னா உங்களுக்கு மேனுவல் கிராஃபிக்ஸ் அட்ஜஸ்ட்னா ஏதோ ஒரு ஆப்ஷன் இருக்கும்னு நினைக்கிறேன். அது பக்கத்துலயே அதை நீங்க கிளிக் பண்ணி அதை வந்து நீங்க சைட்ல வந்து அந்த பார் இருக்கும் அப்படியே 120, 115, 110, 105, 100, 95, 90 மார்க். அதை வந்து நீங்க 5 தான் வைக்க முடியும், கம்மி பண்ண முடியும். அப்படியே கம்மி பண்ணி ஓகே கொடுத்தீங்கன்னா அது நல்லா இருக்கும்.
நான் வாங்கிட்டேன் நினைக்கிறேன் ப்ரோ.
Watch out.
ஸ்மோக்ல போட்டுருக்கான். ஸ்னைப்பர் வச்சிருக்கான் ப்ரோ. ஐ ஆமா இருக்கா?
ஓ ரைட் ஏஜ் நம்ம
Help.
நான் பாருங்க டிக்கெட்டிங்
நைஸ்
பண்ணணும் நம்ம இப்போ
அது ப்ரோ பெரிய போகுது.
ஹெச்பியே இல்ல ப்ரோ, அப்படியே ஒட்டிட்டு இருக்கு ப்ரோ இருக்கு. ஆனா இப்ப ஆர்பி போட்டு அதுல வர மினி மெட்டீரியல் பிளஸ் ஏஜி காயின் கொடுக்கற அதுல மினி மெட்டீரியல் சேர்த்து வச்சு லெவல் 5 போட்டு விட்டுட்டேன்.
இதுல மேல
சூப்பர்
இருக்கான்.
சூப்பர்.
ஸ்ட்ரைட்டா இருக்கான் பாருங்க.
இன்ன வரையும் நான் எந்த ஐடியும் இல்லாம இந்த ஐடியில தான் ஆடி இருந்தேன். நான் நேற்றுக்கு இது போட்டிருப்பேன் லெவல் 5 கண்டிப்பா போட்டிருப்பேன். எப்படி இருந்தாலும் சேர்த்து வச்சிருந்த ஒண்ணு ஒண்ணா.
Satish, ribbon emoji, became a member.
Satish, ribbon emoji, celebrates 3 months of membership.
அரே சதீஷ் ப்ரோ வந்து ப்ரோ மெம்பர்ஷிப்புக்கு
2 பேர் இருக்காங்க ப்ரோ. நேடு போடுங்க. 10 செகண்ட் தான் இருக்கணும்.
மேட்ச் நம்ம போரா தான் போச்சு. மைல் ஸ்டோன் ஜி அது ப்ரோ, மைல் ஸ்டோனா இருந்தாலும் பரவாயில்ல ப்ரோ. சூப்பர் ப்ரோ. வெயிட் ராமேஸ்வரன் ஸ்கை ஸ்போர்ட்ஸ் சாம்பியன்ஷிப் வச்சாங்க.
வர
ஓகே இது
இங்க போய்
Watch out.
வரட்ல அவன வாங்க. வரட்ல அப்படியே வண்டி எடுங்க. வரட்லாம். வாங்க வண்டி எடுத்துறேன். வாங்க. ஓகே இப்படிதான் போனா. ஐயோ ப்ரோ
ஓடிடுவாங்க.
வேண்டாம்.
ஞாபகம் இல்ல.
இதான் ப்ரோ எடுத்தேன். நம்மள தெரியுமே. எத்தனை பேர்? வாங்க ஏறுங்க.
Watch out.
உள்ள. அங்க டீம். ஓடி.
கோயில்ல இல்ல
டக்காயிடுச்சு எனக்கு.
ஷேர் பண்ணுங்க.
வண்டியை மட்டும் உள்ள எடுத்துட்டு வரணும்.
இது வாங்கிட்டு வர ஸ்டோட்டா மாதிரி.
Watch out.
ஒரு ஸ்மோக் போடு சரியா? இல்ல இவன் வண்டிக்கு ஒரு
Watch
ஸ்மோக் போடு. நான்
Thank you.
நான் கிளம்புறேன் இங்க இருந்து. பின்னாடி ரொட்டேஷன் ப்ரோ.
ஒரு வகை இருக்கு. ரொட்டேஷன். யார சுடுறான் பாருங்க. கிட்டியே.
Watch out.
ப்ரோ எங்க இந்த உங்க கிட்ட வரது தெரியல ப்ரோ அவன்.
டிஎஸ்
டவுன்ல
டான்ஸ் பார்ட்டியா?
போறான் ப்ரோ. ஐயா வேற டீம் மேஜல் அங்க வரது. அங்கே ஃபைட்.
ஓடு நான்
இருக்குமா? உள்ள விட்டு ரன்னர் பண்ணிடுவோம். கிளியர் பண்ணிடுவோம் அந்த குளிய ஐஜி.
இதுவும் அந்த ஐடி தானா? அப்ப
இப்ப பண்ணலாம்
என்ன ஐட்டம் சாங் செஞ்சீங்களா?
ஆமா ப்ரோ அங்க போனா சுத்தி அடி பண்ணுங்க ப்ரோ. நைஸ் ரெண்டாவது. இப்ப போலாம். வா गाइस வாங்க गाइस.
ஓடுங்க.
ஐஜி பாருங்க. போறோம். இப்படி ப்ரோ பாருங்க. இறங்க வெயிட் பண்ணுங்க. எங்க இருக்கான்னு தெரியல. சரியா தெரியல. இந்த உள்ளதா இருக்கான் பாத்துட்டேன். எங்க ஏன்டா ப்ரோ. ஏன் உன்னை நிப்பாட்னே?
சமத்த போட்டி போட்டாங்க.
நிப்பாடி. அது ஒரு நல்லா அடி. சரி போறீங்க. லெஃப்ட் தானே? நீங்க போலாம்.
அது ரைட் வந்தாங்க.
இதுக்கப்புறம் நல்லா இருக்கும். இதுக்கப்புறம் தான் நிறைய ஃபைட்ஸ் நிறைய இது பண்ணுங்க.
என்ன
சேஃப்.
சேர் ப்ரோ இது.
ஓஜியா சொன்னா
பேலன்ஸ்ல ஆப்போசிட்
ஏகேயோட ட்ரெஸ்ஸை பார்த்துட்டு சொன்னேன்.
இங்க ஒருத்த கிளம்புறான், இங்க ஒருத்த
நான்
ஓடுறான்.
சேஃப்
டேய் என்ன ப்ரோ இது? ஏதோ
லெஃப்ட் டாசியா
bro, எனக்கு உங்க பேர் காட்டல ப்ரோ. கேக்குதா? உங்கள டேக்ல எதுவும் காட்டல எனக்கு.
யோசினா பேரு காட்டல டேக் காட்டலனா
இருங்க ஒரு நிமிஷம்.
ஆப்போசிட் சும்மா நேரா ஏதா போட்டு
Watch out.
அவனே மேன்லெஸ் தான் ப்ரோ, சில் பண்ணுங்க. முன்னாடி தான் போணும் கொஞ்சம்.
Watch out. Help.
வண்டி வருது, வண்டி எடுக்குறான் ப்ரோ. எல்லாம் தூக்க கூட.
Thank you. Help.
ரைட்.
நான் டாட் மேக்ஸிமம் நேட் போட்டு
நான் போறேன். டிராப் பண்ணி தான்
டாட்
மேக்ஸ் தான்.
ஆச்சரி.
அவள்தான் காலி. ப்ரோ நான் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் போறேன். 1 HP.
லைன் அப் சொல்ல ப்ரோ. லைன் அப் ஃபாக்ஸ் ரீகோ லென்ஸ் நான் ப்ரோ. மேட்ச் ஸ்டார்ட் அது மிஸ் போலாம் ப்ரோ. ஒரு கேப்ல ஒரு மேட்ச் வாட்ச் பண்ணி போறோம். நம்மளோட இதே.
Thank you.
गाइस லைக் பண்ணுங்க गाइस லைக் பண்ணிட்டு பாருங்க. சப்ஸ்கிரைப் பண்ணுங்க.
அடிச்சுறானுங்க ப்ரோ. லெஃப்ட்ல வீட்ல தான் நிக்கிறேன். ப்ரோ ஃபுல் லெஃப்ட் ரோடு கோலே. டிப்பா ஆளலாம் இது சூப்பரா ஆளலாம். லெஃப்ட்ல ஃபுல்லா வியூ இருக்கு ப்ரோ.
அந்த ஃபைட் நடக்குதா இல்லையா?
இருக்கு ப்ரோ அந்த இன்னொரு
இப்பதான்
இங்க படுத்துங்க அப்படியே.
ப்ரோ அப்போ அந்த ஸ்ரீலங்கா பிளேயரும் இருக்காரு ப்ரோ. ஜமன் ப்ரோ அவரும் இருக்காரு.
வண்டி லெஃப்ட்ல தான் வண்டி அங்கதான். இல்ல வர ஆமா நிப்பாட்றாங்க. ஒரே ஒருத்தர் இருக்கான். ஒரே நைஸ் அவ்வளவுதான். முன்னாடி ஸ்மோக் போடுங்க. மூணே பேர் தான் இருக்காங்க பொறுமையா.
ஓ இது டின்னர் அடிக்கிற மேட்சா ப்ரோ? நான் நினைச்சிட்டு வேற ஏதோ மேட்ச் ப்ரோ.
நான் எடுத்தீங்கன்னா ரன் ஓவர் பண்ணிடலாம் ஜி நம்ம ஈஸியா.
ஜமன் ப்ரோ இன்டர்நேஷனல் பிளேயர் நாட் அலௌட் ஃபார் இந்தியன் லாபி.
போனுக்கு ஒரு
நான் வேற மேட்ச் நினைச்சிட்டு இது டின்னர் அடிச்ச மேட்சோ.
கண்டிப்பா ரன் ஓவர் பண்ண முடிஞ்சா போய் வண்டி எடுத்து. ஜியோ மஸ்பினான் நைஸ். நான் வர கில் பண்ண அப்படியே ரன் ஓவர் பண்ண முடிஞ்சா போய் வண்டி எடுத்து. வண்டி எடுங்க ஜி அப்படியே நான் கூட வரேன். என்ன ஏத்துங்க. போங்க நீ போங்க கிட்ட பேர்க்கி விட்டுருங்க. என்ன பாதியிலே இறங்கிடுங்க. ரைட் பின்னாடி லாஸ்ட் கை வண்டியில போடுங்க. மாட்டி ப்ரோ வெயிட் மாட்டி ப்ரோ. பாயிண்ட் வெயிட் பண்ணு. ரெண்டு பேரும் நைஸ் பாஸ்.
மேட்ச் ஸ்டார்ட் அதோ போயிடலாம் ப்ரோ.
15 கில் அடிச்சீங்கன்னு நினைக்கிறேன்.
We're the best.
நினைக்கிறேன் வாட்ச் சொல்லலாம். சரி நான் ஏனையோ உத்தரவு நன்றி.
Production for getting that replay
Without
for
a
me,
doubt.
by the way.
Without a doubt.
Big shout out to those guys. They've been pulling shifts behind the scenes out here. We've been loving every second of working with them, and we'll be glad to see the rest of the week out with them too. Unfortunately, not all of our teams are going to be seeing the rest of the week out with them. We are on board with the team on the bubble right now in 8th place. Falcons, 50 points as it stands after 8 matches completed.
Yeah, which is tough to see. A world, a grand finals where you don't have Falcons, you don't have Alpha 7. Come on, that is something we surely did not expect. Falcons roster.
Oh yes, 28 point தானா bro? 8 மேட்சுக்கு.
And now they might not even make it to the final day, so they've got to step it up without question.
Falconவே எஜ்ல ஊசலாடிட்டு இருக்காங்க போலயே. 8th பேஸ்ல.
Next stage. Moving in, Noxious Red Force most likely coming up behind them too.
I'm waiting for A7 and Falcon Miranda drop fight. Fight எடுத்துப்பாங்களா பாப்போம்.
Right behind
சுரேஷ் bro வணக்கம் bro.
So we were just mentioning potentially not making it into the final day. Meanwhile, Provision, they're on the hunt and they're hunting down power.
Ooh, easy hops back in the vehicle. They aren't going to slow down too much. Instead, they
Yaar
turn
and
around.
Sri
And the
Lankan
rest of the
player.
team
Bro,
comes
I'm a
through.
player.
Now with 4 players from Vision going to try and get into pursuit. A little hop over the terrain and more shots coming through
I'm
from
waiting
the
for
hollow
A7.
sight.
A7
And
அவ்வளவுதான்.
Mini 13
என்ன bro
pumping
genius
damage into easy, but again, he protects himself. He keeps safe and falls back with the rest of power.
The
So
boss is
staying
faking
alive
it
there
down
could be
there.
all important and maybe all important for Vision because they're in 10th place right now. They're chasing.
Without a doubt,
2
right?
minutes
Very
flying
close to
noodles,
catching up and
one
breaking
is
into top 8. I want this game to get away from them. And from one fight
Singam
maybe
நீங்க
to
என்ன
another, AXTMG
வந்து
off to the right-hand side, firing warning shots. Regnum Karya, though, well within their right, within top 5. Looking very, very good at the moment. They start to rotate it as well as starts to get active up towards IG Alpha 7's region. And we
Stevie
do
bro,
expect that,
சாப்பிட்டேன் bro,
especially
நீங்க
as the
சாப்பிட்டீங்களா?
zone
அடா AXTMG சுத்துறாங்களே.
which always makes things a little bit spicy. Arena getting active onto Gamix.
Yeah, Arena having found that initial knock.
Ajal, my
first.
team
Looks like that could
என்ன
be raised
position
up.
ல
They're
இருக்கு?
taking more shots out that
உங்க
way.
team
It
என்ன
is
team
mostly
bro? உங்க
just
team
Joker
name சொல்லுங்க bro.
out here. The rest of the
bro.
Arena not quite close enough to go for the full fight. Sakura also isolated, so could get a little bit messy here as the res does.
ஐயர் என்ன சிரிக்கிறீங்க புரியல எனக்கு சிரிச்சனா
This one.
சும்மா
But
சும்மா
they
சும்மா
may have
சும்மா
bitten off a
கஷ்டம்.
little bit more than they can chew
Danger, bro.
with the amount of split that they've gone for. I think Sakura's ready.
STG bro சொல்லுங்க எந்த டீம் உங்க டீம் நேம் என்ன?
It was the Arena firing shots helping out Sakura, who was up ahead. Now the danger not gone just yet. He repositions himself, gets away, and I do appreciate from a lot of these rosters today not overcommitting.
Okay,
It's
STG
so
bro
easy
சும்மா தான்
to
கேட்டேன்
overcommit
அதான்
to a
மை
fight to really feel the energy and push forward.
இது
Teams aren't
என்னது
scared to disengage,
எந்த
and I
டீம்
think that's
வின்
going to be very
பண்ணுவாங்க டீம்
valuable going into the final
அப்ப வந்து
stages.
இதுல உள்ள
Sometimes
எல்லாமே உங்க
disengaging
டீம்
and not
தானா?
fighting the fight is the best course of action, and for E-Arena, they decide to do just that because Sakura,
பவரா
even though he was in a 1v1, he did have help.
FF qualified bro.
It became a 2v1. He read the situation correctly and decided to dip out. Gamek's going to hold on to the shoreline as much as they possibly can. E-Arena, though, continues to kind of encircle them and tramp them, and I do wonder if Gamex is truly going to be able to make their way down the shoreline, or if they're going to have to go south and maybe towards Quarry and reposition.
guys இந்த மேட்ச் யார் டின்னர் அடிப்பா நினைக்கிறீங்க இருங்க ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஜோன் வரட்டும் அத பார்த்து சாரி செகண்ட் ஜோன் வந்தா அத பார்த்துட்டு சொல்லுங்க யார் டின்னர் அடிப்பாங்க
teams are getting closer to Everest,
Over
to Hospital, to South George. They're getting ahead of the curve in terms of that rotational pace.
I just
chasing down Gamax.
Bro, bro,
is it really worth it for E-Arena right now? I'm not sure if it's the wisest investment of time. If they get one Elim, okay, they have managed to find that knock. I imagine they're going to turn around now and start to head in a circle.
GMX, 3 kill கொடுக்க வந்தானே. Bro, நான் பாவம் bro இந்த GMX.
Try and prove me wrong.
You know, I think it's just out of respect. Gamex, let's face it, they've been getting pushed. When teams see them, they push into Gamex. They take advantage of the situation. Focus now onto Kinetro. Finale is down, unfortunately. Plur has to be the gatekeeper now to try and protect his position. Scarface is coming up from the backhand side. Ketch tried to do exactly that too, but he gets taken down. Fireflux with the recovery should get the pickup, but Scarface, I believe, is going to be the linchpin if I'm not mistaken.
Could be important here. Matcap has to go in for the res over towards Ketch.
Ozzy-san
clocks him again, and that's going to force another player from
இப்பதான் qualified
to
ஆவணுங்க
respond to this. Stage 1 reses are possible, but Ozzy-san has been so important for Kinetro
நான்
in
ஃபுல்லா
making this one
ரிசல்ட்
work.
ஆயிடுச்சு அவங்களுக்கு ஆமா ப்ரோ EA பாருங்க 68 பாயிண்ட்ஸ் வந்தாங்க இப்பவே qualify ஆயிடுவாங்க
It's getting a little bit
Raven TTR சாய் ப்ரோ
Galacticos who are on the other side of the bridge. They're
X
gearing
name
up to try and make it across
அடிக்குறாங்க
themselves.
X name
Looks like Fireflux still trying to get the reses as they possibly can. Solus has made his way over to start at
GMX
least one pickup. Ozzy-san
ஓ அந்த X சொல்றீங்களா GMX TX இது AX அது சொல்றீங்களா
Fireflux, so they do recover
GMX
just a little
24th
bit.
and
Remember, this
18th
fight
place
so impactful for Kinetro to work their way up, and they now have to do it as a duo, which is never easy. Ozzy-san, potential disengagement, or at least for sure a reposition. Now the question is, will Fireflux fire in a position?
எண்டில் வந்து யாரு பாட்டம்ல பிடிக்க போறா
Fireflux
AX
get the finish, and now they're down to
GMX
one.
looking for
DP is live, subscribe to the channel.
News for them. Fireflux trying to
DP
piece
is
themselves
live,
back
country
together
bro.
here. Looks like they may be able to do just that, but what can Yangon
Middle East on qualify ஆகுமா வாய்ப்பில்லை bro எனக்கு தெரிஞ்சு இந்த மேட்ச்ல தெரிஞ்சிரும் bro ஐயோ zone பார்க்கவே இல்லையே
and instead it's the bullets to finish him off. Now Fireflux, can they disengage? Can they get back to this one? Ketch needs to get a heal off. You imagine that he's got the time to do so, but can Yangon Galacticos
கையிலலாம் குத்துறாங்க
they're fully disengaged from this. By the way,
அவங்களே already பாவம்
fighting in
அவங்க போய் கையில வேற குத்துறாங்க
Gamax on the southwest side.
This is nuts, isn't it? Gamax just down to a solo. Mind you, the solo
AX
level
தான் இந்த பாட்டமா AX
on the
dinner
down
ஆயிச்சு
player, and you think
AX
about how
dinner
Gamax started this
right
with the down player out of nowhere, hitting the divot with just a sliver of health, and E-Arena so punishing, looking to put Gamax into the grave very early on. The overcommitment, but I mean, for E-Arena, very healthy points, 67. They put themselves up within top 3. Yes, it is an overcommitment, but I think for them, they're fine with this. No worries whatsoever.
I mean, they can play small ball PUBG Mobile, right? They can go for these small point games. You get a team wipe, that is 4 points added to your tally, and at this stage, that's enough to see you completely safe. They have now hit that 70-point threshold that we talked about so much in terms of where we expect that 8th place to end up. So getting up and over this early on is great news. We see a replay of the engagements, of the pickups that they were able to find. Tiny K rolling up, get that reload in. Little punch out.
No.
Disturb பண்ணி attitude காட்றாங்க exit.
Well, with that clip, we can see it's a little bit personal.
Incoming.
They're having fun,
Okay.
but I know Gamax isn't.
I am the price table.
Solo still
பாத்தீங்களா
last up.
first group
I'm actually
stage level
shocked.
set of cash
I'm floored that E-Arena is staying around this
It's
solo. Meanwhile, you do have a couple of other engagements taking place, and well, naturally for E-Arena, they finally get the finish.
DMX
They
rally.
go to the box.
தான் போய்
They
ஆரம்பிச்சிட்டாங்க
all
போட்டியே சுட
shooting the body. Why is this so personal? What storyline did we miss?
அவனே கேக்குறான் எதுக்குடா சொல்றீங்க உங்களுக்கு என்ன
Go off, I guess.
There's no smiles either. Like, oh, there we go. Okay, little smile. I was like, wow, they are genuinely upset.
You know what is important about what E-Arena have done here? Sure, they make a decision that we can call into question. The more important thing is that they were a West Coast team. There is currently a team on the West Coast of the next circle that will be in a fight with E-Arena, potentially Gamax as well. That is very important. Of course, I'm talking about none other than Alpha 7. They sit on the west edge of this circle. That would have been a contested spot had it not been for E-Arena going for a position like this. Well, if Alpha 7 can get a big game here, I'm placing that blame squarely at the feet of E-Arena.
That's fair. That's a great call out.
Top 8 to qualify, bro.
Maybe singing the praises of E-Arena being totally over aggressive on the game.
இந்த zone இருங்க இந்த zone யாத்திர வந்து சரி
So
போறா
very small now. Plenty of teams.
ஆனா அந்த
still on the
டீம்
outskirts.
என்ன டீமே
Florida has
தெரியல
a bit
bro
of a split, a 2-2 split at the moment. You've got R8 who's
அந்த ஆரஞ்சு
also
மேல என்ன டீம்
surrounding them.
ஜார்ஜ் ஹிலி கீழ பவர்
Just
இவன்
on
என்ன
the
நின்னு இருப்பான்
outskirts.
எனக்கு
Power have a great spot, however, in the
I
middle.
think cut off near 80
Power
you know 3 matches
already
plus 60
having
base
a
points
wonderful day, obviously
bro
coming off
நம்ம
of
நம்பிட்டு
at least a good
இருக்கீங்க
finish in that game number 2, and I believe here they are going to be the team to watch out for who might be able to make a deep run, which would be wonderful for them. They're just a little bit below that threshold, still in a very healthy spot. Power, here we go.
Look at that. You got the shot there live from Riyadh. That is Al Haji's father there.
Okay.
Watching live from in the venue. He's locked in right now. And Power being in an important position, rightly so. He has the support of his family.
Rocket successfully launched the
Power family can play off one another beautifully.
And I saw him in the back lines too. Maybe, with some prompts saying, we need to do this, pick it up. Right? He was being active during the team huddle in between games. So shout out to the dads. We love family support systems when it comes to esports. It's so impactful, and I tell you what, you can truly make a big impact in your kid's life, in your competitor's life, in your family's life.
guys like பண்ணா லைக் பண்ணிக்கோங்க guys subscribe பண்ணா subscribe பண்ண போறேங்க லைக் பண்ணாம பார்த்துட்டு இருந்தீங்கன்னா லைக் பண்ணிக்கோங்க
That was my dad's
That's
birthday
fungible
yesterday as well.
it's
Yeah, no, we're all about celebrating dad.
Without a doubt, without a doubt.
Now. Happy birthday to my dad for yesterday. Probably should have done that yesterday.
Actually,
but
yeah.
You know what?
But you know what? You got it in now.
Yeah. Happy birthday to Kalaris for a few days ago.
Yes, yes.
Coming up probably.
Right.
All of that.
That's right.
Well, he's not my dad. Kalaris is not my father.
Thank you for clarifying.
Just to call that one out.
There you go, Claire. If you didn't know, Claris, you're not John's father.
I know what he's like.
Out of the bag.
He'll yeah.
ஓ பவருக்கு ஜெண்டாலாம் இல்ல bro நோ ஜெண்டா ஃபால்கன் நல்லா ப்ளே பண்ண மாதிரி இருந்துச்சு என்ன bro 8 bro அதுதான் bro இதுல வேற மிராமல்ல வேற கன் ஃபைட் எடுத்துப்பாங்க bro அவனே ஏஸ் அவனும்
right next to Mormon. They're
அதுல மட்டும்
side
ரெண்டுலயும்
by
ஏச
side as
வச்சாங்கன்னா
they
என்ன
go
ஆகும்?
in. And
ரெண்டு
Arwin's
டீமோட
not too
ஏதோ
far away
பண்ணியும்
either,
அதோ
although
இதுதான்.
I do foresee them going a little bit further in. But yeah, fights off. Metcalf's gonna be the first one
ஓ
down.
நீ செம்ம கான்ஃபிடன்ஸா இருக்கானுங்க
Mormon,
போலயே.
shots out, catch, melting.
முடிச்சிட்டானுங்க.
Arena, but
Bye,
only
bye.
for a little bit. Sakura, a little matter of health.
தேர்ட் பார்ட்டி வந்து
As he
டீம்
pushes
ஒட்டனே
up,
வரானுங்க ப்ரோ.
blocks, still with the advantage,
கொஞ்சம்
you
கூட
have to
லேட்
assume
இல்ல.
with the
ஒட்டனே
solo.
வரானுங்க.
And that's going to be, oh, now R8's into the mix. So all three teams do, in fact, end up colliding.
Oh,
ஓ ஈயே தான் அடிச்சானுங்களா? சாரி மார்க்
last match get
சொல்றேன்.
interrupted, but R8 are turned away at the door almost immediately. They try and push in, and immediately the shots ring out more.
பாருங்க ஓவர் கட் வச்சு அவன் எவ்வளவு இது பண்றான் பாருங்க அந்த டீம். Pressure போடுறான் பாருங்க.
Tries to take another player down.
ஆரம்ல அடிக்கிறான் ப்ரோ.
Giving it up in the horn, giving it large. Prestige now to the back lines. ID with the backup, but two players now. A step.
The knock was down.
Prestige with a spray down onto one. It's traded, and the hop out wide. Prestige now, the last player.
முதல்ல கில்ல செக்யூர் பண்ணா நல்லா இருக்கும்.
Still
ஒருத்தன் தான் இருக்கான் அந்த டீம்ல.
threatening. The pace is there, and they sweep them aside. Fireflux are out of there.
Yo, எட்டு கில்ல ப்ரோ நீயே.
8 elims, and the rematch continues.
And even though they only have a duo, they have the hover grab, which could be critical later on. Now the question is, does another team come into the fold? Will we see Adrian with the intense game now start the challenge onto E-Arena up ahead? Again, a very, very talented roster, but also can get aggressive when they want to. And there is value in pushing E-Arena in this moment.
75 points bro EA.
Desperately need points. They need to elevate themselves up towards top 8. It's getting serious for them. Getting aggressive might be the way. But for Influence Rage, Vision now want to fight themselves.
Vision have really started to
Kind of
suffer in this
kilo
engagement. Influence Rage
43
holding
points.
down
Actually
Gakko.
IBS
Doing pretty well.
அதான் ஆவரேஜா
So they have
இருக்கு.
got Little Boy down on the floor here and are likely to get that one flushed away. Nothing really to do
That's
there.
all. இன்னொரு
Here
team
comes
குத்திச்சான்
Power.
அது.
They might look to third party this. There's not
ஆமா
too
bro,
much that
power
anyone can do
குத்திட்டாங்க
about it.
bro.
Playing this southeast building is going to play very, very well for them. You've got to imagine that the supplies are running low across the way. You can see the underarms coming on through. Al-Haji cooking it, trying to chef it
தேர்ட்
up.
பார்ட்டிக்கு வந்து அடி வாங்கிட்டு போறாங்க. அதான்
Puts
அதான்.
it in through the doorway. Don't think that's going to connect, but he does get the bounce around the corner, unfortunately.
ஏசவனுக்கு தான் என்ன
Now, there's a little bit of time right now.
ஏசவன்
It's
கமக்கமா
Mr.
இருக்கானுங்களே இந்த
Roster's
மேட்ச்.
gotta
ஒரு
take their
லாட்
time.
வச்சிருவாங்க அந்த
However, I
மேட்ச்.
believe Bora is going to come crashing in for the third party and the cleanup. That's something they need to desperately be aware of. Narvalo is also scanning the areas, but my concern is Horta coming in to this influence range.
அங்க இருக்கானுங்க bro ஏசவன்.
Al-Haji down,
ஐயோ
unfortunately.
நல்ல சாவுறாதீங்கடா.
Firing blind. He doesn't know he's in front, but he just wants to get any shot he
Matthew,
possibly can, and he
பாருங்க.
will eventually fall. Law through the window. Fahim, easy, also
Self
pushing
denial,
up.
boy.
Easy. Nate's being it's going to be thrown. That's
Jumper,
going to be a
jumper,
grenade. And Yak mentioned, Horta also
இன்னொரு
starting
team
to
வந்துச்சு
crash in
bro.
just as Power starts to get control.
Law dropping the nade
Horta.
at his feet, trying to stop people from walking in through the doorframe uncontested. Will give himself a little bit of time here. Finds Sleepy and connects for the shots. Easy's there, and Sky goes down. Horror's crash is going abysmally wrong now, as Alpha 7 are lighting them up from across the way as well.
ஏசவனுக்கு ஃபைட் பவர் நாக் வச்சிருக்கான். செக்யூர்
Alpha
பண்ணிட்டான்.
7
நாக்
somehow
வச்சிருக்கான்.
comes out of this fight, even from a distance.
Overall,
with
ரெண்டு
the
பேரு
victory. This could be huge
இந்த
for them
டீம்ல
because
ஒருத்தன்
they
இருக்கான்
control a
ஐஎன்எஃப்ல.
significant portion of the map. Narvalo has been hanging out towards the northern side of this entire engagement.
Chennai Esports,
And
hi,
therefore
bro.
Falcons potentially making a play call for
Guys,
Reno's
like பண்ணிட்டு பாருங்க
and
guys.
also fire down on Power, on Aura, on Influence Range.
அதான்
who's
power
currently
காலி
embroiled
ஆயிடுவானோ.
in a desperate fight for Power.
But Power are still alive as 4. They are all up.
அங்கிட்டு
alive
இன்னொரு
and
team
kicking.
வேற இருக்கு bro,
They've got
ரெடியா
a lot
third
of
party-க்கு.
pressure into this area. You can't imagine that the Falcons are going to be able to do
It's
too
fifth
much
party.
against them.
Oh, no,
On the
no.
inside, it is only small teams to
Bro,
try and go
என்ன
for this. A
நேடு
lot
bro
of nade
இது?
comes through from No Fear though. Over towards Easy, and that is a
நம்ம
little bit
center
spoilt
building-லயே
for
ஒண்ணுமே இல்ல.
Getting
அந்த
this
two
cross
building-ல.
successfully could be dangerous. The Falcons regroup in the meantime. You can see Narvalo and Redox both moving
இது
back
வந்து
over
அவங்க
the north
power
side of
பார்த்துட்டு
those
போய்
chopsticks.
அந்த வந்து
They're going to have to try and
எடுத்துட்டானுங்க.
fight off against Rectum Kaya now.
இல்ல போயிட்டான்.
Power. I feel like I've gotten 2 or 3 lives in this fight. They've had so many downed players. They've managed to recover
ஆதி
and
ரிட்டர்ன்
they
இப்போ
stay
1 வீக் சொன்னாரு bro.
4-man units. If they can get Easy back up,
Or
which
a
I have
2-man
no
loss,
doubt they're going to be able to do so because Law just doesn't have the
ஆமா.
line of sight needed in order to get the cleanup on the down player.
நான் சொன்னது
Actually,
வந்து
Law
power
takes
esports
a
தானே
little bit more
சொன்னேன்.
damage himself
இல்ல,
off from Alpha 7, I do believe, if I'm not mistaken. Now, all these rosters
இங்கேயே
now
ஃபோக்கஸ்
have to
பண்ணிருக்கானுங்க.
shift
பவர்
into
எனக்கு
the
தெரிஞ்ச
next
zone
zone. So
பார்த்துட்டு
this fight can
போலாம்.
still take its time. time, but eventually blue, it's going to start hurting.
This is the benefit that Power have for having crashed onto the east side of this compound, right? It's closer to the center of the circle. You have those
Nee,
routes
return.
away that are going to be a little bit less contested. The difficulty is that there's not really a good space to go towards. At the moment, the compound that sits just to the west of Gatka, of the Chopsticks, is going to be unoccupied. The question is, do they know that? And the second question that you need to follow that up with is, do they have the vehicles and the utility to make that crossing successfully without getting shut down?
Alhaji easy
முடிச்சதுதான் போவேன் இருக்கானே அவனுங்க.
They're closing the vice grip.
Hey, Galio.
This nade could be big. He throws
that's
it
a
out.
no,
Law
no.
can't reposition at the moment. Alhaji, another nade, not wanting to overcommit. They don't want to get up close and personal in the CQC fight.
அப்பா அதெல்லாம் மிஸ்டானே ப்ரோ. கிளம்புடா தயவு செஞ்சு ஃபர்ஸ்ட். எவ்வளவு நேரம் ப்ரோ? NS தான் வின்னரா? ஓகே.
Influence ranger now out of there. You know there's only one.
NS ஓட 4 பேர் இருக்காங்க. ஆமா.
Two players from Hora are there, and Alpha 7 start to make their approach. A 2-2 split as Alpha 7 start to
ஒருவேளை zone மேக் பண்ண முடியாது தெரிஞ்சு காலி ப்ரோ பவர் காலி ப்ரோ
Power crossing the open ground now against Hora. No knock sent towards Power, and Jiggle gets taken down to half HP. Haji's now up to the wall with Easy following up nicely. They're up into the top floor as well. They're starting to overwhelm Hora here, and there really isn't any resistance that's finding them. A really disciplined push there, and shots
clear பண்ணவன
across the open yard, and they will control Gatka, sweep through it, even down, and they're on for more, but the rotation needs to happen fast.
And just to really say how impressive that was, they had so many down players, and they take two teams out.
Bro, அந்த காம்பவுண்ட் இன்னும் எவனுமே எடுக்கல ப்ரோ. கைஸ் பவர் ரெடியா தான் ரெடி. அவ்வளவுதான் முடிஞ்சு.
Alpha 7 take advantage. They
Yes, dinner
down the entire time, and they are now punishing Power's rotation. But Alpha 7 isn't out
the
of the
காம்பவுண்ட் இன்னும் எடுக்காம வச்சிருக்காங்க ப்ரோ யாரும்.
behind them as well. And they ruin it for their countrymen. Intense game. Nope, they've been spotted. Nongshim Red Force gonna clock silence out in the open there. Rafa.
எப்படி ஓபன்ல நின்னு ஸ்ப்ரே பண்றாங்க.
Gonna lose one as well. That is Power.
Falcon கர்மா போல.
Onto Alpha 7. They have managed to get more than 1 point, so maybe
they
can
can
turn things
knock
around
us
here. Mafioso still is resible, and with 2 players from Intense game
Why
down,
they're not
there is that
easy
northern side assuaged, but they still need to get close.
Yes, I'm also gali bro.
7, can they recover? They've lost their down player, which honestly is pretty good. I think they
Well,
would
the
have
killer
committed to most
secure
likely
பண்ணா.
trying to get Mafioso up, which would have overexposed themselves to more shots, and we could have witnessed a collapse. I'd rather them go at this as a 3-man unit.
Guys, like பண்ணிட்டு பாருங்க, subscribe பண்ணிட்டு பாருங்க.
Out in the open, forced to try and challenge Power. That nade will split the difference between the two, give a little bit of damage to Easy, but not much. Power can still desperately hurt Alpha 7 in this moment.
Found by that nade, Korea finally
Power gali bro.
steps forward for some information, but there's an answer. Easy again with that spray down, but more nades invested, and Alpha 7 do win the fight.
Bro, comeback ஆயிடுச்சவனே. 4 கில் அடிச்சானுங்க.
They'll have to go further.
Zone அந்த முன்னாடி காம்பவுண்ட் தான் இப்படி எடுப்பானுங்க. Zone தான் இருக்கு. AX against zone I think. AX எங்க தான் இருக்காங்க? அங்க இருக்காங்க bro AX மலையில. Zone இல்ல நினைக்கிறேன்.
And by the way, just to put a cap on it, Nongshim Red Force is truly the reason why Alpha 7 is still able to play this game. If it wasn't for them applying pressure onto IG, who was coming up onto the backside of Alpha 7, Alpha 7
185 பேர் பாக்குறீங்க. லைக் 170 தான் இருக்கு. லைக் பண்ணிட்டு பாருங்க.
I'm looking at the Falcons in that eastern chopstick. I'm looking at Regnum Kaya in that western chopstick. Both of them would love for Yangon Galacticos to get a little bit of pressure set their way. You can see Alpha 7. They're worried about this compound that's covering off the windows of the building, and they're going to try and move on up. They will find it unoccupied right now. They're waiting for those spray downs to come, but they're not going to happen. Not from that direction anyway.
I think they'll find out now, yeah. It's going to be unoccupied.
Let's go.
I don't mind.
Like பண்ணுங்க சாமா லைக் பண்ணுங்க எல்லாரும் லைக் பண்ணிட்டு பாருங்க லைக் பண்ணிட்டு பாருங்க.
Keeping your head on a swivel. You don't want to get caught by surprise. Let's face it, Alpha 7 has
bro,
been
AX TMG மே கஷ்டம் நினைக்கிறேன் bro அந்த மேட்ச்.
So you can tell
bro எட்ஜ்ல இருக்கானே
all
கஷ்டம்
those
தான்.
previous experiences weighing heavily in the back of their mind. AXTMG starts to move in. Ralph from Falcons wants to get these shots connected if he possibly can. You don't want AXTMG to be where they currently are. Falcons are looking to punish them.
iQOO will be resible there. Navalo holding it down as well towards Yangon Galacticos. AXTMG not taking more casualties is a bit of a miracle, really, on this crossing.
Live
Straight out to the north
பண்ணாம
side.
பார்த்தா
They will be able to get these reses done as they were able to find that shot over towards iQOO,
Bro.
which is really good news.
Yeah, bro,
Intense
but
game
I-
do fall as well, and now Alpha 7 are up to 5 elims. Remember, this is all the arena's fault. They're Alpha 7 are alive.
First
Arena
match
as
bro.
well
என்ன
as, like
bro
I
first
said,
match?
Dr. Red Force
இது வந்து third
helping
match
out
bro.
just a little bit. So you got two teams who unintentionally ended up helping Alpha 7 in their
Yes, sir,
desperation
bro.
attempt to make
Nah,
it
yes,
to
sir,
the
wait on
grand
really.
finals. YG up ahead. Falcons starting to move up. Regnum Karya still
33 points
within the
எடுத்துட்டானுங்க.
chopsticks, as you mentioned, trying to continue this battle. They've been having to try and fight one fight up top, fight the fight down below. YG though also has to worry about Nox from Red Force, who's going to be just behind them. And
Live
St.
like
Cloud
பண்ணாம
has
பார்த்தா
managed to make
குழந்தை
his way
வைக்க
up. But
வேண்டியது.
Falcons, is it realistic that they can even leave
R-
this spot? Because as soon as they
RCB
apex the
தானே
top of this
RCB
ravine, they're getting mowed down.
It's difficult, right? You need to be sure
RCB
you have a path.
NS தான் winner ஓ. NS ஓ இல்லனா அந்த YG.
Would
இந்த
be
ரெண்டு டீம் தான்
beautiful.
winner நினைக்கிறேன்.
AXTMG
இதுக்கு
going
சொன்னா
down is actually a
AXTMG
massive
அவ்வளவுதான் காலி.
bonus for them as well, because it means that now they only have to worry about their western flank. They will no longer be overexposed when
இவனே
they
dinner
lose
bro.
peaks. They
NS
have a
dinner
little bit
இந்த
more
match.
leeway. The circle goes away from the chopsticks, so this fight now will have to take place. But the same is true on the
Yeah,
other
confirm
side of
NS
the
dinner.
chopsticks. With Regnum Karya needing to push in from that northern side, they have to make a move, and Yangon Galacticos don't want to be anywhere near this.
On Galacticus shooting at
Yes bro RCB
Regnum
தான்
Karya
RCB
are
but plays
also
different
moving in,
நினைக்கிறேன்.
potentially to
Oh,
crash into Yangon
okay.
Galacticus. Falcons is going to take advantage of this, and I think it's about to culminate
இப்போ
into
மூணு
a
team fight ஆக
massive
போதா?
square-off between three rosters. Yangon Galacticus
Falcon,
broken early down.
YG.
Nox from Red Force has started to attack, and Falcons
Yes
are
on
also getting
yes
active
on
in the
zone
attack.
இருக்கு.
Regnum Karya also chiming in there from the opposite angle, and they catch Yangon Galacticos going for a really strange retreat there, I have to say.
NS
They
தான்
get
winner,
really
NS
undercover
தான்
to go
நினைக்கிறேன்.
for it, not yet.
என்ன
And
bro
they
எல்லா
do manage to
STG
stay
எல்லாத்தையும்
alive
சொல்லி
as
விட்டீங்க.
three, sure. So maybe
எந்த
they're just
team
playing for
அடிச்சாலும்
placements,
நான்
but
சொன்னேன்ல
their current
அப்படின்றீங்க.
standing on the table, they are in 8th place. They don't want to let these games
Yes, I'm silent
They head
போறானா?
down central
அப்ப
position.
ஆனா
A nice
bro
spread out
கஷ்டம்
from
bro
Silas
yes
connects through the
on.
smoke. That should be resible. They have got the cover to do so, but that means Regnum Karya
Back
can
push
move into the
very
main
clear
base and
பண்ணிட்டு
the base of the chopsticks.
Yo, I love the aggression from Silas. Nade cooked.
Falcon தான் dinner
They
bro இந்த
get
வாட்டி
away
நியூஸ்
just in
பக்காவா?
the nick of time.
Okay, no, okay.
Silas has
பார்க்கலாம்
to
bro.
make a decision. Push up, back up with my team. What's my play? It looks like he's fully committed. He
Oh,
plays the tunnel, and that's going to be one down. He clears the angle to the left. Ralph continues to pre-fire,
Okay,
and he's going to punish Silas, who made a great attempt. But Regnum Karya is not done. They continue to push up. Team Falcons need to be ready.
Two players down now to a nade on the off angle from
Hey,
Yangon
YG
Galacticos.
push
And more
பண்றானுங்களா
pouring in over the
நமக்கு?
top. A huge punishment over towards Regnum Karya,
Bro,
and they
clear
are
stun, bro.
obliterated in the
Almost.
basin there. Wild crawling back to the rest of his team, and by that I mean just Loxy, who remains standing for Regnum Karya, trying to keep things going. Novalo can be rezzed here, and the Falcons could be playing on with 4. Yangon Galacticos, they pull back, but they draw them in to a death spiral.
Falcon 4 பேர் 3
Question
பேர்
of what
இருக்காங்க.
Loxy can do. I like the aggression. I think Regnum
அது
Karya Falcons, they were opposite of each other a little bit too long. They said enough is enough. With that down, let's capitalize on it. But it was just a little bit
Zone
too
வந்து
slow.
edge இருக்கும்
Falcons were
இவனுக்கு.
able to recover.
NS
But
க்கு
Loxy, the solo from Regnum Karya, can still hurt
ஆகா, நல்ல
Falcons
zone இருக்கு.
tremendously. Let's not forget,
இதாடா
Falcons,
வச்சிக்கங்கடான்னு
they
போட்டாங்க
are that
NS
bubble
க்கு
team.
zone.
They are right there in 8th place. Their spot in the finals is not guaranteed. There are so many teams nipping on their heels, trying to pass them.
அந்த bro அந்த
trying
5
to
6
knock
7
the
8
home team
முக்கியமான
out, and
4
it's still
ஸ்பாட்
very
bro.
doable.
4
So
டீமே
Falcons,
அலைவா இருக்கு.
this win, a higher placing is critical.
One nade over the top, no knocks. Another, the last in the back pocket for Smile. He's
REG
invested
தானே
here. Ralph is
சொன்னீங்க
healing,
knock
but will he be quick
ஆனானு
enough?
பொட்டி.
Not
என்ன
quite
இந்த
there. He does
STG?
find the knock. Yangon Galacticos unlikely to push out to flush it out though here. They will allow this res to come through. Actually, more nades being passed on over. Smile wants to put this one to bed, but Redox is going for the res. The question is, where does he put it? Could maybe take out Loxy with it instead.
Being on Galacticos, they don't want to push out there. You've got the unknown Loxy, who you don't know where he's currently at. You know he's in this vicinity. You've also got Falcons ready for you, but for Loxy, trying to do what Silas could not do.
Yes,
Push
sir.
up and take down the roster with the surprise attack. The nade is cooking. Falcons are pushing. They know where Loxy's at. Shotgun out, but no effect. Regnum Karia are out, and it will be Falcons continuing to push
3
on.
points.
They push out at the end of the chopstick here. The Galacticos, I think they may be out of nades now.
61
not really
points
too many
on
more
that.
to play with. The nade bobbles in, but Smile's not up at the windowsill. Falcons have to push up, and they have to push now. Alpha 7 getting caught out by the blue zone. Koa first up into the meat
smoke on
grinder.
the
The
Galacticos
Galacticos hold their nerve. They draw back and back
Yes,
and back.
Gali.
And every single step they take backwards, they find a player running towards them. They're able to farm up those points and push in towards those top 8. But in the meantime, it's Noxian Red Force who have been chilling for the longest time out on the south side.
Top 2, Noxian Red Force, a big win would put them comfortably within the top, or potentially edging closer to top 3. But anyways, with the point standings, most likely going to the finals, this is imperative. An imperative victory. They take Yangon Galacticos, also a team that is very close to the bubble, just 1 point ahead of Team Falcons. A win here would also separate them from the other teams nipping at their heels. They've got the blue zone. They've got to push up, and Noxian Red Force are ready to mow them down.
Guys, like பண்ணிட்டு பாருங்க எல்லாரும் லைக் பண்ணிட்டு பாருங்க லைக் பண்ணிட்டு பாருங்க லைக் பண்ணிட்டு பாருங்க கமெண்ட் guys உங்கள் அன்பான நம்ம ஐடியா லைன் லைக் அண்ட் சப்ஸ்கிரைப்
This pace needs to be coming out from Yangon Galacticos, and St. Cloud's going to breach out into the open. This is bold and very, very dangerous coming through. Needs to stay safe. Folds back into the smoke here. And looks to unleash a little bit more, step him a little bit closer to this Smile, playing on the south side of the building. And these shots they still have nades and mollies and everything to play with.
Yangon Galacticos very exposed out in the open at the moment. They continue to push up through the smokes. The nades are going to hurt. St. Cloud's going to be down. That's going to put Yangon Galacticos with just 2 members. Smile also gone. Is this a victory for Noxian Red Force to add up to the total where they currently stand? Yes, it will be. Noxian Red Force will take the victory. They dominate in fashion, and that is so critical because it puts them well in the top 5 and well on their way to grand finals.
There are over 70 points now for 4 of our teams. Fireflux, E-Arena, Power Esports, Aura Esports as well. They are on 70.
17 points NS குவாலிஃபை நினைக்கிறேன் சார் கஷ்டமா இருக்கு ப்ரோ ஏஎக்ஸ் இப்படி ஆடுறது லீக் ஸ்டேஜ்ல ஆடுன மாதிரி ஆடலாம் ஆமா ப்ரோ நான் சொன்னேன்ல இஜிஎல் என்எஸ்னு தெரியும் ப்ரோ தெரியும் ஸ்டீரி ப்ரோ தெரியும் ஏஸ் கான்ஃபிடென்ஸே இல்லாம ஆடுறாங்க ஆமா ப்ரோ ஏஸ் அவன் டிஸ்குவாலிஃபை ஆயிரும் போல பாப்போம் ஜாக்சன் நல்ல நேடு கரெக்டா இல்ல அடிச்சு போட்டான் ஏஸ் ஒரு வண்டி எடுக்கும் போதே 1 HP தான் இருந்திருக்கான் லைக் பண்ணிக்குவா நம்ம இதுக்கு போமா ஸ்டார்ட் ஆனவங்க இது பண்ணிட்டோம் நம்ம வீடியோ பார்ப்போம் போயிட்டு எது வீடியோ ப்ரோ பார்க்கலாம் கேப்லேட்டா இதுல ஏன் 2 இயர்ஃபோன்ஸ் யூஸ் பண்றாங்க இதுல அது வந்து ஒன்னு இயர்ஃபோன்ஸா இருக்கும் நான் வந்து ஓவர் ஹெட்டா இருக்கும் ப்ரோ பிஜிஎம் எஸ்டிடி பிளேயிங் ஆமா ப்ரோ நல்லா இருக்கும் நாக்கு
Danger ahead.
எப்போ முடிய தேவை
வெயிட்
பண்ணுங்க ரன் அவுட் பண்ற வெயிட் பண்ணுங்க
நாக்கு ஒருத்தன் 2 நாக்கு ப்ரோ அங்க ஒருத்தன் பாத்து
பின்னாடி நேடு போறான் ப்ரோ பின்னாடி இருந்து அதான் ப்ரோ ரைட்ல கிளியர் பண்ணு
ஏய் நாக்கு பாத்து வா
Watch out.
ஏய் நாக்கு வந்து
என்ன போறோமா
நீ எதுவும் பிசி கேம்லாம் இல்ல ப்ரோ நான்லாம் ஆட மாட்டேன் ப்ரோ எப்படி தப்பிச்சான் பாத்தீங்களா 2 ஹெட் வாங்கிட்டு
Watch out.
மேல நாக்கு அவுட் ஆஃப் ஜோன்ல ஏறறான் ப்ரோ அடிங்க ப்ரோ இன்னொரு மிராடா
வந்து ஃபீல் போறேன்
நாக்கு ப்ரோ
Watch out.
ஒருத்தன் தான் அவள்தான் ப்ரோ
டேரக்டா உள்ள போறான் நாக்கு ப்ரோ
ஏய் யூடியூப் பிரீமியமா ஓகே
3 பேரா அப்ப அவ்வளவுதான் ப்ரோ கல்லட நாக்கு ப்ரோ ஒருத்தன்
Watch
நாக்கு
out.
நைஸ் என் சைடு வண்டி வருது ப்ரோ இந்த டிப்ல
ஒன்லி பிஜிஎம்ஏ தான ஆமா ப்ரோ ஐயோ நீ
Guys.
ப்ரோ அவனை அடிச்சிருங்க இது பக்கி வருது
உங்ககிட்ட
டைரக்டா வரான் ப்ரோ
Watch out.
ஒன்லி 4 ஆக்சுவலா சீக்கிரம் சிங்கப்பூர்ல டைம் என்ன அது சப்பாத்தி சாப்பிடுறீங்களா சாப்பிடுங்க ப்ரோ
லெஃப்ட்ல வராங்க
ஒரு நாக்கு தான் வந்தா
Awesome.
Danger ahead.
இங்க ஒருத்தர் இருக்கான் நான் சொல்லிட்டேன் இங்க ஒருத்தர் இருக்கான் இங்க பாரு இங்க ஒருத்தர் இருக்கான்
இருங்க நான் நேட் போடுறேன்
டாட் எஸ்பி அவன்
செத்துட்டான் போலே ப்ரோ
இல்ல இருக்கான்
காலி முடிஞ்சு
இந்த இடத்துல இருக்கான்
பிஜிஎம்எஸ்ல நம்ம இந்த வாட்டி அடிக்கிறோம் ஓகே
நாக்கு அவன் நாக்கு ப்ரோ லாங் ஏறிடிங்க
Danger ahead. Danger ahead.
Watch out.
Danger ahead.
Help.
ரைட்ல மேசிவ் ஏறுமா
Danger ahead.
Watch out.
Still on fire.
Watch out.
நான் டீம் எடுத்து நாக்கு இதுவா டீம் எடுத்து நாக்கு
ஆமா டீம்
ஸ்கேல் நினைக்கிறேன் மாடி போறான்
பின்னாடி
ஜீவன் ஒருத்தன் ரைட் ஃபுல் ரைட் போயிருக்கான் நைஸ்
வர இருங்க
நாக்கு ஒருத்தன் நாக்கு என்கிட்ட.
நான் ஒருத்தனோட
மேண்டிகோ லெஃப்ட்ல மேட ஸ்டாப் பண்ண நினைக்கிறேன் பாத்து
Watch out.
ஸ்மோக் இருக்கு
என்ன அது அடிச்சு வச்சு
நீ ஏறான் ப்ரோ.
ரீல்
நாக்கு.
இருங்க ஐயோ வரேன்
ரயில் ட்ரெயின் வடக்கன்ஸ் டுட்டுவால் நம்ம அப்பதான் என்ன பண்ணாலும் இது பண்ணுவானுங்க ப்ரோ. மாஸ் இருக்கவே மாட்டான். ஐ வி வாண்ட் திஸ் கேம் ப்ளே ஃப்ரம் யூ அகைன்.
Watch out.
வந்துரும் ப்ரோ. இப்பயும் நல்லா தான் ஆடுறீங்க இல்லைன்னு சொல்ல, பட் முன்னாடி அந்த ப்ரையாரிட்டி இருக்கு. ஓகே
டீமேட்லாம் வரானுங்க. ஒரு நாக்கு வச்சிருக்கேன்.
கரெக்டாக மார்க் அடிச்சோம் அடிச்சான் பாருங்க. கவர் ஃபயர் அடிச்சான்.
வெயிட் பண்ணுங்க ப்ரோ.
மாறி போட்டா ஹோல் பண்ணா
நாக்கு ஷாக்ல நாக்கு
ஆன்சர் ஒன்றா கேட்குது. ஒரு பண்ணுறாங்க.
ப்ரோ நாக்கு பின்னால இருந்துச்சான். ஓபன் இருங்க வெயிட் பண்ணுங்க.
ஏன் முன்னாடி போட்டு
Watch out.
நாக் ஆயிடும் அப்போ.
E4 இருக்கு நாக்கு
இன்னொரு
தான்
இருக்கான். நீ ஓபன்ல வராம ப்ரோ லூட் அடிக்க.
சொல்றீங்க ஏதோ சொல்றீங்க.
நாக்கு
வெயிட் பண்ணுங்க.
காலி. புடிங்க.
நாம தான் செத்து போயிடுவோம் ப்ரோ. உள்ள போக முடியாம.
இங்கிட்டு வாங்க.
ஆர்டர் பண்றான். அடிக்க தான் பார்க்கணும் நீங்க.
காலி.
ஏய் ஷார்ட் கன் இருக்கு. இருக்கு என்ன பண்ண. இப்போதான் எனக்கே நிறைய இருக்கும். சென்சி கரெக்டாக வைக்கணும் ப்ரோ. சென்சி ப்ராக்டிஸ் பண்ணணும் நிறையா. எனக்கு அந்த 120 வச்சோன்னு தான் எனக்கு அதிகமாக இதாகுது.
Awesome.
எஃப்கே ப்ரோ ஹாய் ப்ரோ.
Watch out.
அப்போல்லாம் நீ யார அவனா இது அவன் இந்த இது மட்டும் கொஞ்சம் தள்ளி கேட்கலாம். நம்ம டைலாக்லாம் சொல்றீங்க. ஐடியில் என்னோட மொபைல்ல மை கேம் பிளே வீடியோ நிறைய கிளிப்ஸ்லாம் சும்மா தான் இருக்கு. அனுப்பிச்சு விடுங்க ப்ரோ பார்க்கலாம். எஸ்டிவி ப்ரோ
நான் உள்ள போய் பாக்குறேன்.
அனுப்புனீங்கன்னா எல்லாத்துக்கும் காட்டலாம்.
Watch out.
நைஸ்.
பின்னாடி போயிருமா
போயிடலாம்
போறான் ஜோன் சைடு
நீ ஜோன் போங்க.
ரிலையன்ஸ் டிஜிட்டல்ல எதுக்கு லேப்டாப் வாங்கணும் சார்? ஏன்னா
ஜோன் வாங்க.
நான் என் வீடியோ பார்த்தாலும் ஆடு பார்த்தாலும் இதாகுமா?
உங்களுக்கு தான் போறான் அப்படியே போட்டான்
ஸ்டெப்ஸ்ல தான் ப்ரோ இருக்கான்.
கோச்சிங் பண்றேன் ப்ரோ வாங்க ப்ரோ
ரைட் நாக்கு ப்ரோ நாக்கு ப்ரோ கீழே
Watch out! Watch out!
நைஸ் இங்க ஒருத்தன் பக்கத்துல
Watch out! Watch out!
நீங்க மேக்ஸி ப்ரோ இங்க பாருங்க
இல்ல எஸ்டிஜி ப்ரோ சேனல்ல பாருங்க வீடியோஸ்லாம்
முன்னாடி ராஷியா
இருக்குது. அப்படியா? ரைட்டு. நோ ஐடியா. உங்க கேம் பிளேக்கு முன்னாடி இதெல்லாம் பார்க்க நல்லா இருக்கு. நான் ப்ரோ நீ எஸ்டிஜி ப்ரோ.
அவன் தான் ஜோனா கில்ல வரல நம்ம எண்ட அந்த சைடு இருக்கானா
பின்னாடி சூப்பர் இது 100 மீட்டர் எஸ்1 கேடி போறேன் எம்டி
ப்ரோ ரெண்டு நாக்கு
ஆதி கத்துறா வரேன்.
தண்ணியில போயிட்டான்.
Awesome.
அப்படியே வாங்கி ஒருத்தர் இருக்கான் ப்ரோ.
Watch out!
ஹாய் ப்ரோ. அவ்வளோ வயசான ஆளா ப்ரோ? நீ யாரை ப்ரோ கேட்குறீங்க?
Help! Watch out!
ஓய்
சரி மேட்ச் ஸ்டார்ட் ஆயிடுச்சு கைஸ். கரெக்டாக 12 நிமிஷம் நம்ம வீடியோ பார்த்துருக்கோம். 12 நிமிஷத்துல மேட்ச் ஸ்டார்ட் ஆயிருக்குமா?
பாருங்க இங்க இருந்து
3 players and Ralph,
ஸ்டார்ட் ஆக
Redox
போதா?
and
ஓகே.
Koa.
ஃபோர்த் மேட்சா? ரைட்டு. ஏசி ஆஃப் ஆக மாட்டேங்குது. எயிட்டி எயிட் 78 அந்த டாப் 2 டீம் குவாலிஃபைடு ப்ரோ. எப்படியும் அந்த டாப் 5 டீம் கண்டிப்பா குவாலிஃபை ஆயிரும். ஓவரால் கண்டிப்பா குவாலிஃபை ஆயிரும். 6 7 8க்கு தான் இப்போ போட்டியே. சிக்ஸ் 7 8 ஃபால்கனே என்ன ப்ரோ 8லேயே தான் இருக்கானே ஃபால்கனு. அதில் நீங்க விளையாண்ட மொபைல்ல உங்களோட பெஸ்ட் எந்த மொபைல் இருக்கும் அது நீங்க ஃபீல் பண்ண அதை நான் அப்புறம் சொல்றேன் ப்ரோ. மேட்ச் ஸ்டார்டட். A7க்கு வாய்ப்பு இருக்கு. A7லாம் அவ்வளோதான் ப்ரோ. ப்ரோ ஐஜிஎல் என்னாச்சு? A7லாம் காலிக்கு அவ்வளோதான். டாடா பை பை தான் A7. 12 மேட்சஸுக்கு 37 பாயிண்ட்ஸ் இருக்கா? சாரி 9 மேட்சஸ் இருக்கு. இன்னும் 3 மேட்ச் தான் இருக்கு. 3 மேட்சுக்கு 40 பாயிண்ட்ஸ் எடுக்கணும். எடுப்பாங்களா? ஐஜிஎல் இந்த மேட்ச்லாம் சொல்லவா? நீங்க எல்லா டீமே சொல்லிடுவீங்க இந்த வரிசையா? A7 ஜண்டா போடுறாரு. ஜண்டாலாம் கிடையாது. எது முன்னாடியே அவங்க குவாலிஃபை ஆக மாட்டாங்க. கஷ்டம் ப்ரோ. 3 மேட்சுக்கு 40 பாயிண்ட். மேபி இந்த மேட்ச்ல தெரிஞ்சிடும். இந்த மேட்ச் மட்டும் அவனுங்க விட்டானுங்கன்னா அவனதான் முடிஞ்சு வரல. எந்த டாப் 5 டீம் வந்து குவாலிஃபைடு ப்ரோ. ஆல்மோஸ்ட் குவாலிஃபை ஆயிடுவானுங்க. ஓகேவா? 6 7 8 தான். 6 7 8க்கு அந்த பொசிஷனுக்கு தான் இப்போ எல்லாருமே அடிச்சுப்பானுங்க. ஏசோன் இப்படி ஆடுவான்னு நினைச்சு
We'll take a
பார்க்கலையா?
look at the middle side of the bracket because I think that is probably most important for us to take a look at. It will be fantastic when we get through to the end of the
கஷ்டம் தான்
day. We
விடுங்க.
can crown
அவ்வளவுதான்
the
ஏசோன்.
winners of the survival stage who will have the privilege of whacking those keys and the old grinder. But if we look towards that middling section, which is the main contention point, right, for who's going through into the grand finals and who will be leaving us. It is that drop off 59 down to 47, but it's not massively different between 8th and 6th place. 61 down to 59. It's not crazy.
Defending championship bye bye
It will be very hard.
நான் தல STV bro few months நான் சிங்கப்பூர் வந்தாலும் வருவேன் என் அக்கா மேரேஜ்
Quite a lot so far, and they would have to have a horrendous day to finish things off, as well as an incredible pursuit from the teams behind.
Yeah. It's been classic power as well, where it feels like the minute they're in the survival stage, that true sort of might of the team is put on display. They thrive in these kind of lobbies. We've seen that. It's been far more aggressive. You can see them on screen now. Again, the talent on this team, it feels like Easy's been really instrumental to a lot of the setups, and Al Haji as well. You can't think of power without this man.
Yeah, you can't, honestly. I think for me personally, Easy been a bit more of a factor throughout this tournament so far, at least in the survival stage. I think Al Haji's great.
10 kill winner யாரு bro யார் 10 kill winner இந்த மேட்ச் EWC CSK போல இந்த வருஷம் இப்படி ஆயிட்டு
make a lot of those calls. He's the one who seems the most animated when it comes to watching them over.
இடிக்கிற மாதிரி இஷ்டம் bro military zone இல்ல லூட் அடிக்க போறாங்களா
in their booths.
He's just looked very crisp with the gun.
Bro, military zone pola bro.
Goes the extra mile, mate, in these kind of lobbies.
Already
some action coming our way. Close quarters engagement.
REG
starting it off on the peak up. Bullet from the back line though. So Vision giving as good as they get and trying to at least turn them back around. Forced to bail out on that one with the initial crash, not kicking off the way they wanted it to. If they got that opening knock, maybe it would have been a different story. Instead, you deviate from the back, play off the cover.
Good decision from Regnum Kaya. I think when you get towards the end of the day here and you realize you're on the cusp, right? You're almost falling off that edge there.
Hi bro.
I think that's the smart decision. Hi, you don't want to go down too early in this one. I think they could have maybe pushed the issue if they were feeling a bit more comfortable towards the top side of the lobby. But here, I would say that's the right move. You're getting shot from an angle you have no clue where that angle is either. So just make the quick getaway, especially getting tapped for 70 damage as well. So well played the ball.
One region, one slot illaya.
Definitely triumphant shot.
This is where those more influential decisions of knowing when to call it quits on a fight as well is really going to come in the early game. You'll see the difference in decision making for all these teams. Nongshin Red Force again there, they catch whiff of power immediately. You do not want to run the risk of not being able to really keep accruing points inside of this match over the last few games of the day. So just bail out on it early. About the bigger picture, no reason to stare at both those teams in similar positions, 75 and 71 points between them both.
There's still opportunity for a crazy
China 2 slot, Turkey 2 slot.
20-point game or more, suddenly be in the running for sending upwards, and could be that case where Nongshin Red Force, as we saw in the final day of groups, slips away, and it was post game 3 where that started to occur. So right now, placements.
Guys, like பண்ணு பாருங்க.
The idea of pulling things back.
A7
though. In that desperate moment of
இந்தியாக்கு 2 ஸ்லாட் தான் ஒரு ஸ்லாட் கொடுக்கறதே பெரிய விஷயமா இருக்கு இந்தியாக்கு. இல்ல 2 ஸ்லாட் தர போறாங்க.
7th place but with only the one elimination doesn't really cut it as much as it used to.
Yeah, won't realistically cut the mustard this late into the survival stage.
R8
very
close to Alpha 7. Already ahead of them in the rankings. Want to stay that way, at least go home with a little bit of pride, a little hunt down over towards Alpha 7, but I'm pretty sure they're quite clear on their position. A little nod over. Push it back, but Ida
fan base irukku so
this way. allowing
எப்படி
Alpha
ப்ரோ
7 to get
ப்ரோ
away
இங்க
with
ஒரு
that.
ஸ்லாட்டுக்கே
A little
பிரச்சனையா
bit of
இருக்கு
sniff
ப்ரோ.
coming through from
ரெண்டெல்லாம்
RA.
வாய்ப்பு இல்லை ப்ரோ, தரமாட்டாங்க. வந்தாங்கன்னா நல்லா தான் இருக்கும் அடுத்ததுலேருந்து.
There's a quick pit stop with some bullets back over from Revo, at least to establish some fire their way. Of course, they can move off on this one. Again, these opening moments is going to be a little bit more timid. I want to run those risks of going down early, so no overcommit. Get the Falcons POV as well.
Yes, in the match,
team that currently is in 8th place. But of course, like we've alluded to, it's not that different. The points above and below could be lapped. They've got to play consistent from this point forward still.
இது இல்லாம இன்னும் 2 மேட்ச் இருக்கு ப்ரோ. ஆஃப்லைன்ல ஏஜில கலாய்க்கிறீங்க, லைவ்ல எப்படி சொல்றீங்க?
In my opinion, towards the end of the day,
சொல்லுங்க என்ன ப்ரோ என்னாச்சு?
I was a bit disappointed earlier today looking at the Sandhawk. Up until the moment when they made a pretty bold rotate through. Wish those rotates would come a little bit sooner, or at least give themselves a springboard closer to those areas earlier in the game. But they are being much more confident to make those plays. I'm hoping that now you're getting closer and closer and you see that finish line on the horizon. That doesn't worry them too much. Right now they are passing by Noxian Red Force, at least the backline of them. Kino Trope not too far behind either. Got an intense game over towards the south side as you saw, and we head over towards the eastern area
permission bro, permission தான் வேணாம், நீங்க சொல்லுங்க என்ன விஷயம் சொல்லுங்க. Silent audience. Bona bro, இங்க ஐஜிஎல் மட்டும் தான் permission. Last one prediction you zone பார்க்கவே இல்லை bro.
I think again today it's been a better sort of decision making.
Please like கேக்குறீங்க bro, அப்ப நீங்க சொல்லுங்க bro.
Punches so much.
Bro, என்ன விஷயம் சொல்லுங்க.
A ton of talent. Like we were seeing it in some of the fights they were getting stuck into yesterday, right?
TLF,
They were
Bonda,
able to
BTC,
actually go
சொல்லுங்க
some of
bro.
the better teams in the lobby. And they're in a good spot, man. If they keep this up again, you know, we were seeing there is certainly a lot of potential. They could make it out, keep this run alive. Distance firefight on this one's with the Falcons catching vision back over towards Keenan Trope. That was the late flank.
Total in a qualify எத்தனை மேட்ச் இருக்கு bro? Bro, இந்த மேட்ச் இல்லாம இன்னும் 2 மேட்ச் இருக்கு.
My only issue with Yangon Galacticos is just the variance.
Bro, நானே சொல்றேன்
we've seen them either get like a massive game or go out fairly quickly with not much more than the whimper. And I think that's my issue with Yangon Galacticos, is not quite consistent enough for me. Where it's even now hard to. But you're right in the sense that there is potential there, right? The ceiling on that team's quite high.
Mohan bro, hi bro.
Unfortunately, a lot of times.
யாரு first GPay பண்றீங்களோ அவங்களுக்கு அந்த உண்மை சொல்றேன். அப்போ உங்க ஃப்ரெண்டே கவுசியக்காவே ஜிபே பண்ணி சொல்லாதன்னு சொல்லிடுவாங்க.
Clearing out towards the bunker side, Sky's POV or esports. Again, a team that you could probably paint with a bit of a similar brush there. Feels like there is a ton of talent. Obviously, they've been really warming up again as well. Tied right now, 71 points between them and Nongshin Red Force.
That's been good.
Oh,
yeah. Bro, 2 minutes la man loss ஆகும். என்ன bro இப்படி சொல்றீங்க?
I think we had like a lot of. In fact, I think most of the teams that went through to the finals absolutely deserved it. I do think, obviously, the big question marks for a lot of people were Falcons and Alpha 7, but I personally don't think they played well enough in those group stages to even have a chance to get towards the grand finals, personally. I think both teams absolutely do belong here in the survival stage to reprove their worth. If anything, I think Falcons are almost appreciative to figure out what their playstyle is going to be going forward. We even heard Revo talking about something has to change. We've got to figure it out. I think for Falcons there are clear areas that could do with improvement.
R8 on the GMX side.
It's what's going wrong on that team.
Yeah, he keeps you guessing an awful lot more in reality. But hey, like we said, you know, we'll sort of keep up to date with how it's going for them over the course of these last 3 games. They're in very dire straits. On the bridge down towards Yangon Galacticus, we did see a backline there from E-Arena. E-Arena that have been looking absolutely stalwart. Taking chicken dinners, heads up calls. It's looked fantastic to watch. Magnum Caria once again making their appearance on the broadcast here. Down towards R8, of course. Set up in the tree line, quick vision over. Top 6 looking for the shots. Meanwhile, backstab there onto the Falcons. It's a bit of a hybrid fight. 3 teams going up against each other. Power Falcons and intense game.
Yeah, Falcons just losing one right off the bat. I mean, they're able to find one Elim back their way. The Fireflux playing, I would call kind of 2022 European gameplay here, which is just very central every single game. I'm not being punished too much for it. We've moved over to more of a edge
STG game
style
focus
in the
bro.
past. That's
STG
ever changing, is that meta of how teams
STG
want
Stalwart
to
Esports
expand out towards the outer edges or keep it cut over towards the
will ASM
center.
qualify and how
And it's
many
really just
matches
picking your
left?
moments of when you want to go for that one. For right now,
The match
Falcons
illama
has
innu
had
2 match
some
irukku
fairly
bro.
good rotations to get
ASM
here, fairly
வந்து
clean.
qualify
Some good
ஆகும் கேட்டா
homework
question
been coming
mark
through
தான்.
on their end too, in terms of
இந்த match
picking
வந்து
those
qualify
rotations
ஆகலாம்
and when they can
மாட்டாங்க.
go for them. For the Falcons, on the other hand, it is just a case of going for those
நம்ம
rotations
focus
and making the
இதுதான்.
clear decision from everyone on that team to follow on it.
STG bro வர்ற மாதிரி தெரியல.
Falcons down to 3 now. This would be a good game to get further up those steps inside of the leaderboard. See themselves a bit more safe going forward. Gamax currently over towards the eastern side of this circle, but still fairly central. But down towards Milt is where I'm most worried for a lot of teams. Crunching through that area of the map, not always easy. E-Arena currently right on the back lines of it though. Likely one of the first teams to find trouble.
Guys, like பண்ண பாருங்க.
Especially because Yangon Galacticos know their location and Alpha 7's expecting a team to make that wrap through the fields on the eastern side.
Yeah, they had the double hovercraft when they were able to bonnet away the solo player from Yangon Galacticos. Since then, one of them was blown up. Still got some vehicles to work with though, and have been advancing further forward. Squash is the one just peeking out the top floor window, trying to get a read in the lay of the land as they make their move.
AXTMG target 20 points எடுத்து try.
Quick peek up towards the bridge side. Doxy.
யார் மத்த டீம்
See if
சொல்றீங்களா?
you can spot them out.
பட் இவங்க ட்ரை பண்ணலாம் ப்ரோ. அப்படி கிடையாது ப்ரோ. அவன் கன் பவர் வீக்னு சொல்ல முடியாது. அது அவங்க அமையில ஜோன் அவங்க இது பண்றது. அவங்க இன் கேஸ் 4v4 ஃபைட் வந்து டிராப் ஃபைட் எடுத்தோனே வந்து அவங்க வின் பண்ணிட்டாங்கன்னா என்ன பண்றாங்க? GMX தான் ஜோன். அதான் அந்த சைடு தான் ஜோன்.
Even in those group stages it was close. They got knocked out in the final game when they were playing at an, I think it was 7.
நம்ம அதை எப்படி ஹேண்டில் பண்றோம்ன்றது தான் ப்ரோ மேட்டர்.
Was it DRX or which team was it that managed to get ahead of them? Either way,
top 8 சொல்லுங்க. இப்ப இருக்க top 8 குவாலிஃபைட் ப்ரோ
almost.
ஆல்மோஸ்ட்.
Able to overlap them as well in that
6-7ல வந்து OEG
this is a team that
REG அந்த ரெண்டு டீம் குவாலிஃபை ஆயிரும்னு வெச்சுக்கோங்க. எனக்கு தெரிஞ்ச டாப் 7 டீமே குவாலிஃபை ஆயிரும்னு நினைக்கிறேன்.
Yeah, we get the push in here from Kinotrope.
இன்னும் ரெண்டு நோக்கு.
Good from Ketch for the opening damage. Scarface is up close to clean up as well, so the Bizons put to good use. Accrue those points and just leave the one man who's running through the tree line to try and close the gap between them. Horrific position to be left into. Yeah, so kind of just trapped there.
Yeah. It's nice as well. I think that Ketch is seeing how Scarface is playing and pretty much having that notion of I can't sit on the back lines anymore. I used to be
நல்லா தான் இருக்கு. ஆனா தனியா இருக்கிறப்ப மேல சாரி அதான் எஃப்எம் குரூப் ஸ்டேஜ்ல ஒண்ணும் பண்ணல. இப்ப மாஸ் ஆடுறானுங்க. His scout is not performing, but still he is playing. He won't
Ketch actually taking the first place there, which is really nice. Sometimes you do need to have a teammate step it up.
ஏன் கவர் ஷோ ஆகுது ஆகுது ப்ரோ. எப்போ ஃபைனல்ஸ் ஐடியல் நாளைக்கே நாளானைக்கே தெரியல ப்ரோ ஃபைனல்ஸ்.
This is a messy one.
Why does AX not focus on
up on top of the ridge with vision? In the middle of the gulch there. Nades being thrown out from either side. Fair amount of damage translated onto either one of the teams. Smoke to play with, tucked in. Sleepy looking to try and engage from this, but quick peek from Marcelo over the top of the smoke. And he's able to grab that one. No fear going down to the follow-up nade as well, so it's really looking rough for Hora.
NS mindset வந்து கிடைக்கிற கில்ல நம்ம எடுத்துறணும். மேன்லாஸ் இல்ல NSல.
Gonna see what he can steal away.
கிடைக்கிற கில்ல எடுத்தாலே அவன் தெரிஞ்சிச்சாங்க குவாலிஃபைட்
engagement on this one into the back. It detonates and Vision are being blinded by the shrapnel.
ஏய் என்ன ப்ரோ டீம் எடுக்க நீட போறான்.
It gave Horror a slight opportunity to get away from this as well. Doxy on the top
பாத்தீங்களா UMP அவன் எஸ்டோல்கே இவனெல்லாம் UMP நிறைய பேர் யூஸ் பண்றாங்க.
Volt remaining, sensibly the best player on this squad.
அஜய் நம்ம இந்த ஸ்டேஜ்ல இருந்தா என்ன பிளான் பண்ண எந்த ஸ்டேஜ்ல ப்ரோ பாட்டம்லயா
such problems in the past. And it's not fun area to play this around shelter. You have a lot of these positions that sit around, which is not always the most comfortable bits of cover. You can't fully commit underneath into the shelter underground because you lack information, you lack knowledge. Someone can send over towards you and then just hold you out with nades or even vehicles to block the stairways. It's unenjoyable.
It's quite an elongated bout between them as well. I mean, Volt's been trying to find an off angle to peek back round. Ooh, did Tizzy spot him on the angle there, trying to peek back down? Got Tizzy on the ridge side, peeks up into it. Yeah, Tizzy knew.
Skills அஸ்தானே bro. வந்துச்சே bro 6
Obviously in 10th
பாயிண்ட்.
place going into this one. No chance
அப்பா
to
அந்த
really build
GMX ஒரு
themselves
மாதிரி
further
வினவடிக்க
up the
வந்தா பாவம்டா அவனே.
standings. Fireflux could still guard towards that as well when Nonshin have to reposition. Meanwhile,
Bottom
we get the
layer
fight
இருக்கானே.
in here between R8
AX team
and
fight ஆ.
AX. Nades over the top, vehicles in play.
GMX fight மேல fight ஓட
unfortunate assumption there coming through from Henry. I think he tried to at least go for a decent nade behind the tree. And
bottom இல்ல ஜெனரலா global lobby.
pretty well placed.
நம்ம ஆனது கிடையாது. ஆனா எடுத்தவன
finding
engage பண்ணேதான் ஆட பார்க்கணும்.
does finally go down to Doc C, and Nongshim Red Force on a bit of a tear here, despite, you know, probably going down to R8 in the next couple of moments. I still think a 7 Elite game is very good.
R8 43 points
towards the top side of the lobby.
NS on 78 points apparently.
We remember E-Arena manages to get quite far through.
International new player நல்லா perform பண்றாங்க, நல்ல practice போறாங்க. If you quit for key sports and come BGMI அது வந்து இந்தியனா இருக்கணும் bro.
Sakura close towards the action.
ID card ஏதாவது வச்சிருக்கணும் இந்தியாவோட ID
card.
card.
The first stone dive over the top as well.
இந்த வச்சிருந்தா இது
பண்ணிடலாம். By his teammate Sakura. Smooth moves with the battle back, and they're able to handle themselves quite nicely.
I think current best assault that
are now raining in from power, looking to snatch away some of those points. Even Revo chiming in. From the side, spotting an opportunity and looking to try and seize onto it. Romero, this is absolutely horrific. Has to jump into the hovercraft, try and top himself back up, and look for some sort of getaway.
Yeah, I think Romeo's in a pretty tough position, right? I'm not sure how you get out of this one. I think the hovercraft will at least give him some capability, a little bit of a defense. E-Arena will send out Sakura just
hey, we know 6 months like qualified the performance
picks up a couple position, which is very nice down towards the south.
79 points
a lot of the teams on the south. Alpha 7 playing this patient split over towards the east and have yet to lose a player. A lot of action over towards the
second position
slowly works their way down. Influence Rage did take a knock, so there is information there for them, and AX could get involved. They know roughly where these players are. In comes R8 though.
What is your
Influence Rage need to respond, but players are nowhere near.
Finals watch party try Arwin bro.
Finds one Diego left in uncomfortable.
பாதி எப்ப 1 weekல வரேனாரு. From the compound எப்படி shoot பண்ணிட்டு
There's a limit for that one. Dispatches both of them, and like you said, there's no real room to trade off with one another as well, with how fragmented Rage was, and with the majority of the teams that are going down being heavy in the standings, there's certainly opportunities for a squad like R8 to keep building from this one. Being able to at least find what they need in the moment, but Ida from the sideline gets hit by AX that are now pushing up onto it. Laura's in as well, taking face now with their attention turned. The bonnet of Aryan, that's going to connect back onto R8.
Yeah, at least like that from
R8
AX,
45 points.
Decided to get involved on that. They saw the fighting happening. Fireflux have made their way over towards this western side, looking to sweep on through. Ketch already find the first over towards Lorizin on the Molotov. Now looking for a little bit more here. Continuing to rack up those points and see themselves further solidified over towards that first place spot. Currently running with 93 points to 79.
Guys, like பண்ணாதவங்க like பண்ணிட்டு பாருங்க guys. Like மட்டும் போட்டு பாருங்க. Like பண்ணாதவங்க subscribe பண்ணாதவங்க subscribe பண்ணிட்டு
பாருங்க. This is happening multiple times. Gamax are able to find the shots over toward Alpha 7. A proper nemesis on their hands. It's Turkey versus Turkey though.
Regnum Courier up close onto Fireflux. Silas firing off shells from the DBS. Good damage done. Meanwhile, the Elim feed showing us the tail between Alpha 7 and Gamax. Scarface with a quick reposition. The Orgle hit heavy. Another man down. Sideline shots as well from AX. Still third partying.
Man, is that Regnum Kaya just down and out there? Yes, it is. Fireflux brings the heat straight to them.
R8 kill.
They can hold this team under. R8 still holding this influence Rage as well as intense game.
Points.
Fireflux as well as Regnum Kaya go down in mutual destruction.
AX தான் dinner இந்த மேட்ச் இது ஓகே bro பார்க்கலாம்.
Nate's out. Intense game. Almost on target there. A
Malaysian
little
bro
bit of
on
chip
the
damage,
beach,
but not enough to blow them
and
away.
just
A little bit of cover to work with on this ridge side with a slight
all
lip.
right, every
Ooh,
jump on
good
a
tag, peeks up off the back of it. Prestige
நமக்கு தான் பக்கா
sees
இருக்கலாம்
them
நமக்கு
sprinting
ஏதாவது
in.
இருக்கலாம்
Wants to get the knock onto the low HP players, but the sideline shots, it's always AX. Right now, they're the ones popping up, finding prime opportunities to at least steal away a couple points here and there. The big dive in from Raf is good. R8 are finished off because of it, but AX are still in position to make it even more uncomfortable. That's another knockback over. Rafa gets one before he falls.
I mean, AX has been doing great work from this north side, just watching down this way. They've been ever present, ever watching over towards them. Now Valo with a dangerous
last match la bro, fourth match la poitu irukku
underneath power, using them as almost bodyguards. This slight ridge line that runs through it looks good.
Yes, on 3 mana leva full team yes on
but it's just a knock that's
yes,
easily runs back up again, and right now they claim a lot of space, but in comes the Falcons off the back of a knock as well. This looks not so great for Alpha 7.
Oh, you've got to be quick to handle this one. Up close and personal, Koa biting at them. He's able to find the first dive over the top as well. Follow-up shots coming through. Backstab from Ragnar as Power able to find some damage. Close range molly thrown in as well. Trying to commit onto those knock players, but they don't want to over-egg it. You've got Carrillo further up the ridge side.
Oh, what are you
doing? Looking to assist. The teammate thrown in. It's uncomfortable, and Koa is on his last legs.
Man, Navallo, what was that, dude? Now, this
ஏய் சாமா நேடு bro இது இப்ப போற போறது அட பாவி கரெக்ட்டா சிங்கிட் போறதே போடுவாங்க அங்க அடிக்கிற மாதிரி போடுறான்
maneuvers not happening. Another air burst, and surprisingly Alpha 7's managed to get their players back up again.
சூப்பர் நேடு bro actually அந்த மரத்துல அடிச்சு போட்டதுதான்
He's just carrying the team single-handedly. Koa is making the difference for the Falcons right now through thick and thin.
Yes on bye bye தான் எனக்கு தெரிஞ்சு EX மாலஸா
They do at least dive in. All of the knocks confirmed. You've only got the one man up on the ridge side for Alpha 7, looking to at least try and hold them back. The Falcons do win out on that one. They turn their attention round towards Power that are starting to rotate.
That's madness. Koa's basically in a 1v2 team situation there. Playing against his own teammates and Alpha 7.
ரெண்டு பேர் காலியா சைலன்ஸ் காலி மூணு பேர் காலியோ
Very, very nice. I mean, Rafa opens up the way for the crazy golf maneuver off the back of the tree. Not quite a hole in one, but they'll take a bogey.
மொத double digit point வருதுன்னு நினைக்கிறேன்.
AX up close. Not going to be able to win
Position
out on that
point,
one versus intense game. Devotee goes down. Power Esports have caught whiff of this. They're making their move up. 3 nades to play with for Al Haji. He can dash those in whilst the squad sets up from the side. Carrillo further out as well. Silence realizing that he's being pushed on. Prime's one of his own.
Intense game, 2 plays here. Silence been quite
effective
over the last day. In comes the Falcons. Ralph first to face over towards Carrillo. Alpha 7 getting pushed back multiple times. Tries to catch him on the corner. At least has his position on lockdown now.
The choreography from Carrillo has to be absolutely perfect on this. Now Valor with a UMP, bait out shot on the corner, seeing if they're going to commit to the wide swing round. They've still got nades. That could be the difference. Al Haji though, realizing this is a prime time opportunity to backstab onto the Falcons. He pulls up to the party, up close and personal. Carrillo goes down. Goodbye Alpha 7 as Navallo makes the move. Nade in as well. Padrino from intense game, starting to barrage bullets down. Al Haji commits with a burst. Falcons blown away.
Big redemption coming through from Navallo there as well, and the Falcons will absolutely take that, which pushes them further up the tables now, which is very, very nice. It feels less desperate going into our final 2 games. But Power, we were talking about them earlier, they step it up in those survival stages. When times get desperate, they make it happen.
Last 2 match Trinity Pota qualified. IJ secret solta ipo live A7 ko AX 2 points.
The rotates have been good. The engagements have always been in their favor. A 3-2 split in the battle of attrition. The final 2 squads here.
Oh, okay.
Massive game for Power. Keep them building up the rankings. And like we said, they thrive in the survival stage. They don't just survive blank, and they're showing that once again this year.
Finish off intense game. Over towards the lumberyard.
3v2
Power looking to hack through them.
பவர் குவாலிஃபைட் தானே.
We'll see if they can call timber or if Intense Game can stand tall.
Guys, like பண்ணாத லைக் பண்ணிட்டு பாருங்க guys. 300 likes கூட போல. லைக் பண்ணாத லைக் பண்ணிட்டு பாருங்க. Subscribe பண்ணாதவங்க subscribe பண்ணிட்டு பாருங்க.
Call them the Redwoods.
Yes, அவ்வளவுதான்.
Will be red with anger if they're able to close the gap. That's what they're setting up for. Attention from Silence onto Al-Haji. Tucks himself in behind the tree. Nade primed out, low on health for Dan. Able to at least get right where he needs to be. Put that DPS in lethal range. See if he can get this connection. Fragment the players. Intense Game would be able to be shot from the sideline. Debating whether or not he wants to engage. On to his teammate of Padrino though from further away. Battling over the top side. Silence drops in. The shot fires out. Ears ringing for Fahiden. He tucks in. Running. Not ready. The backstab's there.
Al-Haji will find him though. Padrino versus Al-Haji, and one more. Will be an incredible 1v2, but it's not going to be easy. Al-Haji up towards the rocks. And that's power. Take themselves a chicken dinner, looking more like Bear Grylls in these final moments. True survivors here on our stage. Intense Game weren't quite able to hold it out. A tree with more bark than it had bites.
Yes, last 2 matches 35 points. 35 points எடுத்து குவாலிஃபை ஆயிட்டா எப்படி இருக்கும் AXTMG யோசிச்சு பாருங்களேன். அவ்வளவுதான் காம்படிஷன் இருக்கும். எவ்வளோ 35 பாயிண்ட்ஸ் எடுத்து குவாலிஃபை ஆனாங்கன்னா எப்படி இருக்கும் யோசிச்சு பாருங்க. அஜய் நீங்க சொன்ன அடுத்த செகண்ட் அவன் நாக் ஆகுறான். நான் ப்ரோ பண்றது ஆனா A7 அவ்வளவுதான் ப்ரோ. டிஃபெண்டிங் சாம்பியன்ஸ் கதைய முடிச்சிட்டானு. இதை பார்த்தா கரெக்டா நம்ம அடுத்த லைவுக்கு அது மேட்ச் ஸ்டார்ட் ஆகும்போது வந்துடும் நினைக்கிறேன்.
ஸ்மோக் இல்ல
சஞ்சு ப்ரோ ஹாய் ப்ரோ. ஹரிஷ் ஹாய் ப்ரோ. நீங்க டின்னர் போட்டு இன்டர்வியூ தான் பேசுனீங்களா? எதுல ப்ரோ? நெக்ஸ்ட் எப்போ நம்ம டோர்னமெண்ட் அனௌன்ஸ்மெண்ட் வரதா டோர்னமெண்ட் டேட் வந்தாதான் தெரியும். குவாலிஃபை ஆன அந்த சாட்ல கதை ஆமா ப்ரோ.
வண்டி எடு.
ரெண்டு பேரும் காலியா?
வீடியோ
இங்க இருக்கான். இதுல ஒருத்தன் இங்கே இருக்கான். பின்னாடி போ.
ஜிடிஆர் இருக்குது. போகாது. ஏற விட்டா கூட வச்சிடலாம்.
மாலி போறான். எக்ஸ்டெண்ட் ஆகி படுத்துறான்.
அவுட் ஆஃப் இருந்து ஒருத்தன் அடிச்சிட்டு இருக்கான். ஜீப் பின்னாடி
BGM starts on 18. அப்பதான் சொல்லிட்டு இருக்காங்க. என்ன கரண்ட் ஓனி ப்ளே பண்ண டோர்னமெண்ட் இல்ல ப்ரோ. லேண்ட்ல மைக் பேசிங்கடா பாப்போம் ப்ரோ.
ஒரு ஆள் இந்த காம்பவுண்ட் ஆடிட்டே இருக்கு. ப்ரோ ஒருத்தங்க இருக்கான். கடைசி ஒருத்தங்க இருக்கான். போ
குவாலிஃபை ஆனா ரொம்ப மாசம் இருக்கும் இது. ஆமா ப்ரோ குவாலிஃபை ஆனா அவ்வளவுதான். கம்பேக் ஆனா சரியான கம்பேக்.
இவ்வளோ ஓப்பனா இருக்கு. பாத்து நேடு போடுற போறான். புஷ் பண்றான்.
பாத்து
Watch out.
உள்ள மேல வரேன். இந்த கலிகிட்ட அவனும் இல்ல. எஜ்ஜி ஆடிட்டு வருவாங்க. ஆனா சோ
வாசம் டின்னர் த்ரோ பண்ணுவான்னு நினைக்கிறேன்.
இங்க வந்திருக்கு. இன்னொரு தரகம்.
அவ்வளவுதான் தனியா இருக்கான்.
இன்னொரு தரகம் வீட்டுக்குள்ள உள்ள இருக்கான்.
ஐஜில் இங்க ஒரு கட்டை இருக்கும் அதுல படுத்திருப்பான் அவன்.
இது இல்ல அதான் இருக்கா. ஏய் வண்டி
ஃபைனல்ஸ் டுமாரோ. அதான் ப்ரோ தெரியல நாளைக்கா நாளான்னைக்கானே.
நாக்கவன்
உள்ள ஒருத்தன் இருக்கான். இங்க வாங்க. ஒரே கூப்ல ரெண்டு பேர் போய் சுத்திட்டு வந்துருவோமா?
இல்ல
Watch out. Watch out.
நம்ம முன்னாடி ஜோன் இருக்கு.
ஆகஸ்ட் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் அப்போ ஒரு ஒன் டே கேப் ப்ரோ. அப்போ அது BGMS ஃபுல்லாவே லானி வந்து ப்ரோ அது ஷெட்யூலே ப்ரோ. அது வந்து அவங்க அனௌன்ஸ் பண்ணாதான் தெரியும். எப்பயும் 24 டீம்ஸ் ஃபுல்லா லானி ஈவென்ட் இருக்கும். இந்த வாட்டி எப்படி நடத்துறாங்கன்னு தெரியல.
அதோ நேடு போடுங்க. நான் வாங்கிறேன்.
பின்னாடி ரெடி இருங்க. மேல அந்த கவர்ல இருக்கான்.
நைஸ். அஜய் என்ன பிடிக்கீங்களா?
நானூறு
டிவில வரும் BGM சாங் ப்ரோ. BGMS எப்பவுமே டிவில வரும்.
பைக்
அடிச்சிருங்க ப்ரோ. முன்னாடியே எனிமி வச்சிட்டு
ப்ரோ அவனை முடிச்சிடலாம். ப்ரோ
ரைட்ல புஷ் பண்றான்.
வெண்டி வீல் தான் பஞ்சர்.
15-13 போயிட்டாங்க.
Eங்க. Watch out.
வீட்டுக்கு போறாங்க. சோல ஹீல் பண்ண நினைக்கிறேன் ஒருத்தன்.
அது நெக்ஸ்ட் மேட்ச் ஒரு 15 பாயிண்ட்ஸ் எடுத்தா லாஸ்ட் மேட்ச் டின்னர் போட்டா. ஆமா ப்ரோ.
வெளிய மாலி இருக்கு பாத்து.
மேல போய்ட்டான். இங்க வாங்க நடுவுல வாங்க.
என்ன பண்ணிடுறாங்க?
गाइस லைக் பண்ணிட்டு பாருங்க गाइस. மேட்ச் ஸ்டார்ட் ஆச்சுன்னா சொல்லுங்க.
மூணு பேர் வராங்க. கீழே ஹீல் பேட்டில் போடுறான். நைஸ் ப்ரோ. மேல போறீங்க நீங்க தனியா. லெஃப்ட்ல வண்டி வருது. டக்குனு ஏறி அடிங்க.
கவர் போங்க.
எங்க
ரைட்ல ஜீரோ ரைட்.
ஒரே
ஹீல் பண்றான் ப்ரோ. எனக்கு முன்னாடி
பாருங்க. என்ன ஒரு இது.
நோ நேடு போடுங்க. ஏய்
எக்ஸாக்டா லாஸ்ட் இயர் பிஜிஎம்எஸ்ல இருந்து தான் காம்படிட்டிவ் டீமே பார்க்க ஆரம்பிச்சாங்க. இப்போதான் இருந்து இப்போ சூப்பர் சூப்பர் ப்ரோ. விக்கெண்டி நாட் பிடிஎம்எஸ். ஆமா ப்ரோ விக்கெண்டி நல்லா இருக்கும் ப்ரோ. ஷானாக தூக்கிட்டு விக்கெண்டி பண்ணாதான் நல்லா இருக்கும். விக்கெண்டி ஷானாக்கு தான் பிடிக்கும். விக்கெண்டி நல்லா இருக்கும்.
கீழே தூக்கிட்டான்.
விக்கெண்டியை தூக்கின மாதிரி ஷானாக தூக்கினா நல்லா இருக்கும்.
ஒன்னு ஹெச்பி ப்ரோ. ப்ரோ அடி 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 இதர அடியா.
மேல வண்டி தான், அது மேல தான்.
இங்கலாம் அந்த வண்டி போகுது. இதர முன்னாடி போகுது வண்டி.
பிஜிஎம்எஸ் குவாலிஃபைஸ் டிவியா ப்ரோ. குவாலிஃபைஸ்லாம் தெரியல. குவாலிஃபைஸ்லாம் லேன் ஈவெண்ட் கொஞ்சம் ப்ரோ டிவி வரும்.
இங்க பாரு ரிவோ ப்ரோ.
என்ன ரீசன்னால விக்கெண்டி தூக்குனாங்கன்னு தெரியல ப்ரோ எனக்கு.
புஷ் பண்ணிட்டான்.
பாதி வாட்டர் ஜோன் விக்கெண்டி ஆமா. இது வந்து நல்லா இருக்கும். அது ஒரு தனி விக்கெண்டி. இவனோ அந்த மானியான்னு நினைக்கிறேன்.
வா 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 வா. இந்த ஓவர் கட் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் போடு. நீங்க வர ப்ரோ. நைஸ். ஏறிலாமா? ப்ரோ ஆமா ரைட் ஏறி.
அப்ப லேண்ட் போனா ஐஜிஎல்டில மாசா பாப்போம் வாடி கமெண்ட். போன வருஷமே விளையாண்டோமே ப்ரோ. போன வருஷம் தான் டீ அங்க இருந்து விளையாண்டோம். கீழே தான் இருந்துச்சு போன வருஷம் விளையாண்டது ஃபுல்லா.
அடி வாங்க.
கையில் ஓல்டு டிடி மிராமர் மேட்ச்னா அது டிடின்னு அபிஷியல் டோர்னமெண்ட் சொல்லுவாங்க ப்ரோ.
தெரியல எனக்கே தெரியல.
இது ரோண்டோ மேப்லாம் காம்படிட்டிவ்க்கு கொண்டு வர போறதா சொன்னாங்க. அது உண்மையா?
அப்ப இன்னும் ரெண்டு பேர்
அதான் நல்லா இருக்கும் ப்ரோ. எனக்கு இந்த ஷானாக தூக்கிட்டு எந்த மேப் பண்ணாலும் பரவாயில்ல ப்ரோ. டிவிக்கு பண்ணாத கூட பரவாயில்ல.
இது வேற டீம்.
ஷானாக்ல உட்காந்துக்கிட்டு படுத்திட்டு கடுப்பா இருக்கும் ப்ரோ. நான் மேப் விளாடவே
ப்ரோ. நடுவுல படுத்துறானே. லெஃப்ட்ல இருக்கான் இன்னொருத்தன். இருங்க நான் ஒரு நாக் வச்சிரேன். படுத்துறானே. லெஃப்ட்ல இரு இன்னொரு நாக் வச்சிரேன் இருங்க.
லிவிகா சொல்றேன் எக்ஸாம்பிள்.
நாக் வேற எங்க இருக்கான்? ரொம்ப போகாத.
இந்த மேப்பை மட்டும் தூக்கிட்டு எது கொண்டாந்தாலும் பரவாயில்ல.
நேடு இல்ல ப்ரோ. ஹீல் பண்ணு பாஸ். லெஃப்ட்ல வர. அந்த வெளிய லாஸ்ட் இங்க. ஹீல் வரல. ப்ரோ ரைட்ல இருந்து வரான்.
லிவிக் பார் கம்பலாம் ப்ரோ. அது வந்து அதுக்கு என்ன பண்றது? சரி நீ ஏன் லிவிக் பார் கப்பல்னு சொல்றீங்க? நீ வரவங்க எல்லாம் கப்பலா வரவங்க எல்லாம் லிவிக் தான் ஆடுவாங்களா? போன பிஜிஎம்எஸ்ல அந்த ஏகேஓபி ஸ்பாயில் பண்ணாம இருந்ததா நம்ம அந்த கப்பா. ஆமா ப்ரோ. அவங்க ஒத்துட்டீங்க. ஒரே நேடு டோட்டலா க்ளோஸ்.
நேடு போடுங்க. நான் கொடுக்காதீங்க.
பாத்து பொறுமையா தூக்கி.
அந்த மேட்ச் எல்லாம் கரெக்ட்டா பெர்ஃபெக்ட்டா பண்ணோம். அந்த நேடு
இங்க இருக்கா கரெக்ட்டா. அடிங்க.
Watch out.
ரியல் மிராமர் மேட்ச்ல டிடி கம்பேக் கொடுத்து சொல்லுங்க. அத
ப்ரோ எவ்வளவு அடி சாமணிச்சு
முடிச்சு அடியே ப்ரோ ஃபாஸ்டா.
ப்ரோ தூக்கிட்டு போங்க. தோல்ல தூக்கி.
புரியல ப்ரோ எனக்கு.
நல்ல ஆங்கிள் ப்ரோ.
Watch out!
இந்த ஸ்மால் கார் இருக்கும் அதான்
நாக்கு ப்ரோ ஒருத்தன்
அதை ஏன் அப்படி சொல்றீங்க எல்லாம் சொல்றாங்க நானும் ஒர்க் பண்றேன் எது
கில்ல எடுத்துட்டீங்களா நான் எடுத்துட்டான் போல
டெலிட் பார்க்க நெக்ஸ்ட் ஈவென்ட் மாச சீரிஸ் தான் நினைக்கிறேன் ப்ரோ ஞாபகம் படுத்திட்டேன் ஐயோ சாரி விடுங்க விடுங்க ப்ரோ விடுங்க
ஒரு இது கிளி எனிமி ப்ரோ
அடிங்க 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 அடிங்க
Watch out!
சரி போனா இப்போ அங்க போலாம் நினைக்கிறேன் ப்ரோ ஏய் ஏன்டா ப்ரோ மேட்ச்ல போயிட்டாரு எங்க ப்ரோ இருக்கு
இப்போதான் மிரவன் டிடி சரியா ப்ளே பண்றது இல்ல அரசனே ஓகே 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 அக்கார்டிங் டு கேஸ்ட் மிரவன் நிறைய டிடி தான் உண்மைதான் அது பைத ஆமா ஓன் கேம் பிளே ரியாக்ஷனா ஆமா ப்ரோ சும்மா எனக்கு யாரோ சொன்ன மாதிரி இருந்தது அதை சொல்றேன் ரைட் யாரோ வார்த்தை மேட்ச் ஸ்டார்ட் ஆயிடுச்சா கைஸ்
ஐயோ
அவன் டீம் வந்தான் இன்னும் ஒருத்தன்
Watch out!
இன்னும் ஒருத்தன் லாஸ்ட் ஸ்டேஜ் நைஸ்
Head over to the official map feed as well.
Start
That's now
out,
live on
yeah.
PUBG Mobile Esports on YouTube.
வணக்கம் மாஸ் எஸ்கே ப்ரோ வணக்கம் ப்ரோ அதே ப்ரோ இங்க சாட்ல மதன் ப்ரோ சஸ் அதான் மதன் ப்ரோ என்ன விஷயம் கரெக்டா 10 மினிட்ஸ் பிரேக்கோ அந்த இது முடிச்சதுலேருந்து கரெக்டா 10 to 12 மினிட்ஸ்ல ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணிடுறாங்க ஐயல் பாயிண்ட்ஸ் டேபிள் காட்டுங்களா இதோ இதுலயே வந்துடும் பாருங்க ப்ரோ இப்போ பிஜிஎம்எஸ் முடிச்சுட்டு இதே நேரம் ஐஜியில் லிவிக் ப்ரோ லிவிக்கெல்லாம் நான் ஆடினதே கிடையாது ப்ரோ லிவிக்கு ஸ்டார்டிங் ஆடிருக்கேன் ப்ரோ மிஷின் முடிக்கிறது கிடையாது டக்கு டக்குன்னு அதானே முடியும் அதுக்காண்டி ஃபிஃப்த் மேட்ச் இன்னும் ஒரு மேட்ச் தான் இருக்கு வெளியே இந்த மேட்ச்ல ஆல்மோஸ்ட் தெரிஞ்சிரும்னு நினைக்கிறேன் ஐஜில் எப்போ பார்க்கலாம் பிஎம்டபிள்யூ உங்களை இனிமேல் நீ இந்தியாவை பார்க்கலாமா என்னன்னே தெரியல ப்ரோ லிவிக் டவுன்லோடே பண்ணியிருக்க மாட்டாரு ஆமா ரெனர் ப்ரெடிக்ஷனா இந்த மேட்ச் ரெனர் ப்ரெடிக்ஷன் வந்து எந்த டீம் சொல்றேன் அந்த டீம் வந்து செத்துடுறாங்க எஸ் சார் வச்சுக்கோங்க ஏஎக்ஸ் டின்னர் கமான் ஏஎக்ஸ் டின்னர் ஓகே ஏஎக்ஸ்லாம் என்ன அடிச்சா லாஸ்ட் மேட்ச் 15 பாயிண்ட் 20 பாயிண்ட் என்ன அடிச்சா குவாலிஃபைடு போகுது ஏஸ் அவனுக்கு எடுத்தோன்னே ஃபைட் ஆகுமோ ஐஜியோட ஃபைட் ஆகிற மாதிரியே போறானுங்க இவ்வளோ நேரம் மேப் காட்டுறானுங்க ப்ரோ டாப் 5 டீம்ஸ் வந்து ஆல்மோஸ்ட் குவாலிஃபைட் ப்ரோ அங்க பாருங்க ப்ரோ 8th டீமுக்கும் 9th டீமுக்கும் டிஃபரன்ஸ் 13 பாயிண்ட்ஸ் ப்ரோ 13 பாயிண்ட் லீட்ல இருக்கானுங்க
In the air, getting into position. It's not been an
Easy
easy start to this game on the plane path.
அப்பனா ஃபர்ஸ்ட் போட்டியே ஏச வந்தான் I just most
soaring.
guys like
They're
living
flying.
என் ஃப்ரெண்டும் லிவிக்
And it's Sky, of course, that's up in the air.
போனான்னு சொல்லுவாங்க.
In
ஓ
reality, you know, it's probably for the best.
அப்படி
that
என்ன இருக்கு
Sky's the
லிவிக்
one flying.
மேப்ல?
You wouldn't want a sleepy pilot.
ஏன் ப்ரோ ஏக்ஸோ
No, you would not.
ஸ்லோவா ஆடுறாங்களா?
That'd be terrifying.
I would be
மேபி
worried,
கான்ஃபிடென்ட்
scared
இல்லாம
almost.
இருக்கலாம். போன மேட்ச் அடிச்சிருக்காங்கல்ல, அதனால இந்த மேட்ச் ஒரு கான்ஃபிடென்ட் இருக்கும் கண்டிப்பா.
Yo, wake up, quick. We're gliding.
I think top 8 அப்படியே
Oh, we're
குவாலிஃபை
inverted.
பார்க்கலாம்.
Okay.
We're about to be landing.
This match
in
dinner போட்டா
3-2.
AX க்கு சான்ஸ் இருக்கும். ஆமா bro.
Clean landing.
You know what? Actually,
Yeah,
perfect.
Yeah.
It was a perfect landing. Did just have word from 7 saying that Falcons can all take El Pozzo and Alpha 7 giving that one up. To be honest,
When is the last day?
Falcons just
Today
go for
last
that
day.
aggressive
Today last day.
maneuver as well. Alpha 7 forced to a case of, well, do we really want to take the chance here at going down early? I mean, even if they lose one player, they cannot afford to have that. They need to have a four-man finish if they want to have enough firepower in that end game to clean things out smoothly and also have the chance to sweep. So for Falcons, I think that's a very cool maneuver because you are preying on the mentality coming through from Alpha 7 there.
Intense game here as well.
எவ்வளவு மேட்ச் இருக்கு? இன்னும் ஒரே மேட்ச் தான் bro இருக்கு. இந்த மேட்ச் இல்லாம இன்னும் ஒரு மேட்ச் தான்
If
இருக்கு.
they can actually find a way to get a read on this, not expose themselves to both the angles that are in play with the 2-2 split, but never alone, being able to get the adjustment shot off onto silence. So a connection in there. That's Vision, being able to get at least the first knock onto Intense game.
இன்னும் எவ்வளவு மேட்ச்
Silence down
AX
pretty
A7X TMG.
Pretty good player for the team as well. They sort of need him up.
A7 43
See
பாயிண்ட்
Never Alone
இருக்காங்க.
here pushing up. Saying
AX
earlier,
30
you know, despite the position they're in, still seem
43
happy.
point
And some
A7.
teams do get
AX
this event
30.
just getting through towards that
Hey,
survival
come on,
stage is a
man.
big deal to them.
cover
Rafa takes a big hit and instantly silences, pushed back down again. Mini 14 in the hands of Never Alone, but the Molotov might just do the trick. It pops a little bit far back though, doesn't quite spread over towards Rafa.
Never Alone, swinging on the angle. Actually,
என்ன bro
uses
உட்டா?
close and personal
1
versus
HP தான bro இருந்தா?
He's able to withstand the might of Never Alone, and the rest of the Vision squad now has to push up together. Volt has been incredibly crisp. With a mini 4 from distance, he tries to tap back, but Rafa, he is all over him like a rash right now. You cannot stop it.
Actually
Peak
முக்கியமான
after
மேட்ச்
peak.
bro
Handles
ESN
Never Alone up
க்கு.
close, even with the
இந்த மேட்ச் நீ கொஞ்சம் பாயிண்ட் எடுத்திருந்தா அடுத்த மேட்ச்
and he is
ஈஸியா
living on
இருக்கும்.
a sliver of HP.
Rafa finds another. How is he doing this? Not even bothered about the HP count. It is
1v3
giving
பண்ணிட்டாங்க
him
அங்க.
the pressure to push on here. One shot,
ஃபால்கனுக்கு
one tiny burst of a nade,
ஃபால்கன் எங்க இருக்கானுங்க?
Done the
69
trick.
பாயிண்ட்ஸா?
and Rafa still
அவ்வளவுதான் இதில் ஏசம்
not
இனிமேலாம்
even on the
இம்பாசிபிள்
screen
தான்.
here for us. Dear
டாப்
me.
8 போறதுக்கு
What a
20
performance
plus
from
points
him there.
எடுத்தாதான் போக அடுத்த
Ultra
மேட்ச்
instinct
நிம்மதியா
of a moment. And Vision sent
கட்
back.
ஆஃப் 74 something 74 குள்ள தான் இருக்கும் எனக்கு
Away
தெரிஞ்சு.
as well. I mean, it's just
70 or
Marcelo, that's
74.
all that's left. You think about how clean that could have been. Like, Never Alone, actually, from the angle he's in, he gets the first knock. He knows he's going for the res. You get the nade on the close angle, knocks him again.
நான் கூட 80 எல்லாம்
That
போகணும் நினைச்சா
1v1
நான்
would have made the
போகாது.
difference, then being able to clean up relatively easy. With the then push coming in from the side with Volt and Co to clean up, split the attention. The fact he has done that single-handedly.
ஒரு மேட்ச்க்கு
hell
6 ஆவரேஜ்
of
வச்சிருந்தாலே
an adrenaline
குவாலிஃபை
rush
ஆகலாம்
there from
போல
Rafa.
இதுல.
I mean, Hook
72
life
points
support
வரும்.
machine, but not done yet. The circle head over towards the western side. I think most teams will be happy about this as well, purely off the back of that plane path. Alpha 7 had to go a long distance to make this work up towards Torre Armada, which is
யாரு
so
bro 1 HP ல இப்படி
uncharacteristic
அடிக்கிறான்? அதான்
of
1
them.
HP ல ஹீல் பண்ணிட்டானா? இல்ல 1 HP ல தான bro இந்த மாதிரி
They'll be coming in
இருந்துச்சு.
late towards the circle. Not only that, they'll have to
இன்னும்
figure
எத்தனை
out
மேட்ச்? இந்த மேட்ச் இல்லாம இன்னும் ஒரு மேட்ச் இருக்கு
playing the
bro.
game for years upon years, so they should know this map like the back of their
Power
hand.
NS
Regardless, it's just a case of a lot of
Power
that research
93 point
into
NS க்கு நம்ம
rotations
பாயிண்ட்
and how
வேணும்
they
கொஞ்சம்.
affect their usual ones.
ஆனா அவன் சாரி குவாலிஃபைடு 28 பாயிண்ட்
Yeah,
வச்சிருக்காங்க.
that's not how cars usually driven.
தியத்தை
That's Vinny the Billy Goat.
Wow. It's impressive stuff. Inventing new ways to use automobiles. This late
Top
into the
air strike
survival
பண்றேன்.
stage.
Some
It's down, bro.
sticky
Awesome.
tires indeed. gets up there.
Healings
Timing things
கிடைக்கல.
on the wheels.
அவங்கள சில பேர்
Now
சைட்ஸ்
has a good
போய்
location to work with. You can see just how central Nongshim Red Force are
First aid போட்டான்.
around Picardo on this top
Okay,
side. I
okay,
think
bro.
this is a
என்ன
lovely
இது நியூ
position
லுக்கா?
to set
ஆமா
up.
bro.
We have seen quite a few times though, Jackie, in the past.
AX
Teams
no
and
chance.
players setting up on
AX
these
க்கு
spots
வந்து
get
ஒரு
taken down early,
33
and then you
points
have that
வேணும்.
issue
33
where you lose a player, you don't able to res them, and suddenly the
35
position
points.
becomes quite compromised. So you have to be careful on
ஒரு
that spot,
20
on that
points match
position.
and 15
You're mostly
15
there
points
for
match.
information gain, and if you can get a quick and easy knock, you'll go for it, but no more than that. Especially from that position too. I mean, you have a lot of stock to get towards that late game. Well, you did. You really did. Until this circle comes into play, which is hellish. Over towards that north side, a massive hard shift over this way. Many teams left in the lurch on that south side. AX having to get a move on, as do Regnum Kaya. Falcons and A7 actually
நீங்க மிராமர் போய் மவுண்டன் மேல ஃப்ரீயா வந்துச்சுனா ஏறிடுவோம் bro. ஃப்ரீயா
very, very good off the back of this one, smelling like roses.
Throwing them a bone, they very well do need. Obviously, a lot of targets on the heads for Alpha 7, I think, going into this one as well. You can see that's why it was the heads-up call to sort of bully them off the drop spot, see if you could influence the overall game. The teams are comfortable in the actual battleground itself. So we'll see if they can recover from the position
like for A7.
Intense game on the move here. Rafa looked good in the previous
engagement
versus Vision. Stellar defense, great heads-up call.
நான் வேற A7 தான் சொல்லிருக்கேன் டின்னர் அடிப்பாங்கன்னு பார்க்கலாம்.
Different beats though. They drive by, they both take vision onto one another.
சொன்ன மாதிரி A7 டின்னர் அடிச்சிடுவாங்க.
Heads down. Not run the risk of getting into a fight that is uncomfortable for them.
Yeah, little do they know that they just escaped a scenario with Rafa, the triple tapper. Managing to get into some cover, playing around concrete. It's a good position. It's forward as well, over towards where Horror is currently playing as they make that rotate from early.
Roshan bro, வணக்கம் bro.
AX as well as R8 very
Next
late.
என்ன big tournament வருது before BGMS. எதுமே இல்ல bro.
Quick ramp. A lot of teams were a little bit close to this one, especially when
the
you
match A7 தான் டின்னர்
as well. You are funneling teams over to
A7க்கு முக்கியமான match ஆமா bro.
Power though in position.
இந்த காம்பவுண்ட் பார்த்தாலே எனக்கு A7 செட் தான் ஞாபகம் வருது.
Al Haji has been on the money with these nades.
Camp பாத்தீங்களா?
Set up from Pedrino, he's able to hit that one heavy.
பாதி டீம் உள்ள வருமானே தெரியல.
Adrian as well pushing in close, missed shot on the first peek through the doorway.
அடிக்கல இந்த மேட்ச் நான் அடிக்கடி predict பண்றோம் பாப்போம்.
Withstands the push. Nade in, danger close, forced to heal up now, play off
போச்சு
one another.
FF பையன் அடிக்க போறாங்க.
Looks off in the distance. Pedrino goes down stairs and
Power Gali bro.
a lot of elims off the back of that. It was a clean engagement, a great backstab, an assassination of the play with the Fire Flux team. He's heading inward. Pedrino finds an early knock over towards Kedge. Looking to hold this one down. They don't have Rafa up. And now he'll have to hold his own versus the full squad. The tag goes through, so they have a rough idea of where he's playing, and those nades are not going to stop anytime soon.
We had Rafa looking very talented earlier, but now, like you say, it's up to Pedrino to be the punisher, to keep his team alive in this one. No opportunity to get his mate back up. It's all on him as a solo to withstand this crash that's come in from Fireflux. They had the timing to backstab and third party onto power, cleaned up there, bursting through the door. They shut down the opening man. And they close it out.
Single member off the back of that one, getting 4
எனக்கு இந்த
points.
காம்பவுண்ட் பார்த்தா
where power failed.
ஆரிஜி அந்த 3 ஸ்கோர் அதான் நேத்து வெயிட் பண்ணானுங்களே.
Position. Gamax
மாசா பண்ணானே.
versus Influence Rage. This is fairly central. A very interesting circle here as well, Jackie. A lot of high ground to
லைக் பண்ணாதவங்க லைக் பண்ணிக்கோங்க, சப்ஸ்கிரைப் பண்ணாம பார்த்துட்டீங்கன்னா
very
சப்ஸ்கிரைப்
much in the
பண்ணுங்க.
late game when we head through to stage 7, stage 8. But there is a lot of opportunity to find positions on the map which you feel comfortable in. And then sit around there for quite some time.
Laser focus from the Gamax squad. You can see the comms there coming out. Vahita talking to the team.
வணக்கம் bro, VK bro. Out of zone rotation.
Bridge side as well on the hill there, listening
Bro,
out, seeing if an
dinner
opportunity will be presented from this.
இந்த மேட்ச் அடிக்கும்ன்றீங்களா? ஓகே.
It's not a bad spot either towards this ditch. Having 4 vehicles
Just
is a
a
massive
bit
benefit to
இல்ல
them.
bro பண்ணிக்கி.
What they can do with this one as well is stay
Five
out of sight, out of
maybe next time
mind,
India.
but
5
be
rounds,
extremely central as well. So they can make the decision on the next circle of where they'd want to go. It should keep the min. It's just
Ajal
in terms of
நம்ம
positioning.
டீம்
And this is
இன்டர்நேஷனல்
very much
லாபில
just a pause
விளையாடணும்
on their
ஆசை
gameplay.
இருக்கு. ஆசையா தான் இருக்கு.
Well, listen to the
இந்த
sweet
வாட்டி வந்து
pause
பெரிய
beats
விஷயம் ப்ரோ. இந்த வெட்டலாம் எப்போ
as the rest of these
இன்வைட்
teams
பண்ணுவாங்க எல்லாம்
are
தெரியாது.
rolling around.
அப்பப்போ இந்தியான்னு ஒரு கண்ட்ரி இருக்குன்னு ஞாபகப்படுத்துறதுக்காண்டி இது பண்றாங்க போல.
It's interesting as well, though. Obviously, Marcelo, his entire squad going down instantly to open this one up, with Rafa handling them very easily. He's been able to keep himself alive and just out of dodge, barely in the back line.
PUBG is so super bro.
It's a 2-2 split from them, with Scarface further down, catching the back line. Always feels like he's so useful from distance as well. It's his preference being able to support the team, set him up. Scarface, he loves to get aggro.
It's kind of funny, right, in the way that that's happened.
Yes,
Where Scarface
subscribe
in the past has been
பண்ணுங்க.
absolutely the long-range specialist for the team, but we're seeing a lot more where Scarface is moving over towards that front line and catches playing the back line for them. So it's a complete role reversal into this one. But it's also nice to see that they're comfortable to switch those roles frequently, because that does hamper you. You know, you lose Scarface, what you can do, you lose a long-range player. So having both your main fraggers on that team be interchangeable,
Last day IGL match. ஆமா bro, இது வந்து last day.
characteristic for a squad.
IGL ஒரு டவுட், நம்ம இன்டர்நேஷனல் லாபியை கம்பேர் பண்ணும்.
Yeah, having that level of dynamic gameplay that can keep squads guessing
நம்மளா
gives you the extra oomph you need, especially in these kind of lobbies that are global like this.
கான்ஃபிடென்ட்டா ஆனா
Can't
போதும்
afford to
bro.
be one note in reality.
இந்த மாதிரி எட்ஜ்லயே தான் இருக்கானுங்க.
Much prefer that double quaver.
எதுவும் சொல்ல
quick
முடியாது.
off the
ஜோன்
beat.
ஆர் ஷிஃப்ட் எதுவும் சொல்ல முடியாது.
That's not going to be the case for a lot of teams here. It's going to be a slow rollout. Circle doesn't really confirm onto anything too drastic here. Still that high ground towards that south side is open. The ditch that Regan Kai is playing is nice.
இதுல AX teams வந்து first R8 clear
Open
பண்ணோம்.
areas in terms of the
அவங்க ரெண்டு பேர் தான்
roles
ஃபைட்
through
வராங்க
here. In the
தெரிஞ்சு.
meantime, AX has taken a knock. That's potentially from
அதுக்கப்புறம் அவங்க
Arwin,
clear
who
பண்ணாலே
are
விட்டோம்ல.
watching
AX
the
அவன் நல்ல
overlook here
zone
on that
இருக்கானுங்க.
northeast side. You can hear there is plenty of fighting. And is that Regnum Kaya losing player? No, finding shots over towards Kinotrope. A lot of the players from
TX
Kinotrope who
bro.
made a
TX
big
யாரு
old
bro
dash
TX?
over their way with little to
நேத்து
no
first
information
match
either.
பொறுமையா
Yeah, went for a bit of a stab in the dark and ran straight into Red and Kara, that of course have been playing for this latest setup. They were waiting
நேத்து
for a
first
fight to be
match
instigated
பொறுமையா
so they could
ஆடிருந்தா
push up
மேபி
to
ஆமா
Timothy's
bro.
Rage or Gamax clean up on
Okay,
that one. They
confident
were gifted a
of
bounty of eliminations off the back of that. And of course the last player is miles out of
AX
position as
return
well. Rich side
India
angle
வந்தா
up on
which
top.
are they? தெரியல bro. அவங்க
Effectively
தான்
trapped
கேட்கணும்.
on an island. And it's the Falcons that are
மேல மொபைல்
underneath,
எப்பர் லிஸ்ட் தெரியல bro.
slowly
What
skulking
is
their way
67
further
AGL
forward. They were a little bit
channel?
more split. They've grouped up now.
67 சும்மா
Bernal
அடிச்சது
could
bro.
be a bit of an issue for them though. He's hidden. Closed off, squared away. See if he opts to take shots. In come
PUBG
Noxian Red
இருந்ததுன்னா
Force
தமிழ்
versus
டீம் தான்
Fireflux, and there's
இருக்கலாம்.
one. Narvalo,
Falcon
think
அடி
he took
வாங்குறாங்க.
2 shots there, should be down. No.
AX ல knock. அதான் பார்த்தேன்.
So
AX
Narvalo
சைடுல
once
யாரு
again
bro?
goes back to a spectating
AX ஐடியா
position.
தெரியலையே.
Falcons play on with 3.
ஆடுனா
Tell me if you haven't heard that before, but I need to stop beating that horse at this point.
It was
Yes,
a
like
good
பண்ணா,
pressure
like
as
பண்ணிட்டு
well
பாருங்க,
from
subscribe
Noxian Red
பண்ணா,
Force.
subscribe
Obviously, that's
பண்ணிட்டு
worked
பாருங்க.
out relatively easily for them. So the duo from Fireflux that were further ahead have been caught there. Oh, even Catch just barely getting away. Sliver of health as he'll try and duck down. Bullets whizzing over the top, offering up a short back and side. It's a free haircut, but he's still breathing for now.
Drop some smoke. He's very exposed. Fireflux, not ideal. Right? Noxian Red Force, they saw an opportunity and did absolutely go for it. Fireflux was a little bit slow across the road there. Noxian Red Force took a couple of knocks, but it was a 4v2 advantage. A pretty easy cleanup. But now, Valo, I think that there is an instance where if you know someone's up there, you kind of want to send another player with him.
Yes, அவன் கம
Can you
கம
imagine that
உட்கார்ந்திருக்கானுங்க bro.
scout there was for that reasoning? They know a player's in the
இந்த
vicinity
மேட்ச்
as
டின்னர்
well, so
அடிச்சா
they
அவன
get
விளையாடுறானே.
somewhat of a scout coming
43
through.
or 20
Alpha 7
points
playing on
எடுத்தாங்கன்னா
this north side and playing
63
very,
வந்துரும்
very
point.
slow. Waiting for these next circles to come
அந்த
through. I think
competition
the reason
வந்துருவானுங்க.
because that is
அடுத்த
there
match
is
competition.
so many points of interest around this map that you can see here. I mean, you've got the ruined town up towards that north side for Alpha 7. You've got this big overlook coming here where we're watching Falcons play down towards the south side, and then that real intense area over towards that eastern side, which is just filled with teams because of the ridge sides that are available and the little space that you want to cut through on this central circle because of this road and valley. So you are closing a lot of teams together on this eastern side, and that's only going to happen a little bit more as this next circle hits us over towards the east.
Actually, R8 முடிச்சா ஈஸியா விளையாடலாம் bro. யாருக்கு செத்துது?
AX
GMX சரியான
thrown into the battle versus Gamax, obviously sharing those close compounds for quite some time. You see Launching Red Force as well, committing to find follow-ups on the Fire Flux. Handling them easily. Solus was the first to fall.
Top 2
Follow-up
teams
onto Ketch,
eliminated.
so both down and out. The team is removed, so the squad unable to accrue much more from that one. 4 Elim game for them, bring them up to 98 points overall, and the battle continues with Yangon Galacticos being cleaned up, split between 2 squads. AX as well. Brilliant position here where E-Arena are going to be looking to go from strength to strength, and this could give them some good momentum in the standings if they can find the play off this one.
But E-Arena already on 3 elims playing on this eastern side. It's going to be a bit of a brutal rollout for them to get over towards AX, but they're definitely hurting. They sent a bit of damage over their way. Looks like the resources are a little bit rough. Joker looking to send another nade over towards the top side there. Did find Ariane. Bit more damage poured in, and R8 looking to backstab on the eastern side. Regnum Kai is playing blind on that ditch, by the way. That is some good knowledge of the map and where they wanted to go early. They held out Kino Trope when they tried to make a big crash over their way, and they have just been sitting pretty since.
Yeah, it's worked out very well for them. A team that we know can offer so much in a lobby like this. And for AX, it's not only from the front with E-Arena casting out nades to course the backstab from R8. They now look to swoop in off the damage done with those nades landing right on target, hopping out the vehicles. Early on the ground as well to assist. Still nades in the back pockets thrown in. AX must be so uncomfortable. You are just pinned in here. Henry with the smoke, at least trying to buy time as they get close. You've got the shoddy to work with. The entire team just looking fragmented. It's only Henry that remains. Quick bandage to try and top himself up.
Yeah, has the pump, which is not great for multiple targets at a time, especially when you've got no cover to hide around on that delay between the shots. Henry will just watch R8 move a little bit further forward here. This is a good game, though, for 9 through 12. Right, with Yangon Galacticos out and currently in 8th place. It's not a massive jump up that's required to challenge that position from Yangon Galacticos. Regnum Kaya would like for a big game here to confirm themselves further up and secure that position as we head over towards our last game. Mormon finds Henry, and Henry is found wanting.
With Henry going down, that's AX removed. And E-Arena hoovering up a lot of the points as well, so still gives other opportunities for further squads to move up, like you said, a bit more literally here. They already found one knock over towards the Falcons, and they just keep adding, piling onto this. Powers down, Redox as well takes a hefty hit. They can convert onto those. Vinny goes in with the DBS of the Falcons. It's so rough.
That vehicle's going
up.
He has to get out soon and find some kind of cover. He holds it though. A little bit further forward. Don't wait for that thing to blow up though. Just to get back. Can't really go too far back at risk. Opening up an angle. Vision, Marcelo holding off R8. Dropping the smokes in, give him a little bit more room to play around with. Launching Red Force. Love the playstyle. Love the playstyle from them. In every single game, at least trying to get above those 5 elims. Yeah, they're taking a lot of damage right now, but that's enough each game right now from the point standing they sit on to keep them inside that top 8.
Yeah, they're not going to be disappointed whatsoever with how this has flowed. ideal scenario for
போட
them.
மாட்டாங்க bro.
Hello Marcelo
ரெண்டு
as
வாய்ப்பு
well. In
இல்ல.
fact, obviously he's still alive with Vision going down in like literally the opening fight since this game, and even being able to fully commit onto one of the R8 players, dip out like a bandit, make it off to the loop.
Falcon la இவன் தான் bro
Potentially
நேத்து
something a little
ஏசவன
bit later.
எலிமினேட்
Meanwhile,
பண்ணிட்டு
battle
அகிரிஸ்
continues with
அடிச்சிட்டு
Aura diving in onto Alpha 7, squashed
என்ன
to
bro
the
ஏசவன
side,
மேல
slapped
ஆயிடுச்சு
upside the head.
அவ்வளவுதான் bro
Not shit
ஏசவன
finished off in the end there by Regnum Carrier. Carrillo
அவன் எந்த ஈரோட மாட்டறான் ஏசவன எங்க போனா அடிக்குறாங்க
in the vehicle, try and create space between, but it is rough again. I mean, Sleepy just finding the prime
ஏய் அவ்வளவுதான் ஏசவன வந்து அவுட்.
It's such a slow game from Alpha 7. It is so different from what we're used to. It's a nice nade, but not quite close enough. We'll drop him down to
Falcon 70 point
I think there's a case we made that they got lucky.
Bro, Falcon were qualified. Bro, top 7 teams qualified.
And that ditch has been super influential, but they haven't just
been wait பண்ணு ஏனா INF லாம்
இருக்காங்கடா. They've been
INF
scanning their surroundings and ensuring they have a setup for the late game while still
top
getting
10
plenty of
competition
eliminations on board. They currently sit with 7 this game, which is fantastic to see for Regnum Kaya.
11 and 16 are eliminated.
And you can feel that
Abdul bro, hi bro.
in the standings. See how far they can go with this one. Good positioning, great crosshair placement as well. Prestige for the Rid side, peeking back down onto Alpha 7. This is R8, triple threat of players that are still alive. Taking that peek down. Carrillo is usually pretty good in these kind of situations, but you got to fight back. I mean, there's going to be no squad left to work with. Revo's on his last legs. It's just a solo man. He's finished off again. Alpha 7 go down, out of action here. No chance to find any points on the game blank.
And that's pretty much it for Alpha 7. I think on this next match, there is pretty much no possibility. They need to get 27 points alone to get towards 60 points and challenge against some of these teams. And with that elimination on towards Carrillo, I think it's pretty certain the defending champions will not be going through to the finals.
Insanity. You think about the form we saw from them last year, the way they played, sweating the tears every game. They put it all in. Nothing was left before the lobby. This time around, it's been a very different team, and it has not gone the way they needed. Survival stage.
R8 in the country, bro.
It has been just that, surviving for Alpha 7 in these kind of situations. They just can't. Nothing left for them.
Right, last year, GMWC 2024, they were scraping, screaming, shouting towards victory. And it's unfortunate here to see them go out with such a quiet finish. Horror over towards our northwest side of this arena, currently looking to push through R8, who have not had a terrible game here. Honestly, done very well to control that eastern side, but as soon as they tried to make an entrance over towards the west, Horror was quick to take shots back at them. But it's Regnum Kaya now stepping up, finding no fear. Silas with 40 bullets remaining
54 points
on this Mini 14. They have been here for a long, long time. No chance at extra resource, and they've had to be very, very good when it comes to that resource management in general. Here comes Jiggle.
Jiggle and Prestige being the two that are looking to push up somewhat. Spot over onto him, so that finishes off R8. Influence Rage have been able to sit pretty for so long as well.
INF in the match,
Horror losing so much to Regnum Carrier. Wow, they are on a heater right now, Blank.
Wild will go down, but Torchpick returns fire over towards Sleepy. Who has been such a criminal force on the north side, has been arrested by Regnum Kaya, and not only that, run down over towards Sleepy to add insult to injury. Regnum Kaya will be the lone
Bro, நான்
team on the
சொன்னேன்ல
northwest
overlap
side. It's
இல்லைன்னு.
E-Arena
இங்க
now
பார்க்கலாம்
versus
பார்க்கலாம்.
Influence Rage, battling it out, currently in
Falcon
10th
safe
place,
sound
trying
party,
to
bro.
set themselves up for a late game, and they need this match here, Jackie.
It was a misplaced nade as well that resulted in some
Hey,
downtime
we're not
inside of
cooking
the
on
fight.
our
They had to get each
answer.
other back up with E-Arena running into some
Ora
danger,
says,
close
solo
action. Joker
college,
looking to get up close and
shoot
personal
மட்டும்
though
தான்
with a
அடிக்கிறான்.
shotty in hand, and Regnum Karia realizing this is the opportunity to scout out. Silas moves into position whilst the fight continues, spams into the smoke, lowers it, gets one from the sideline. We say goodbye to Joker as they commit onto that. Mormon as well falls to Diego.
Regnum
யாராங்க
Karia
bro,
looking to shut
நிறைய
this one down
பேர்
quick though. Little
இங்க
ball
பாருங்க.
on that top
இங்க
side.
fight எடுக்காம அங்க
Finds
கீழ
the
அடிச்சிட்டு இருக்கான்.
Finds the first initial knock over towards Silas. Will flush him out.
Oi.
Looks for more on the drop down.
Bro.
Gets two. An influence
Super
range
star,
to
bro.
5
Muy
elims.
buena.
Get the chicken dinner. It will be a massive, massive start to their run at the end of the day to potentially take over Yangon Galacticos. But will
ஓரா ரெண்டு இல்ல ப்ரோ.
Kaya
நேசன்
even
ரொம்ப ஃபீல்
care?
பண்ணுவாங்க ஃபர்ஸ்ட் டே குவாலிஃபையர். ஆமா ப்ரோ.
Little boy being the big man on that one. Makes all the right plays at the perfect time. Loxy with the rock face to work with, tucked in, looking for the elevated peak from the top. You can start to slow down the pace now. It was chaotic among the three. But with the two squads remaining, knowing how important this is for either side, Influence Rage do not want to throw their opportunities away. Scout out from Loris in. Loxy locked on target. Clean connection shuts down one. Toss pick. Bait in the mountain
டின்னர்
base.
வேணும் டின்னர் இருந்தா தான் குவாலிஃபை ஆக முடியும்.
The only thing to keep them in this one sent out.
Oh,
Little
no.
boy extremely low will be taken down. Diego on the backside. There's at least a nade to keep this one going. Wild walks up and it will be an easy finish. From
RDG
the
qualify.
they were down low, but they end up on high for Regnum Kaya, and that game will secure their position.
ஏன் பாயிண்ட்ஸ் இதுலயே இருக்கட்டும். லாஸ்ட் மேட்ச் வேற 15 ஃபினிஷர்ஸ் டின்னர் குவாலிஃபைடு ப்ரோ. சி மிராமல்ல ஆர்இஜி மிராமல்ல சூப்பரா ஆடுறாங்க. நீங்க பாயிண்ட்ஸ் டேபிள் பார்ப்போம். லைக் பண்ணிட்டு பாருங்க, சப்ஸ்கிரைப் பண்ணிட்டு பாருங்க. மாசா அஸ்தானுங்க. ப்ரோ எஃப்எஃப், பிஓடபிள்யூ, பவர் குவாலிஃபைடு, இஆர் குவாலிஃபைடு, ஆர்இஜி குவாலிஃபைடு, ஓரா குவாலிஃபைடு. ப்ரோ டாப் 6 குவாலிஃபைடு ப்ரோ. என்எஸ் வர குவாலிஃபைடு ப்ரோ. 7ம் 8ம் தான் இப்போ. 7க்கும் 8க்கும் தான் போட்டி. எனக்கு தெரிஞ்சு 7 வரை குவாலிஃபைடுன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். இவன் 8வது உள்ள டீம் தான் விளாட. ஆமா எனக்கு தெரிஞ்சு ஒய்ஜியா ஐஎன்எஃப் இந்த 2 டீம் தான் இப்போதைக்குன்னு நினைக்கிறேன் ஃபைட்டிங். ஒன்று ஒய்ஜி இல்லைன்னா ஐஎன்எஃப் 2 டீம். இல்லைன்னா கீழே உள்ள டீம் ஏதாவது டீம் டின்னர் அடிச்சு வரணும். ஐஎன்எஃப் சான்ஸ் இருக்கு ப்ரோ. அதான் ஒய்ஜி இல்லைன்னா ஐஎன்எஃப் இந்த 2 டீம் தான். ஆர்ஜி சைலஸ் குவாலிஃபை ஆனால் நல்லா இருக்கும். அந்த ஸ்டேஜ் எல்லாம் 2 days ஓகே ப்ரோ. இல்ல 3 days பெட்டரா இருக்குமா? 2 days 12 மேட்சஸ் ஆட்டாங்க ப்ரோ. நட்டாஷா கவலைப்படுறான். நீங்க என்எஸ் நல்லா பிளே பண்ணிட்டாங்க. ஓ நட்டாஷா குவாலிஃபை ஆயிட்டானுங்க என்எஸ். இப்போ அந்த லாஸ்ட் ஸ்பாட்டுக்கு தான் ஸ்லாட் 8க்கு தான் இப்போ வந்து போட்டியே. பார்ப்போம் யார் எடுக்கிறான்றது. இவன் வேற மியூசிக்கா போட்டு வச்சிட்டு இருக்கானுங்க bro. இல்லைன்னா இல்ல சவுண்டையாவது இது பண்ணி விடலாம். லாஸ்ட் டைம் சாம்பியன் A7 தானே ப்ரோ. ஆமா ப்ரோ. அவ்வளோதான். தூங்கிட்டேன். இது சூப்பர் சூப்பர். ஹவு மெனி மேட்சஸ் லெஃப்ட்? லாஸ்ட் மேட்ச் ப்ரோ. ஒரே ஒரு மேட்ச் தான் லெஃப்ட். இவங்க நான் வீடியோவே பார்க்கலாம். அது மியூட்ல இருக்கிற ஒரு மேப் இருக்கு. A7 has no heart on கமெண்ட் செக்ஷன்ல போடுறானே போறேன். நீங்க தூங்க போனா இங்க மாஸ் பண்ணிட்டாங்களா? இருங்க ப்ரோ. இதே இது பண்றேன். லாஸ்ட் இது யார் வீடியோவாவது பார்க்கலாம். பென்ஸ் வீடியோ பார்த்தீங்கல்ல? பார்த்துப்பேன். நானே பார்த்துட்டேன். அப்புறம் என் ஃப்ராக்ஸ் தான் வருது ஃபுல்லா. இது பார்ப்போமா? சரி போ, என் வீடியோவே பார்க்க வரேன். ஒன்று ஒன்றா தேடிட்டு இருக்கிறதுக்கு. ஐஜல் யார் டின்னர்? ப்ரோ டின்னர் வந்து ஆர்இஜி. ஏஎக்ஸ் ஃபுல் ஃபார்ம் ஏர்போர்ட் எக்ஸ்பிரஸ் தான் டவுன்லோட் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்காங்க. இதுதானே ப்ரோ இப்போ பார்த்தோம். நீ பார்த்தோமா? நேற்று பார்த்தோமா? ஜோக்கர் ஏதோ போட்டிருக்கானே நியூ பிகினிங்னு. வாங்க இதை பார்க்கலாம்.
नाइस
डाउन ले निकल अभी स्मोक करो ना तुम
खोल के चल रहा है पता है ब्रो.
யாரும் இப்போ ஸ்பாம் பண்ணாதீங்க. பைக் ஃபாலோ தெரியாது ப்ரோ.
अरे नाइस सोलो ये जोकर भाई एक ही बात है. अरे नाइस बग्गी ले रहे थे.
मेरा तो नॉक मेरा
अभी नहीं मारा.
सोलो तो कौन है?
आएगा आने इसको देना इसको दे
ஓ ஐஜல் இங்கே தான் இருக்கீங்களா? சோலோவா ஆடிட்டு இருக்கான்.
इसमें है दोनों है
नाइस.
और बूस्टर से एनएक्स का और एक मरा
சிச்சோ
ऊपर फोटो जल्दी
என்னது ஐஜல் இங்கே தான் இருக்கீங்களா? வாங்க ப்ரோ. ரோஷன் ப்ரோ சொன்னது ப்ரோ.
अरे यार मैं हट गया शिट फाड़ दिया मैंने अपने वाला.
बहुत ले
गाइस जोकर मेरे पे आना. जोकर भी पीछे वाले पे डाल रहा हूं. ये रहा मेरे को मार रहा है. आराम से मारो. बढ़िया.
एक मेरे पे
साथ में जाओ फुल मिलियन मत देना. बढ़िया.
अरे एक या दो ही मार रहे हैं हमारा. नाइस
जोकर नेड मॉली कुछ भी कर दो ऊपर. बढ़िया हो जाएगा.
வாய்ஸ் லெஜிட் வாய்ஸ் ரோனி வாய்ஸ் கிட்டத்தட்ட ஒரே மாதிரி இருக்கு.
गाइस ये लोग भी आएंगे. रोनी से भी स्लैम आ सकता है गाइस.
पड़ा दो. एक और स्लैम आ रहा है.
வரியால நிறைய சொல்றேன்.
डबा डाल
निकल स्मोक करो. साथ में स्मोक करो. बढ़िया.
ऐसे टीपी भी
சொல்லிட்டே இருக்கான்.
आ रहा बनियन लेने आ रहा.
कौन करेगा
बस इजी.
और एक कहां है?
ऊपर वो अकेला
job, boy.
भाई गॉड हो गया तेरे का
यार
अरे न्यू आर्ट स्किन பார்த்தேன் எப்படி ப்ரோ இருக்கு இப்படி இருக்கோ இல்லையோ அது எடுத்துற வேண்டியதான்
किल चोरी हो गया बैंक से ले सकते हो मैं बोल रहा हूं लूट ले सकते
Watch
हो
out!
मैं पिक बंद कर रहा हूं एक अच्छी बंदा
சுறாதே ப்ரோ அவன் சுடவே மாட்றான்
बचेगा बे भी आ रहे
நல்ல வாட்டமா வரான் ப்ரோ பீக் பண்ணி அடிக்கிறது சொல்லி
फाइटवा K9 गए एक बचा और फ्लैश गॉड बचा हुआ है सिर्फ घुमाओ क्या ठीक है
வேச்சே கிடையாது எடுக்க வேண்டியதான் அந்த வழி கிடையாது நான் ஸ்கின் தான் இல்ல அதை எப்படியோ எடுத்துற வேண்டியதான்
तेरे को पहले बॉलिंग कर ले कोई ना अरे नाइस शॉट सामने बैठा है ग्राउंड फ्लोर पे बैठा है उसको मारो आजा ऊपर आ रहा
नाइस
बढ़िया दोनों को मारा गाइस आ जाओ ना पेल दे
वही ब्रो iQOO இந்த ப்ளே பண்றத நம்ம அது ஒரு இஷ்யூனால பண்ணல ப்ரோ என்ன தெரியல ப்ro
आ जाओ धोकर आ जाओ
मैं
मैं कूद गया यार मैं कूद जाऊंगा
डब्बा
हां जल्दी आओ अंदर बंदा है उसको मारो तो मैं बच जाऊंगा आई कॉल डेड और एक टीम है
किधर है हां आ रही है नेड कर दो ना
रुक मैं हील कर रहा हूं
फाइट ठीक है उनकी नाइस ऑलरेडी
लास्ट में देने इनकमिंग यार देने ब्रो
एक बंदा इस विंडो पे है थोड़ा रेडियस देगा नाइस फाइट नहीं अकेले नहीं बग्गी वाले को टारगेट कर पीछे देख बग्गी वाले को मार ओए ट्राई है
नाइस आगे डिप में भी लगाई नहीं
चाहिए डाल सकता तो डाल
देगा डब्बा ये
डाल दिया
अरे 200 दाना है तेरला ब्रो
नाइस
बता दो मार देंगे अगर भाग नहीं सकते तो
अबे नेड कर रहे थे मेरे पे
डाले हम उस पे
अरे नेड कर सकते हो मेरे पे नेडिंग कर सकते हो और क्या है
Marked a
गाइस
location.
जोकर को डाला
इधर भी बंदा जोकर गाइस ध्यान से इस वाले विरोध में
मेरे को गिरा दिया बे
एक्स डिनरன்றீங்களா ஓகே பார்க்கலாம்
इनके यूएसबी भी आई नाइस लेजी टू पीछे मर गया
थक दिया थोड़ा सा कोई बात
ये
नहीं
पूरा वीडियो
मर गया जोकर
कवर दोगे तो से
दे रहा हूं उस पे देख रहा हूं
उधर रेडियस देता रहा
ओके कम बैक मैच वही में चाहिए ना
खेल रहा हूं मैं देख रहा हूं
பாஜி
चाहिए फ्यूल
14 நிமிஷமா அதுக்கு மேட்ச் ஸ்டார்ட் ஆயிடும் போல ஐஜில அந்த ஆர்கிட் ஒரு ஸ்கின் நேம் ரோஸ் ओ रोस
हां भगा रहे हैं एक दूसरे को वो लोग कर रहे हैं
विजन अपनी गाड़ी इधर छुपाई है ठीक है चलो कोई फिर अपन मूवमेंट नहीं देंगे एकदम से नॉक फिनिश करेंगे 2 मिनट पे गया टॉप पे नहीं क्या
लेट्स गो என்ன பண்ணலாம் அதான் தம்பல இருக்கா
कट हो गया
गाइस லைக் பண்ணிக்கோங்க
अभी होता है आजा
अबे एक गाड़ी
हां फ्रेंड्स ना बोल रहा
कोपला लो बस जोन के पास से मार रहा है मैं सेफ हूं
यूएसबी लेके निकलता है उनके बाहर वाला निकल रहा है पीछे को
मैं हील कर रहा था
बहुत दूर है यार हम
करते ना प्रेशर बनाते ना ग्राउंड के पीछे नॉक करना एक को पहले से एडीएस देगा कोई एडीएस से दिख रहा है किसी को जल्दी बताओ
विच टीम ब्रो एनद ब्रो इस टीम
नहीं
अरे
मनी मेकर सुना नहीं
मतलब उठेगा तो दिखेगा ना
नहीं वो रिस्क
हां वेज एक काम कर आजा
इसको जाके नीड कर सकते हो ना आप
कर रहा वेज राइट पे यहां पे जा स्मोक में बैठ के ये वाले स्मोक में ब्रो ऊपर से गया जोन के बाहर से गया हो ये स्मोक में है क्या
गाड़ी इधर आ रही
गया निकल गया निकल गया एफएस वाला।
देखना थोड़ा साउथ साइड देखना, मैं देख नहीं रहा हूं अभी गाइस। देखो ना साउथ साइड यार। और भाई देखना थोड़ा सा फिर। अरे मैं गाड़ी लेके आ रहा हूं ना अपनी, मैं गाड़ी।
अच्छा ठीक है
वीज ओपन में बंदा सामने यहां पे।
गाड़ी लेके आता हूं फिर ऊपर
तेरे मुंह पे कहां है?
अच्छा
बस
उसको मार सकते हो गाइस, मारो मारो कंपाउंड पे
इन्होंने पूरी वीडियो फोटो வச்சிருக்கான்।
हां जाओ भाई साइड जाओ।
नहीं सही है कर लेंगे। वीज दूर से मत कर,
पीछे बंदा
नहीं
मैं
विजन ब्लॉक कर दो।
பாவிங்களா ஏதாவது சுட்டாலும் பரவாயில்ல।
सामने पत्थर ले, पत्थर आ रहा है ऊपर से। गार्ड करना वो
8 टर्न हुआ।
बोलो
गाड़ी को मारा
कौन हो गया?
ये बंदा रेस में
आरो भाई को रेड करना पड़ेगा। सामने पत्थर ले,
पत्थर ले लिया।
बस रुक कर
रुको मैं
கார்டன் நீ எல்லாம் ஆடுறது இல்ல ப்ரோ।
जोन के लिए अपन को ग्रीन पुश करना है।
चांद मेरे पे
पाजी इसको एरिया से दो।
मेरे को देखते रहो मर गया वो शायद।
मार उसका पीछे वाले का, दूसरे टीम मेट का। बढ़िया
आगे साइड पे बत्तर हट गया। ओए कंपाउंड से बंदे आएंगे ऊपर देखना।
नहीं कंपाउंड से मत डालने।
ट्रैक्टर के पीछे बंदे
कंपाउंड डालना है नीचे वाला।
नेट करो
इधर ओपन बंदे किल लो ना इनके, फ्री किल
हां जा रहे
देखो उन पे नेट नूड हो रहे हैं।
नेट मेरा ही है। गाड़ी मार देता, रेडी रहो। आओगे कोई? अरे जोन के बाहर
ओल्ड वीडियोस अपलोड பண்ணேன்। இந்த ओल्ड वीडियोस अपलोड பண்ணலாம்। ओल्ड वीडियोस तो பார்த்தேன்।
कोई नहीं जोन में चले जाओ, उड़ा के जोन में चले जाओ।
अरे भाई इधर ही रुको इधर स्मोक होगा।
आएगा ठीक है।
लास्ट टाइम को मार।
जोन स्टार्ट है, ठीक है जोन स्टार्ट है। जोन की तरफ क्रॉल करो पाजी।
जोन की तरफ
ஓ ரெண்டு POV போட்டுருக்கானா? ஓகே
नाइस वन। 4v3 है शायद। नहीं 4 नहीं हो सकते, ये तो कंपाउंड वाले वो थे।
डैमेज 12 पॉइंट है। डैमेज
दोनों बच जाएंगे।
उनको प्रेशर बनाने दो, अगर वो नॉक देगा ना तो फायदा उठा।
एक कॉल सुनो, अपन ना अपने वाले घर की छत पे
वो प्रेशर बना रहे हैं।
उसके मुंह पे पूरा स्मोक कर देते हैं और छत पे चढ़ जाएंगे।
आप चले जाओ, मैं यहीं पे बैठ रहा हूं, आप चले जाओ ठीक है। मैं ऑफ बैठता हूं।
उसके मुंह पे स्मोक करना पड़ेगा, ठीक है मैं स्मोक कर रहा हूं पूरे उसके मुंह पे।
अरे इधर ही
जेन का एक यार कौन ऊपर है? कहां से, किस साइड से? राइट लेफ्ट जल्दी बताओ।
जस्ट बाहर
एक इधर
ऊपर है।
एक दूर दिखा मेरे को, उसको मैं नॉक दे दूंगा।
आप क्लोज वाले को देखो गाइस, तुम क्लोज वाले नाइस क्लोज वाले को मारो साथ में।
अरे यार आराम से
ரெண்டு மேட்ச் POV போட்டுருக்கான் ப்ரோ।
निकल जाओ,
फट जाएगा।
என்ன அவ்வளவு பெரிய இது போட்டுருக்கானே பார்த்தா।
कहां से मार दिया? मैं उठा के निकल जा, उठा के निकल जा।
नाइस वन।
ओपन में अपन किस स्मोक पे दे क्या फिर?
बाकी नहीं भाई
சோல் के பேசாம நான் இங்க தான் போறேன்। என்ன சொல்றீங்க? போய்ட்டு வாங்க, தாராளமா போய்ட்டு வாங்க।
मिल्टा साइड से आ सकते
திருப்பி சோல் நக்கலைசர் பண்றாங்க।
नहीं है
அதான் உங்களுக்கு தெரியும்। சோல் ஐஸ்ல யாரு ப்ரோ பண்றாங்க? நக்கல் தான் ப்ரோ பண்றேக்கா।
मैं तो
ऊपर
मैंने देखा
எல்லாத்தையும் ஸ்கிப் பண்ணிருக்கான்।
एकदम
ओए आगे छोड़ आगे
நீ யாரும் இங்க அடிக்கவே இல்ல।
लेफ्ट में साइड
डाले
एक सीढ़ी
कर लिया
ना छोड़ो। गंडक
मार देते पेट्रोल वाले भाग।
सीधा गंडक मॉल रहा आएगा बाहर, आएगा देखना आएगा। नाइस जेन का
राइट से लगाओ ना फिर आओ।
उधर मार। कोई नहीं
बंदा
अच्छा
अंदर बैठा है, ठीक है अंदर हील कर रहा है।
अरे ऊपर मार। कोई नहीं
फिनिश में करना है।
अरे उसको मार सकते हैं वैसे।
भेज दो।
हां मारो।
ये 15% चांस रखा।
मैं पीछे घुमा के देख रहा हूं कहीं पे।
मेरे पॉइंट से
मार दे। बैक ले लिया मैंने, बैक ले लिया। एक और लो कुप में। ऑलरेडी कर दिया
बस आगे देखो आगे देखो।
GDR के आर प्राइस डेस्ट्रॉय ब्रो।
लेफ्ट से टीम आएगी ना अभी।
LHS के
अरे वो छोड़ पहले वो लेके आओ, कॉकरोच लेके आओ।
भाई वहां में लिया हूं भाई, मैं
एक सुन
बोलो यार डिप मार, मैसेज में कौन है?
बहुत बढ़िया
वेट कर रहा हूं मैं आके उधर।
आगे
करो मैं हील कर रहा हूं। कॉकरोच को छोड़ना मत।
காக்ரோச்சா எங்க அந்த வண்டி பேர் சொல்ல மாட்டேன்। யாரை பார்த்தாலும் கரப்பாம்பூச்சி வண்டி, காக்ரோச், தண்ணி வண்டி।
जा रहा हूँ ठीक है
मैं भी
मुझे पूरा
दाखे
मैं
में
कवर लगाऊंगा
दाखे में
बस नॉक
है
देना इधर से
नो प्रॉब्लम दाखे में नो मारो
लेफ्ट में अलग टीम है नीचे
இந்த கடைசில கார்டன் வர்சஸ் ஓஜின்னு நினைக்கிறேன் அப்படியா ரெஸ்டாரண்ட் ராபின் டீல் ஆயிட்டாங்க அது சும்மா ப்ரோ அது
क्या ही मारा है भाई ऑर्डर
கத்துறாங்க
भाई साहब
Thank you guys. Bye.
ரன்னர் பை அடிச்சலாமா நீங்க நான் வர
Periphery finishes with quite a slower passive day of it, playing for placements. They played with that tempo. The nerves are certainly there. Looking for a later game finish on this one. Didn't want to run any risks.
15 kills in 25 points.
So much further
16
down.
kills in 50, 60, 70.
Yeah, a lot of circle
Chance
bench
bro.
here,
15
honestly,
kills
from
in
a fair
there.
few of our squads that were worried about it. Remember, there's 8 teams with almost reckless abandon going into this final match, realizing that their chances are dashed in this final game of Miramar. There's only a few that can make that gargantuan leap to get towards that top 8. And we're looking 11th downwards, not really having that chance for Team Vision. There's potential, but losing Volt, who has been the spark on the team, to charge them. Allow them to play.
FF 98,
Him going down as
90,
early as
94,
he did.
92.
It does not bode well for them, and the circuitry within that team might just be fried.
I think that short circuit actually came in the previous game as well, where Never Alone had the opportunity to absolutely clean house early on into that matchup. But you remember the Wrath from Rafa completely fragmented the squad, just left Marcelo in a horrific position towards the end, trying to barely scrape away any points. Just that one elim over towards R8. Could have been a different story, but of course, that's up to you. Nothing is granted, everything is gained. And on that one, it wasn't really that much of a gainer for them.
Sonic bro, hi bro.
But Yangon Galacticos, we've taken a look at them a couple of times here, but they are in the terrifying position of 8th place. Never comfortable to be there. The Falcons were able to get a few more points on board today. I think they've done pretty well, taking more risks when they should do. 70 points. There is that big step down though. Right, there's a chance that Yangon Galacticos can get over towards that region, as can Influence Rage, and by no means are Team Falcons safe just yet, and they know it. I think this is a pivotal moment for Team Falcons. If they get in towards that grand finals, I think they'll feel a lot more comfortable in their play. Like we said, I think that they actually needed the practice here in survival stage. There's a lot of pressure riding on their shoulders. This would alleviate some of it.
Sonic
on the rotation. There is a lot of squads ahead of them and adjacent as well.
Bro, spam
We're going to be running into some of these teams that maybe are willing to run some crazy risks, knowing that survival stage is most likely where their heads are going to lie when this game finally comes to a close. So opportunities to be fought from both AX and Gamax on the push-up, with R8 and E Arena just off to the side there.
So our final game of the day, just shortly we'll take a look at where we're heading. On the largest shrink of the circle throughout the entirety of Miramar, it is on Zone 2, and we head over towards Crater Fields. On the mountainside that runs through it, that currently Horror is owning, but they're massively split at the moment. Alpha 7 even trying to hunt down one of their players on that northwest side.
And this is the fight. It's no fear.
This final
He has to
also
live up
needs
to his
to be,
name right here. Throws
Yes,
out
I'm
the
afraid
flames
it.
and sets ablaze to Carrillo. So low on HP. All it takes is a single shot from Revo.
Horror will be pitched downwards. As No Fear takes a nosedive versus Alpha 7. He had such a fantastic position as well over towards the east here, and just playing split, locked in.
ஒரு டார்கெட் அடிச்சாங்க என்ன ஏஸ் ஆனா இல்ல நார்மல் ஃபைட்டா
making their move on that north side. I think that Alpha 7 is, although not a team that expect to make it in, they're a team that is incredibly dangerous when backed into a corner. Right now, there is nothing to lose for them. There is absolutely, and they are a loose cannon inside of this match.
I think honestly, that's literally the mentality they have to play with. Like we said, as much as it would be an impossible task for some teams, their old form, when they hit their stride in these kind of games, that's when magic would happen. But you have to factor in how they've looked throughout the entire tournament thus far this year.
How many will qualify?
The
Any
PUBG
chance for
Mobile
X?
World
No, bro.
Cup, the
Top
esports
8
World Cup, it is
qualified.
not the same
chance
team. It hasn't had that same level of
At least
lethality.
50 points are காசா
Falcons, they delay moving into the fray on that north side. Biding our time and waiting it out. You got to go through the checkpoints though, obviously. I'll respect that. But we're closing in now. A lot of teams making their way on over. This southern side of the circle is jam-packed. AX, Kino, Trope, or at least what's left of them. Power also, who took an early dip on that last game. Yangon Galacticos on that western side, getting peppered right now by Gamax and potentially over also
அந்த
Alpha
மெசேஜ்
7 shortly.
படிச்சதுக்கு அப்புறம் போறான் அதான் இதேலே போய் நம்மள போட்டு குத்துறாங்க போல bro.
Gamax, they could afford to take some risks on this one.
Bro, bro.
Not wanting to dilly-dally there, instead committing to their rotation and looking to get themselves into a better position rather than being caught up with a fight where they could be stabbed in the back by Gamax. The arena taking hefty hits as well. And who else but Fireflux? Of course, currently in the top spot, position number 1 for them, and that's already another point found, 99 being their total off the back of that.
Looking to cross the century in this match here.
Century.
The arena pushed down to 2, and it's unlikely they'll push any further inside of this match here. 92 points. Hard to make
எதிங்க போய் சொல்லி தரேன்
11 minutes in the game and only 2 players on board
bro அதே
right
zone
now.
மாதிரி இருக்கு
But an opportunity for Regnum Kaya to pick themselves up a podium finish.
Next AX the only Indian team ஆமா bro
Making their way down, we get another
AX qualify a chance
we're
இருக்கு
heading
bro
over towards the high grounds on that eastern side. Nongshim Red Force already set up. Falcons have to go for something a little bit safer here as they pass through over towards the eastern side of the fields.
They took a few shots. The paint
Yes,
on the
like
cars
like
being chipped
subscribe
off. We can focus up on what's ahead of us. Yangon Galacticos up on the rock side. It's a clean connection onto Squash. Smile being able to commit onto that one bullet back over from Revo. But of course, they cannot afford to lose a single man on this. It's got to be clean.
They're going to wrap around, leave Yangon Galacticos in the dust, but it's Gamax who's coming in, potentially finish the job over towards Yangon Galacticos. They've got to bide their time. They've got to pick up Smile in the meantime and get her moving. And Gamax is only moments away.
Vahita with the crash in, closes the gap between them both. Look at the HP bars that they've got to play with. The sustainability isn't there. Vahita on a nice off angle, peering in, bullets into the back. Romeo takes a big burst of damage from that one.
SayCloud needs a Nimbus right now to get out of dodge vision. Now Af will find Nalvalo on the first pick there.
So the week match போட்டுட்டு வந்துட்டீங்களா மதன் bro
Not finished off just yet, but it's an intense game.
Falcon அடி வாங்குறாங்க bro
Find that coffin. Yangon Galacticos, they want nothing to do with Gamax. They wrap round a similar angle to Alpha 7, watching off in the distance.
They lost Squash, the new man on the block that's been consistent for the team, but right now, he's gone. It's just down to the core 3.
AX is what are like state and player details and how they qualified. BMP is champions bro another qualified. State வந்து சொல்ல போற இந்த ஸ்டேட் எல்லாம்
Falcons.
Yes அவனுக்கு இந்த டோர்னமென்ட் செட் ஆகல போல
with that last elim that came through from Fireflux, they just jumped into triple digits. Teams will have to bear down upon them and fast. Right now they're on the eastern side coming through from Hacienda, and it is open ground that they have to pass through. You can see players have been taking tags from their side. Easy, up close and personal. The Falcons playing inside the concrete. They have vehicles to work with. You can see the buggy.
Zone.
Only one wheel left to going.
OEG. Zone, bro.
Center circle again as well from Reg and Karia. Influence Rage close by. Two teams that went head-to-head for the chicken dinner into the previous matchup. A lot riding on this one. You can see the move up as well. Gamax swerve round Yangon Galacticus as they make their move. And the interesting thing with Power as well, Easy, I think his position's been undetected. He got clear vision onto the Falcons, didn't take the first shot. Instead, he can play off his teammates when their attention is turned and they've got to go for the move. He could sideswipe them.
Let's try and move ahead, you're right.
Easy
to deal with. Yangon Galacticos currently struggling though.
Yes or not?
Constantly hounded by teams here from Gamax who have taken a bit of a split. Fajita waiting down low. And do they even know his position? Right now, Ragnar finding shots over towards AX. Scarface is taken low there from R8. And they'll have to move, Jackie.
What's it?
In the meantime as well, we saw a shot over onto Alpha 7 from Arwin. Quick peek up. Thought he could grab that one, but the response is good from Yangon. Crosshairs instantly flick up. Their eyes light up as they grab onto the knock.
They're hanging on. The speed at which they're flicking around as well. They are hyped, filled with adrenaline going into this match, knowing that their life's on the line here in terms of the tournament.
Finding
more players over towards Vision, but they clap back over towards APK. Say Cloud on the high ground. These shots are just not hitting, Jackie.
Sleepy, looking shaky. Didn't instantly bite on the bait that was shown from Say Cloud. And when he did go for the spam, a few bullets going awry. Quite a distance firefight on it, can't commit onto the knock, and he's being flanked from the back line. Turns his attention. Meanwhile, Vision still being able to at least respond. They lost 2 players off the engagement, but go 2 for 2 in the fight so far.
Yangon Galacticos shopping around right now, but no, apartments are open and they are struggling to find a home inside the circle. Influence Rage, Diego will find a shot over towards inside the shack, and more damage done. Sleepy finds Mafioso. One player left remaining for Alpha 7.
With that, Vision received the final call of the survival stage, going down to Gamax. Intense game. Just inches away from Fajita as well, trying to keep himself out of dodge for now with the smokes to protect himself. Like you said, Alpha 7 has been uncomfortable. Twice Revo has gone down. Twice they have had to get him back on his feet. Supplies have got to start to run low.
Easy continues to be a terrifying prospect there on the south side for the Falcons. Hasn't whispered
top 8
laying
fighter
top 8
last match bro.
Pretty tumultuous situations. The caltrops were laid down for them and they swerved, they've avoided, and they've made it in with some tumbles, some rolls, some dashes to get towards this position. The circle continues to move out of their reach. So how will they play out these next couple of minutes to make it in? Intense game. Alpha 7, Gamax all weakened, all injured. It's a full 4-man squad from Yangon. I take that back. One player gets knocked and will get shut down. That's by Sleepy.
Sleepy's been doing a great job from the angle up top. But look at this.
Moving
on in to join the party to split down the middle. Meanwhile, Easy, he's been biding his time for so long on this, but the rest of the squad has come over to assist. They look to fight up close versus the Falcons. Good chip damage on the Ragnar. Redox confirms onto that one. Tries to finish him off and will do so valiantly. Still pushing over, but the nades come in. The Falcons get finished. Fajita's the one to send them out.
71 points.
Falcon live to fight another day.
Furious going into this game.
They
இன்னொருத்த
have
நாக்குல
a
இருக்கான்.
real
என்னன்னு தெரியல extra.
stalwart game so far. It's looking
அவ்வளவுதான்.
worrying.
முடிஞ்சுச்சு.
Fireflux move on top of AX, only losing Scarface, and it's an immediate removal from them. But what's terrifying for the Falcons is Yangon Galacticos are still going. Influence Rage
AX
with 4
முடிஞ்சுச்சு
players
guys.
are in a
AX
prime
ஓட ready, அதோ
position
ready.
on that eastern side.
Falcon
They are
உட்கார
not through yet.
ஓ நீ A7 supporter.
Comes down to the bitter end, and this is the issue. You have left the
Ayana
fate of the
PSG நல்லா
Falcons
இருக்குடா,
in the
please.
hands of the other teams in the lobby. 8th and 9th
Guys like பண்ணா
position
like பண்ணிட்டு பாருங்க guys.
with a huge opportunity here. Last game, leave no stone unturned.
How will Yangon Galacticos play this next maneuver? Much like that zipline above them, they would love for a straight rotation directly into the circle. And they're going to move over towards Kino Trope.
Hey,
Cloud
comment
making the
here.
first move here.
Which are the well-known and the top teams in Estonia? இப்போ ஆடுற 16ஸ்ல எனக்கே அதை பத்தி ஒன்றும் தெரியாது
One of his
bro.
own, but he's late.
A7
Will his be
Falcon
placed better?
இவங்களதான் எனக்கு தெரிஞ்சு ஏன்னா இது
Tags, but
எல்லாருக்கும்
won't be
தெரியும்
able
மற்ற
to
டீம்
frag,
எனக்கு
get the
எனக்கே
response
தெரியாது
back
bro.
over as well. Easy
AX
onto
then
Nongshim Red
R8
Force.
தான் அடிக்க போறாங்க.
This is a power squad that are looking. Lights out at the minute. Fireflux stealing away some of the opportunity on that one with the response from Binny's Bonnet and the follow-up from Tizzy.
My God, Nongshim Red Force were taking
Aga,
the heat
oh,
coming
ito,
through
malas,
from Power,
ah.
but have just annihilated. Turn tail. Dare
Oh,
you get
Gio,
involved in
ito
our
lang po,
fight,
uso lang
Fireflux.
dito,
We're going to
Gio.
send your way immediately. They angered the wrong beast.
With that, the arena starts to quake. Another move being made. Power plays from the team's namesake themselves. Yangon and Influence
Right,
Rage
then
still
I'm
in
all
position to
YG
cause issues
throwing
later on
over
into this
there.
one as well, depending on how this starts to shift. Regnum Karia, R8 and Influence Rage all inches away from one another, just mere space
A7
between
எப்படி
them
இருந்த
on this
டீம்
compound setup.
அதான் குவாலிஃபை ஆகல bro.
Ragnar might be down, but
Either
cheering them
training
on
inside
from
A7 fan.
Valhalla.
நான் யார் ஃபேனும் கிடையாது bro.
Seeing how far and how much glory Power can
Ryan of
obtain.
winner,
That's E Arena out, and the only team within the top 3 is Power, looking for a first place here. Regnum Kaya
Ryan of
will
winner,
find shots
Ryan.
over towards Nongshim Red Force. Binny, with the power of the buggy, survives, stays dead still, and they don't spot him. He will take a lot of damage, but can he crawl away?
Lorezin's able to find it.
secure
The
பண்ணிருக்கான்.
UMP hits. Binny thrown away. Shut down. That's one
Power
elimination they
knock.
claim, but they've still got much more to get done on this one.
On the back line, Power will take a knock, but it is answered. They
Oh,
will look to pick him up.
yes.
That's from
Yes,
Kino
I'm
Troop.
hater.
Al-Haji, he's just going to come back down again.
YG and INF 10 points
He's got the side
எடுத்தா
angle.
Falcon
They don't know, but it's still 3 players
ஆனா
they
10
are
pointsலாம் எடுக்க
rolling
முடியாதுன்னு
into.
நினைக்கிறேன் இவனுங்க.
See how
YG.
Power handles
ஜாலி
this.
ஆயிடுவானுங்க கண்டிப்பா 10 பாயிண்ட்லாம்
Yangon
வாங்கிட்டு
Galacticos yet to make their sprint.
ஏன்னா அவன் இருக்க பொசிஷன் அப்படி ப்ரோ.
When push comes to shove for Heater's position, can it cause issues in the back line? Have they forgotten about him?
Falcon வாய்ப்பு இல்லையா?
For Gamax
வாய்ப்பு
that
இருக்கு ப்ரோ
tucked himself
Falconக்கு.
away quite some time ago.
Influence Rage watching on.
R8 INF செத்தானுங்கடா.
Position for them that they can work,
இவனுக்கு
but
சான்ஸ்
they
இருக்கா?
will have to move.
See,
Yangon
YG.
Galacticos up against Gamax. The first is
No,
found. It's
no,
from Kino Troop
அந்த
to steal
கில்லும்
that one
போச்சு.
away.
இல்ல இவன் தான்
Yangon
அடிச்சான். 2 கில் வந்திருக்கு.
still only up to 2. Looking for the res, but they're trapped in the tunnel. Jiggle will find Carrillo
Yes,
as
man.
well as
Last
Mafioso.
Alpha 7 being collapsed upon. As
Yes,
Horror
அவன் முடிஞ்சுச்சு ப்ரோ. அவ்வளவுதான். Yes, அவன்
them.
அவுட்.
On the push down, Alpha 7 are removed from the battleground. And those reigning champions not having an opportunity to show
ஐடியல்
us the
AX
might
டீம்
they were
BGMI
made of
ப்ளே
last
பண்ணிட்டு
year,
PUBG ப்ளே
falling
பண்றது
to
ரொம்ப
the
கஷ்டம்.
wayside.
கஷ்டம் ப்ரோ.
Tamra
நீங்க பாத்துக்கலாம்.
look to back things off, causing Boys from Power a little bit of a problem, but it is Al-Haji, puffs out his chest, will send them away. Playing on 2 fronts right now. Nongshim Red Force did send forward with Tizzy. Romeo made it into the circle for Yangon Galacticos. With a lasso, he needs to grab the rest of his team and pull them close.
Oh, sideline shot, it's quick from Pedrino.
என்ன ப்ரோ
Up close
பண்றான்?
against Kino Trope. Tamar trying to deal some damage back, but you cannot stop this man. Intense game, showing us what they're made of here. Yangon as well pushing up with the opportunity that's created. They know the Kino trope. We're laser focused on that angle. Now they've got room to move. This was the fight in the barrel as well.
Pedrino with a 1v3 makes it happen. We were watching Alpha 7, but what a display
Former champions.
of fortification.
He already 2
Pedrino,
kills
he was
injured.
clean with it last game. Makes it
That's INF
happen
RH ஆகணும். செத்தானேனா OG qualify.
What a highlight reel for Pedrino in the last 2 games.
வெளில போயிடுவாங்க
Haji causing issues as well. Power Esports, pinpoint perfection. From the hillside, bullets down, Smile, knocked over instantly. That's Yangdong in a really rough spot now.
Yangon Galacticos. Say Cloud looks to move out, but Influence Rage is massive news for them. They could overtake, and that's 0-point game. Last match.
Sama position bro.
Be the thing that tips
NS அதும் கோலா கொடுக்காம இருந்தானா ஓகே. இப்போ பாயிண்ட் செக்யூர் ஆகும் நினைக்கிறேன் எனக்கு.
Slow down the pace on it. No opportunity to get the third man back up. Just play as the duo from this. That Smile now fully confirmed, of course, from the knock that we saw earlier from Al Haji. You still get the established shots of Influence Rage, Regnum Karya, and R8.
R8 இந்த ரெண்டு டீம் தான் bro இப்போ எப்படியே இப்ப ரெண்டு டீம் அடிச்சுக்கும். ரெண்டு டீமே செத்து போயிடும்னு நினைக்கிறேன். அதுல வந்து இவனுங்க OG வந்து உள்ள போயிடுவானே.
Little boy.
Yes, eliminates அவ்வளவுதான் bro.
Side for Hedon moves up over towards Nongshan Red Force. Do they know that Tizzy's playing in this position? Diego spotting over towards Horror for a nice little angle. Nades start to get sent off over towards R8, who are initiating a smoke train. Going early right now. Nades been sent in. Regnum Karya will have to withstand, but it's a big nade that splashes large.
It's instantly hit them, damaged up. They start Nade over the top to give them room to move up, but the vehicle throws in some additional carnage. Misplay from Toshbek. That lands on Silas. The flames burning down the potential control inside of the compound, so R8 can actually close the gap onto them.
Regnum Karya struggling now, and Nade goes in. It hits hard.
Not
quite hard enough for the boys. This will be a big turnaround, and Toshbek making it happen.
Huge shot onto Prestige. R8 with
bro R8 முடிஞ்சு R8 க்கு பையனப்பா OG-யா
They really do throw them into an uncomfortable position, but they could still reset from this. They've got an opportunity to try and save themselves the turmoil. Nades are right on target. It's Influence Rage that are looking to set this one up as well, and they need these points.
This is a fantastic move for Influence Rage. They saw R8 push ahead. They've moved round. They find Tizzy. They clear him out.
Bro, INF தான் நினைக்கிறேன் bro நினைக்கிறேன்.
But they are so close. They need more placement points to overtake over towards Fire. Jiggle will find Toshbek despite the early Molotov and almost cooking his team. He was able to get the turnaround. The great hold overall. Law behind the dead tree.
Little boy goes for the peek up. Meanwhile, Diego dealing damage back over onto Fahidan as well. So Power being really thrown into the wind. Finished off entirely. Regnum Karya is still trapped in position.
And unfortunately, the boys from Power will not overtake. A second place comes home and looks like it's more and more likely to be Fire Flux. Unless Horror can have a massive turn up here. Influence Rage has been taken down. Yangon still in the game.
bro என்ன bro இவ்ளோ ஈஸியா சாவறானுங்க.
For the heads up call to try and do it himself. Oh, shots over. Crazy. Wild, literally going. This is crazy.
செத்துட்டானே bro.
Animal brings the claws out, rips his way
INF OG qualified bro.
And the sideline shots continue. Horror battling back onto it as well.
And Yangon might just have survived long enough. Horror up at 3. Look at the challenge for first place. In comes Say Cloud.
Say Cloud falls out. Finished off by Sky. Regnum Karya up against Horror. The last 2 teams that remain on this one.
Silas, the only obstacle between Horror and taking the first place home here at the PMWC survival stage.
It would have to be an unfathomable clutch the 1v3 from Silas. Show us the style that he's made of. Jiggle looks for the move up.
Yes, like
First connection's clean, but he can't do more. Regnum Karia fall, and with that, Horror Esports do exactly what they needed to.
An incredible performance from Horror. We're going to have to tally up the total slightly later on with those placement points. But with that, Jackie, for Alpha 7, we will not be seeing them over towards the main stage. Regnum Kaya has a massive step up towards the end of this one. But Fireflux, Power, Horror all towards that podium. What an amazing finish. And even Yangon slightly surviving towards those end moments despite him chasing, but shut down by the man himself.
Points table வருமா? Yes, and is Zuma and Ada. That is bro. Bro, surely. INF qualify தான் நினைக்கிறேன். கில் நிறைய எடுத்தாங்க. அப்படியா? 1 point miss INF. INF வாய்ப்பில்லை. Reading and replaying every command and being honest and replying like grow and always நன்றி ப்ரோ நன்றி. INF qualified நினைக்கிறேன். என்ன ப்ரோ எல்லாம் INF qualifiedன்றீங்க? 1 point யார் 1 point? ஆமா 70 தான் கட் ஆஃப் வந்திருக்கு. 70 INF வந்து 69. ஒரு பாயிண்ட்ல போயிருக்கு. செவன்டி தான் கட் ஆஃப் வந்திருக்கு. மேட்சுக்கு 6 பாயிண்ட் எடுத்திருந்தா குவாலிஃபை ப்ரோ. ஆவரேஜா 6 தான் வந்திருக்கு டாப் 8. ஃபைனல் தான் வெறியா இருக்கும். ஆமா ஃபைனல் செமையா இருக்கும். பாவம் அவனே நல்லா ட்ரை பண்ணானுங்க. மிஸ் பண்ணிட்டானே.
Our highest placing team. It is, of course, Horror Esports with a final flurry. Congratulations, gentlemen, from myself and from everyone, the whole crew. What an amazing way to end out the stage. Now, you didn't just survive, you thrived, so congrats to that. Now, one of the things that you get to do because of this honor is you get to crush the keys of the bottom 8 teams from the survival stage. This is the first time we've showed it this week, so we're all really excited. And so I've got Jiggle, I've got Sky, No Fear and Sleepy. Jiggle, you're going to do me the honor first and foremost to switch the key on and turn on the engines. Okay, the key has been switched, the engines will be turned on. Can you feel it? Can you feel it in your feet? They can feel it. Okay, Sky, I'm going to get you to lift and flick the switch. That is going to open up the iris in the center. We can see all of those menacing teeth ready to chomp up those keys. And now finally, No Fear. I'm going to get you to press the button and send them home. And Sleepy, you can wave at them as they do it. There they go. And just like that, our 16 teams are locked in for the grand finals. 8 teams have now been sent packing. Well, 7.5, of course. But the job, now there you go. There's the 8th team. But the job is not done. We have a gauntlet of competitors waiting in the grand
Magica.
finals that's going to be happening this weekend. And they've all got their eyes on the prize. $3 million prize pool, and of course the beautiful
$3 million.
PMWC trophy. The Horror Esports guys having a great time next to me.
Yeah,
But
bro,
I tell you
Janda
what,
for
they're going to be laughing this
the
weekend when they come up
infant
against all those other
one.
teams. But for now, make sure you're all ready for that weekend slot for the grand finals. And we're going to send you back to the studio to talk about what just
அவ்வளவுதான் நான்
happened
கூட ஏதோ
in the
வரும்னு
survival
நினைச்சிட்டு
stage.
இருந்தேன் அட போங்கடா.
Emotions riding high here for the survival stage for PMWC. Unbelievable moments here
Yes,
for some of these
Papa,
teams who are hoping.
அப்படியே ஸ்ட்ரீம் ஆட் பண்றேன். ஓகேவா, ஒருவேளை கப்பு வெளில வருமோ, நானும் இப்படிதான் bro நினைச்சேன். சாம்பிராணி போடுறாங்க போல. பாய் 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 நட்டாஸ் பாய். உமாசங்கர் பாய் பாய். வாதி ப்ரோ வாங்க. கரெக்டா நான் கிளம்புறேன். கார்த்திக் பாய் ப்ரோ பாய் பாய் பாய். That 1 point feeling hurts more. கண்டிப்பா ப்ரோ, ஒரு பாயிண்ட். பாய் ப்ரோ பிரவீன் பாய் ப்ரோ பாய் பாய். டேஞ்சர் பாய் ப்ரோ. கைஸ் எல்லாத்துக்கும் பாய் 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 பாய். பாய் சார் குட் நைட் ப்ரோ. ஆதி ப்ரோ என்ஜாய் பண்ணுங்க. என்ன இதில் இவ்வளோ சீக்கிரம் இருந்துச்சு லைவ்ல இருக்கீங்க? ஓ டைம் உங்களுக்கு என்ன ப்ரோங்க ஷார் ப்ரோ? சரி கைஸ் பார்க்கலாம். பை பாய்.